Hello everyone, welcome to What If Ayanokoji one-shot love stories with Classroom of the Elite Girls movie. Before we start, please go support Kunagisa-Tomo for writing that awesome fanfic. This is the translated version I made. There will be some mistaken characters' gender, but of course Ayanokoji is a male. A nymphomaniac. Spread your legs. Hey, stop this. No. Now spread your legs KIYOTAKA. How the hell did we get to this? Flashback scene XD. It was a Saturday when my relationship with Kei began. There weren't any abrupt changes, but spending time with the opposite sex gradually made me understand the company of someone. Kei was sitting on my bed playing on her phone. I was currently making dinner because she told me a boyfriend should cook for his girlfriend. Internet-chan had never said that to me, and I felt betrayed. Sigh. I was about to finish, but I remember something that a certain conceited child-sized person gave me. Kei Risu, a loli who I won our chess match with, and I was able to somehow enlist her support. She also gave me a sachet, which she said would teach me about human warmth. Now is the time, I think I can dilute it in her green tea. I finished preparing it and we started eating. Everything was peaceful, nothing changed. Maybe the envelope should be for me. That makes more sense than giving Kei the envelope, and the worst part is that I spilled everything on him. Kei's face looked a little odd. I couldn't see why, but I could see a slight blush and something else. Is he drooling? Because? I wanted to ask him something, but before I could gather the strength to ask him the questions my body collapsed and I only saw Kei's face, which was as red as a tomato. Hey Kiyotaka. Kei's voice sounded more feminine than usual. I could see something new in the distance. Hearts. In Kei's eyes I could see a change in his pupils. Hi Kiyotaka. I couldn't hold it in anymore. Kei. I couldn't finish what I was going to say before Kei closed my lips. That was my first kiss, but that aside, there's something strange going on with Kei. Did the packet have drugs in it? I decide to move away from Kei, but it seems impossible. Kei now seems to be holding on to me tightly. Why is Kei unbuttoning my pants? Kei's eyes became more intense than before. I decided to ignore what Kei was doing and see what that substance Akainagi gave me was saying. I put my eyes and could see the contents. Aphrodisiac. What's that? But I don't have time for that now. Kei is just seconds away from unbuttoning my pants. Hey, stop this already. Mao. Kiyobaka. You don't understand what I want to do, but I don't care. Today I'll leave you dry. Dry? What did he mean by that? It's not important, I just want to see your hawk. When? Take them off. As long as we continue to listen, I don't know what will happen if I use force or push Kei away. I was also curious about what he meant by leaving me dry. Will it exhaust me in any way? Good. Kei licked his lips and there were only seconds left before his hands could reveal my T-Rex. Kei pulled it out and my glorious sword flew out hitting Kei's cheek, slapping him. It's big. Kei didn't hesitate and continued looking at my T-Rex with excitement without stopping looking at it for even a second. Now Kiyotaka, open your legs. Yes. Open them. Sigh that once. No. Kiyotaka, bad boy, you leave me no choice. Kei grabbed my phallus and began to lick it. Because my phallus was more than could fit in Kei's mouth, I could only put it halfway into her mouth. Ooh, it's too big and hard, I love it. Kei didn't stop sucking it for even a second. It was as if the old Kei who got shy when I made fun of her had disappeared and had created another Kei. The events that happened after this are unknown, even the author of this fic doesn't know what the hell happened. It is only known that that day there were loud screams as if someone was suffering, but because the doors were soundproof a sound did not escape, but the next morning it was announced that student Karuizawa Kei could not come due to pain in her legs. What will have happened that day? We will never know. The Andirichinus Aparis 0. Why? 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 Why did he choose that bitch Karuizawa Kei? Bitch. What could she have better than me? I have the enviable body of anyone in the school. My breasts are bigger than most girls, and my ass is better than that bitch's. Shit, 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 shit. You bucking bitch. You probably took advantage of Ayanokoji-kun when he was alone and used your body to entangle him. So you're not the only one who can play the same game. Hey, you miserable little bitch, you bucking bore. You're just a defective piece of trash who clings to Ayanokoji-kun. You don't understand Ayanokoji-kun. I can please him emotionally as well as physically. There is no way that small breast can get him excited, much less be able to caress them. Thank you. Bitch, I muttered those words before going to sleep and planning my plan to make Kiyotaka realize what he's missing. I'll forgive him since I love Ayanokoji-kun. I love everything about him. I wouldn't mind betraying my class if it were up to him. I want to touch him. He won't let any stupid bitch get in the way of seeing Ayanokoji-kun's beautiful body. Since he is only mine. Besides my body being perfectly made to fit his huge hawk, that bitch's body wouldn't even turn him on, tch. Fucking son of a bitch. I wish you'd die. You're probably a slut who gives herself to the first guy she meets. I'm sure Harada's hawk was small, and you decided to go for Ayanokoji-kun's so you could satisfy your slutty cunt. tch. Tomorrow will be a new day, and I will be able to devour Ayanokoji-kun's body, my Ayanokoji-kun. Next day. This happens on the cruise ship, and imagine there's a place no one ever visits, then that's it. I called Ayanokoji-kun to come to this place where no one comes, and he would surely agree. Even if I got rid of all the scum of my colleagues, they weren't important, haha. I prepared my pussy for this day, and I can't wait any longer. Ichiness, why did you call me? Oh my dear Ayanokoji-kun, I'm sure you'll be delighted with my body today. But what Ichiness didn't know is that Karuizawa didn't use her body to charm Ayanokoji, but rather he used his body on Karuizawa. Come. Ichiness called him, and Ichiness quickly took off all her clothes without leaving anything hidden from her breasts to her crotch. A beautiful treat for all the virgin students who were Ichiness imps. Lemon skipped. Ah, you are the best, Kiyotaka. Ayanokoji said nothing and left. Ichiness thought her plan had gone perfectly, but what she didn't know was that her life was going to be hell after this. Senpai. You got it. Yes, senpai, but I didn't think Karuizawa's senpai would accept. Me neither, but she seemed angry so I just agreed. Gigi, but I see you're still hard. Will you go for another round with Karuizawa's senpai? Who knows? Senpai, you're no fun, but I wouldn't mind having a threesome. I can always do it anywhere if you want. Ayanokoji ignored that and returned to his room. The end of the freshman class. 7th day of the uninhabited island exam. Ayanokouji. It was the 7th day of the uninhabited island exam. Many were happy to learn they could stop living in tents and return to the luxury cruise ship. My days on this island were no exception. They were somewhat uncomfortable, but nothing I couldn't bear. Food, as necessities, was essential for maintaining good health and surviving in a place with little chance of obtaining it unless we spent points to acquire it. Okay guys, it's time to go back. Harada, the leader of Class D, and Eichmann addressed everyone else to head to the island's return point, but there was something that didn't fit. Tabashira-sensei didn't arrive, even though it's been more than 10 minutes since the designated time for us to be taken. Strange. Hey, Harada-kun. Why isn't Tabashira-sensei coming? Yes, something did happen. Calm down. Something must have happened to slow her down. Harada tried to calm our classmates, Karuizawa his girlfriend tried to do the same with the girls. In the meantime, let's walk towards the cruise ship to see what happened. Harada recommended that we move and wait on the luxury cruise ship. It was logical what he said since this was the last day and we only had to wait for the teachers, but Tabashira never showed up. Something is wrong. The entire Class D walked at a slow pace, but there was something that would make the entire Class D tense up. There was nothing. No cruise ship, no teachers. It was like a dead place. Class D started to panic, but they gradually calmed down when they saw Class B as Class A. Maybe they thought they knew something and could understand what they were thinking. Ichina-san, do you know what's going on? Oh. Sorry Kishida-san, we just got here and can't fully understand all of this. That. Ichina-san, didn't Hoshinomiya-sensei come? Oh, now that you mention it, you're right. Kanzaki-kun noticed that, but we decided to ignore it. With Hoshinomiya's attitude, maybe he forgot about it on this last day, but maybe that's what happened with Tabashira-sensei. Yes, we were waiting for more than 10 minutes, but he never came to give us assistance like the booklet. Now only Class A remains, and I don't think Mishima-sensei is the type to join in Hoshinomiya-sensei's antics. Yes, at least we should gather information and see what's really going on. Class D and B headed to Class A for information, but there was one boy who fully understood what was happening and decided to get away before things got any worse. Ayanokoji Kiyotaka decided to isolate himself from them and survive as long as he could. Whether this is another special exam or an extension of himself, we're in trouble now. Ayanokoji stealthily grabbed a carp without first knocking out Yamauchi like Ike so that they could not report what he had done. There was a Kukuku boy who only witnessed some of what Ayanokoji did, but let's just say he didn't see it. Abukar was able to steal the card and Ayanokoji told them that Horikita had retired, but that wasn't true. Horikita remained in the same place. Because the place where she left it hadn't been explored, it was very difficult for them to find her. Ayanokouji Pav. I see. Is this another test or something abnormal is happening? I can't say for sure, but survival is important. I don't care about anyone, and if luck suits me, I can sacrifice my entire class. Ayanokouji-kun. I saw someone calling me. It was my classmate Sakura Airi. Sakura. Ayanokouji-kun, why are you staying away from the others and with the carps? This is annoying, but if I have to sacrifice someone, then let's start with this. I'll sacrifice Sakura Airi's innocence for my own survival. Airi. I'm Kei-Karuizawa. Come here. I want to tell you something. Airi just nodded and followed me. We were several meters away since we'd walked away from the other classes. Airi, my tone remained the same, but there was a change. I slowly approached Airi and took off her glasses, bringing her closer to my face. I love you. The breeze and silence arose, and my plan had been a success. Ayanokouji BDM, why you love me? I love Airi. I moved closer and my eyes met his, but there was something I shouldn't do, and that was show him my true nature, and I continued with what I already knew. I like you too. I reach out my arms to Airi and hug her body. There were 2 lumps pressing against my chest, making my lower half tingle, but let's leave that aside. Airi, promise me that you won't separate from me. Airi just nodded. Come. I call Airi and we meet in a cave. Kiyotaka-kun. Yes, Airi. Why did you declare your love to me? Why? I just didn't want another girl to get a girl as beautiful as you. Tawa. Be beautiful he. Airi blushed, it was cute in a way to see him like that. I caught Airi off guard and kissed her without letting her counterattack. Kiyotaka-kun. Airi, help me with this. I tell Airi to help me with the tents, or rather just one since we don't need the rest. Kiyotaka-kun, why aren't we with the others? Airi, I think the uninhabited island trial isn't over yet and we'll probably have to survive for another week. What? 1 more week? Yes, but take all the basic necessities like drinking water and canned food, as well as a portable toilet just in case. This site was almost impossible to find because it was in the unexplored area and they were unlikely to risk exploring areas where they might get lost. Oh, but Kiyotaka-kun, isn't that selfish? I don't want to tell you that it's bad, it's just that it seems strange coming from you. I'm not going to make Sakura stutter this out because she might have developed shyness due to Kyopun's statement. It's a stupid idea, but it's tiring to write like that. Airi. I don't want to be with them and I just want to spend this week with you. Airi turned into a beat without first kissing me on the cheek. Where did shy Airi go? Evening. Kiyotaka-kun, come, Airi signaled me to lie down next to her. Airi had overwhelming progress, even you wouldn't think she was the old Airi herself. Her hair was the same as in the photo she took and the glasses she used to wear were gone. It was someone new and with that she told me to lie down next to her. Oh. That was the first day and also the first day that the first year would succumb to despair. Kyo ends up with K. Deadline. Okay. She of. And. Breaking. Context. Yes, because otherwise they wouldn't understand well, not really, but it's better that way. Kyopun grape Sakura and. Let's get started. Kyo's Pav. Sakura Airi. A shy girl with no talent. If there was one thing she'd be good at, it would be turning on perverted boys with those huge breasts of hers. Yamuchi, one of the 3 idiots, is interested in her, but what he doesn't know is that she already belongs to me. Not just physically, I've rebuilt her mind to be a faithful tool for me. By sugarcoating my words and making her see me as her only ally, she's become a broken doll that clings to me like her only pillar. Shizuku is her other side. An indol with an enviable body and a beautiful face. That girl is Sakura Airi, my girlfriend and tool. We're currently on the cruise and Airi has undergone a radical change. Externally, she's a girl who's lost her shyness, but when she's with me, she becomes shy and blushes. I probably made her a masochist. Airi clung to me more. Even though we'd made our relationship public, many people didn't believe she and I were dating. Yamuchi, on the other hand, wanted me to break up. He said I didn't deserve her and that he could satisfy her better than I could. How idiotic that must be, but we'll see if you do it. In a world where you always have to keep your guard up, even with your friends. Yamuchi, this means your greatest humiliation. Whoa, what a beautiful view. Haha Haruki, I'm just a few steps away from getting Kushida-chan. TCH. Enjoy after I show off my awesome body. Sakura-chan will go crazy and ask to be your boyfriend. Haha Haruki, that's impossible, you know how crazy Sakura is about Ayanokoji, but man, how lucky you are to have that girl, her breasts and butts are first class, and not to mention her face. Yeah, it's lucky she's dating me. I'm skip first day of the uninhabited island exam. What? Damn, I won't be able to see Kushida-chan's swimsuit. Agjik Sakura-chan. Sigh. It seems Irie couldn't hold back and brought her swimsuit in her luggage. Although no one knows it except me. Irie quickly became one of the most desirable and hottest girls in the class, but unfortunately for her, she was dating someone, and that someone was me. Not you, lol. My notes. If you think this doesn't make sense, haven't you seen my other one-shot called as Kushida and Angel? Coming soon to the same channel and with the same author. Let's continue. Arata, the current leader of Class D, did an excellent job of being neutral and seeking maximum efficiency. Horikita was chosen as leader, and now it's Irie, Yamauchi and I looking for branches for the campfire. Hey Sakura-chan, are you thinking about having another boyfriend? Huh? I'm sorry to disappoint you Yamauchi-kun, but I'm happy with Kiyotaka-kun. I see, Yamauchi muttered in disappointment. Kiyotaka-kun, how about we go to that lake? Okay. Oh, don't forget me, damn it. No. We were going to go with you Yamauchi-kun anyway, Irie says, smiling, making Yamauchi blush immediately. Oh what a nice place. Well I'm going to see that beautiful ass and those huge breasts of my Sakura-chan. So let's see what happens. I position myself behind Yamauchi and with a swift blow, I knock him out, leaving him with no chance to react. Because of his build, it's not difficult to drag him away. It's time to make preparations. There. Yes Irie began to take off her clothes and dress her bikini. Kiyotaka-kun. You can come. Of course. I tied Yamauchi near a tree. His strength wasn't enough to untie the ropes. He could only watch and see what Irie looks like next to me. Well, let's leave the holy and we'll see what happens. Yamagod enters the scene, but immediately becomes Yamadead. What happened? I was standing next to Sakura-chan just after seeing her beautiful body. If it weren't for Ayanokoji, she'd probably be my girlfriend. TCH. Okay. This isn't the time for moaning. I'll probably get so excited I'll pass out. But now it's time to see those Sakura-chan tits and ass. I slowly open my eyes to see Sakura-chan, but not in the way you think. As Sakura right in front of me was Sakura next to a revealing bikini. Her voluptuous body was too lustful, and my hawk got hard in just seconds, but that was only if she was alone. Ayanokoji. I saw Ayanokoji's hawk in Sakura-chan's mouth. Its eyes wasn't normal, it was a monster. Its stiffness and length were superior to mine. Without realizing it, I started to cry and tried to look away from that scene. Third person since I got bored of writing from Yamadead's perspective. Ayanokoji's initial plan was to kill Yamauchi, but he knew there was no way that plan would be flawed and he would most likely be found guilty. So the most feasible thing to do is to drive him to despair in the way he would most like to obtain pleasure. Irie was the perfect tool for the task. Irie, being merely a doll controlled by Ayanokoji, would never object to what he digested. Out to strip naked to have sex in public, I would do it all just for him and his satisfaction. Yamauchi, an ordinary person with nothing particularly good about him, witnessed firsthand how his beloved Sakura was being suffocated by Ayanokoji's enormous hawk. His virile member was constantly thrashing around in her mouth. Rest was something that didn't exist for Ayanokoji. The stamina he gained thanks to the White Room helped him in many ways, and one of them was satisfying his sexual desire. Instead, Irie only felt pleasure after pleasure. Her sense of morality was taken away from her, her former shyness was buried, and with that, the new Irie was created. An Irie who only thought about someone, and that someone was Ayanokoji Kiyotaka. Even though he treated her roughly and barely let her rest, she wouldn't feel pain, but pleasure. That's why she brought the bikini. She was aware of his plan against Yamauchi, and Irie also underwent a radical change in seeing men as trash. One example is the idiot trio who saw them only as lifeless waste. A piece of garbage that should die. And seeing the last thing they said about Ayanokoji not deserving Irie made Irie herself reach her limit. If it weren't for Ayanokoji, she would have tried to kill him on the first day of the cruise, just like the girl who appears in Danganronpa, that blue-haired idol whose name I can't remember. But that's for another time. Kiyotaka-kun, do you want? Do it. Lemon skipped. Av-chan. Tunchinmaru's personal bitch was currently masturbating thinking about Kiyotaka, or Kiyopin for that matter. In her excitement, she created a new world, or, for those reading this, a fic. Kiyotaka Pav. The day I woke up as usual. My relationship with Kei had been revealed, and with that, the problems continued unabated. Irie was a problem, as the Ayanokoji group collapsed due to Irie's instability upon learning of my relationship. Okay, I have to get ready for school. I go through my daily routine. The exercises I do aren't as demanding as those in the clean room, but they help maintain the muscle mass I lost in my early years. Oh. Kiyotaka. Sigh. Well, it looks like it's going to be a tiring day. Kei was happy to know we could go on dates without hiding our relationship. I won't deny it's a different vibe I can live with. I can't quite grasp the meaning of love yet, but I understand that spending time with Kei makes me feel happy. I don't know. Kiyotaka, can you hear me? But now the problem has been solved and I don't see the problem of going with Kei to school. I sent a message to Kei so we could go together. Okay. For now, let's just look at this beautiful place. It's been over a year and a half since I enrolled at Ann's. This school changed me slowly, but it changed me. Hey Kiyotaka, don't ignore me don't ignore me. It's weird. I feel like something's tugging at my shirt. I must be hallucinating. This is probably because of Kei. When we're on dates, we usually go shopping for clothes, but even though we stay for hours and go to several stores, she only chooses after trying them on and trying them on. Oh Irie and Kiyotaka. Oh. Hello Akito, but Irie. What do you mean, Irie? Don't you see he's pulling your shirt? Did Akito hit you on the head? What? Don't tell me you don't see Irie. I'm telling you there's no one. Kiyotaka sniff I'm sorry P please don't ignore me. Man. Stop ignoring Irie now she's crying. Akito, it's better if we go to the infirmary, this is serious. Oh Miyaki and Kiyopin. Hello, Haruka. Hello, Haruka. My notes. This has nothing to do with it, but in a part of volume 15.5, during the call between Kyo and Kei after they say goodbye, Kyo's comment about his current relationship with Kei made me say Kaiaya. Lol. Oh good Irie. Irie. Haruka, there's something strange about Kiyotaka. Kiyopin, why are you ignoring Irie? I'm telling you there's no one. Okay, Kiyopin follow me. Okay. Sob I'd better go. No. Come on Irie. We didn't meet anyone along the way, but something strange was happening. According to Akito and Haruka, there were more than 6 girls, but I don't understand. Akito, Haruka, something strange is happening to you. No. You're the weird Kiyopin. How can you ignore Hiyori, Ichinus, Irie, Sakayanagi, Satu and that weird Cowhai? Cowhai weird? She was saying unintelligible things when you started ignoring her. Yeah, man. I'll stop thinking about entering your room when Karuizawa-senpai isn't around. I'll also stop buying tons of contraceptives for the trio, sniff. From hate to love A Handmaid's Tale. Love. A word rooted in many feelings, a person feels love for different factors or events in their life. From being childhood friends to the chemistry between the two, although this isn't certainly the truth. There are couples who can never work out but who eventually end up dating. Mine is a case in point. My mother always told me stories, just like any little girl would be excited to think about falling in love with a handsome, intelligent boy. I was no exception. I thought and wished there was a boy who would love and protect me like those fairy tales. A boy who would love me with all his heart and receive my love, but not everything is a fantasy. My ideology was shattering, I endured. Abuse after abuse, I kept enduring. They beat me, but I kept holding on, they made me confess to guys I never talked to, but I kept holding on. They tore up my books, hid my clothes. It was a game to them, and I was the prey of that game. My life fell apart over time, and I only asked for one thing. Save me. I didn't even care who it was. I just asked for him to save me, to protect me from this suffering. I knew then, I wasn't a princess waiting for her knight in shining armor. I was a peasant, just someone from the crowd. I knew it and accepted it. Hid and hid again. My grades were dropping and my family didn't understand why this was happening. I was afraid. No. It was fear. My life was already a mess. Yeah. What do I live for? Why I keep living? Those questions popped into my head. A fleeting memory, or perhaps a nostalgic one. I don't know, but now I understand. The girl named Karuizawa Kei had become a parasite, but that's okay. I know that more than anyone. I know I don't deserve to be happy, but I wanted. Love. I don't think of love as something that will save me. I waited and waited, but do I have to wait any longer? But maybe wait a little longer. I'll wait. And? You will save me, I don't know yet, but I know you will save me. That's why I'm waiting for you. Until I break. I love you. First day of school. Nothing remarkable or out of place, although it was obvious that being an elite school, giving you 100,000 points is a good thing. I'll be able to spend it on many things. A new beginning for me, that's what awaited me. Yes, for now, let's continue pretending to be someone else. In the end, no one wants to be friends with a broken doll. I'm sorry yes, I don't deserve to live, but I do. I cling to this one light I have left. A lot of things have happened since I enrolled at Ann's. Both good and bad. Our class is described as defective. Maybe that's why I'm here, but I still don't care I just want to live a normal life. Friends I can trust, people I can be safe with without fear of betrayal. It's the first time I'm starting to feel at ease here. Maybe I'm living a dream, but I hope I don't wake up anytime soon. I hope so. Our class didn't receive a single point on May 1st. We never questioned why we were given that many points. Although I was also average. I didn't like to think or study because of my past. That left a scar on me, not only mentally but physically as well. Hate. Fear. Terror. Despair. There's nothing but lies. Lie after lie, I was deceived. Yes, I was an idiot to think they were called my friends, but did I have a choice? No. I'm weak, I can't take care of myself. Yes, it wasn't the best choice to continue, but I did it anyway. I replicated my behavior with those arrogant people. My character and way of speaking were those of a Jairu. On the outside, I was the leader of the D classes, and on the inside, a girl with nothing. Without the desire to continue, but clinging to that feeling, to that last hope. And now I'm at the beginning. Harassed and forced to tell someone's truth. Bucket after bucket, the cold washes over my body, and my senses become heavier. Alone. Maybe I thought he would come, hahaha. Naive. She was just a tool for him. Then her purpose was over. Yes, I just have to say his name and this torture will end. Kiyotaka swore he'd protect me. Yes, he did. So why am I still suffering? Our agreement ended, but I'm still suffering. Fear. 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 Yeah. I was never someone who should exist. So why am I still alive? Yes. Yes. But if in the end I'm not good, then I'll trust in this tiny chance that he'll come. I, Karuizawa Kei, will return to the empty shell that I was. And no, I'll tell you. Well done. He's safe now. I won't deny that I was happy watching him come up with those plans, but everything must end. Maybe yes, maybe I thought he would be my prince. Not a prince in shining armor or goodwill. No. He was. A demon. But I still accepted. I accepted and I like to think about it. Fukuku, I see. The sound came from the roof door and I saw it. So. Yeah. It was worth it. I waited for you so long, but you arrived. My knight in radiant armor. And you're Kei. From Pav. Kiyotaka, you're not fooling me, are you? No. Kei. Fine. You know what happened to that bitch Kushida when she tried to steal you from me. Yes, I know Kei, but now you're more spoiled. HMPF. I just can't allow my boyfriend to be with just any girl. I can only accept girls who don't notice you, but it still makes my blood boil when I see them trying to flirt. TCH. The day is April 20th and it's been over 2 weeks. We're currently in our second year at ANS. I, Karuizawa Kei, have announced my relationship with Kiyotaka. In the last few weeks, Kiyotaka has become popular because we're in a relationship and also because he's so handsome. I don't know how long I can last without kissing, touching, and grabbing that thick enormous part of me, but let's calm down now. Today we're having a meeting because some bitch previously tried to steal Kiyotaka from me. Well, we've cornered her anyway, but I can't allow bitches like her to interfere with my relationship with Kiyotaka. Yes. I don't understand how those bitches don't understand that Kiyotaka is mine and mine alone. Their stupid faces don't deserve my Kiyotaka's attention. I can only please him and understand him. Surely if they knew how he only sees them as tools, they wouldn't think of getting close. Since I'm the only one who truly accepts and loves him. I love him, I love him, I love him, I love him. I can recount that time when he confessed to me 1,000 times. I was supposed to have a long talk with Shiina that day, but it seems Kiyotaka interfered with my plans, but you know what? I don't regret putting my plans on hold. That day I couldn't stop thinking about Kiyotaka. Now that we were dating, I could do a lot of things I couldn't when we were partners. Like kissing, going on dates, making fun of him, and even reaching the point of no return, but if it's because of him, I don't care. Obviously, I also have to be careful with certain people. I know Kiyotaka has a lot of friends in other classes, and many of them fell in love with me Kiyotaka, even though they know he has a girlfriend they think they can take him away from me. Yes. They can do it in their bucking dreams. You know what? A person can change over time, but what about Kiyotaka? I don't think he'll change that quickly. I know very well that Kiyotaka's common sense isn't normal, and I'll take advantage of that. I'll let Kiyotaka know that I'm the only one for him and that there's no other girl for him. My body may not be as developed, but he knows my resilience when we do it. Kiyotaka may not smile, but I don't care. As long as I'm with him always and forever, that's fine. There's nothing happier than living with the person you love. Alright, back to the main topic. No, not Kiyotaka. And? Tomorrow we'll expel Kushida and Ichinus. Is that okay? Kiyotaka took a deep sigh and replied. Yes, I don't see the importance of having people hindering my plans. Haha. Also, Kiyotaka, you should know that you shouldn't get together with any other girl other than me. Although I can understand the cowhide coming around at the most inopportune times, I don't want you to be taken away from me. You know that, right? Yes. Besides, you're the only one I love, Kei. Okay Kiyotaka, since we're done, I want a kiss. Yes. Huh? Something changed in Kiyotaka. Today I will be the one in charge. Biwawa. My heart can't bear what he said. What do you mean by the one in charge? You're being really spoiled today at DK, but I don't mind kicking a couple of girls out if it's to keep you quiet, but today you deserve a punishment. Biwa, espera Kiyotaka. My heart is beating much faster than it once did, but I don't hate it. I like that side of you too, Kiyotaka. Maybe. No, he probably already knows. It's because of you that I came back, but it doesn't matter. I became a masochist for you and I like it. Because you are everything to me, Kiyotaka. No man compares to you and there is no way he can fool you. So. That'll keep those bitches with big tits away and I don't care who it is. If you see Kiyotaka in a romantic way. I wouldn't mind killing you, but. First I would have to inform Kiyotaka. Ups. Let's go back to my happy moment. And. Let us go back and remember every moment like this. Happy. Sad. I hate. Happiness. Love. Lust. Anxiety. Fear. Depression. Pain. I've been through a lot, but this moment is so different. Yes. I also want to be happy. Because I love you. I probably won't post anything for a week. Unless. May my luck be at its maximum or may my goddess Kei help me. In the meantime, I've finished the pilot of Ayanokoji released from the clean room. Don't ask for epic moments. Since they will only be quiet moments. Your non-favorite Sundeer says goodbye. The conceited lowly and her luck. Kyo's Pav. Can you bury me? Fufu. I apologize for laughing. I didn't mean to insult the question you asked. I know very well how impressive you are. I'm just starting to enjoy this. Because I'm going to fulfill my life's wish by destroying the greatest masterpiece your father has ever created. I see. Then instead of leaving, I slowly approach Sakayanagi and. Habitan. Huh? My action surprised Sakayanagi. It's not much to say that this is the first time I've done this, but it doesn't matter. There's something I want to try with her. Sakayanagi be mine. Fufu. Sakayanagi's smile didn't falter even a bit and as time passed, it turned into a deep silence, but before I could withdraw my hand, I decided to make one last attack. Just so you know, the author spent half an hour thinking about what the hell to put here and in the end, decided to let his imagination enlighten him. P.S. What a shit I made, but oh well. Sakayanagi. I placed my other hand near her chin and pointed in the direction of my lips. The movement wasn't quick. It was a moment when I didn't want to rush things, just let the atmosphere take control and let our bodies decide the direction this relationship would take us. Fufu. It seems that the masterpiece wants to feel human warmth. Human warmth, eh? It can be said that, yes. Somehow I think you're the best choice of all. I could say the same thing about Ayanokoji-kun. Her smile didn't change, but I could see a pink tint in her cheeks. Is she embarrassed? Even if she is, I must continue. So your answer? Fufu. Obviously it will be a yes Ayanokoji-kun, no. More like Kiyotaka-kun. Yes Arisu as if this were the convenience of the plot, it seems that I have a girlfriend, ahem forget Kyo breaking the fourth wall ahem. I hold her chin a little tighter and make our lips, which were only centimeters apart before, touch and the kiss is complete. I still can't describe the feeling I felt, but I don't dislike it. Instead, it may be that little by little I want to know more about love, a feeling I never learned in the White Room and that we were strictly forbidden to know or do. But now I'm not in the White Room. Now I can know and learn more than I could have known. In conclusion, Sakayanagi would be the means by which I could find love, but there's also the reason that she knows better than anyone that I haven't felt love either. So we'll see. Over time I will create memories that I will never forget and also over time I will have to finish them. Not everything is forever, my relationship with Sakayanagi will come to an end and so will my freedom. That's why I want these 2.5 years to be unforgettable. Fufu. It may have been my first kiss, but it wasn't bad. I see. The Horikita-kun. And? How about I visit you tonight in your room? Horikouji. What an offer. Shut up you damn horny mind. Horikouji. TCH, you should let your impulses prevail. What's the point of having a T-Rex if you're not going to use it? That would leave her even more crippled than she is now. Horikouji. Challenges are my specialty. Just let me take control and watch her become submissive. I see that normal methods don't work, but what if I call the jail blue jelly? Horikouji. What? How do you even do that damn it? You'll pay me back, but you'll need my power someday plus. Safe. Fufu. How about 7 p.m? I don't see a problem with it. For now, it's better if we separate. It was a pleasure meeting you, Kiyotaka-kun. My boyfriend. Horikita, yes, lowly. Shut up, damn it. Horikita. I'm not afraid of death anymore. Odd. Child K and Child Kiyotaka. Kyo-kun, pass me that manga. Is it? Yes, thank you, Kyo-kun, I love you. I love you too, K. He. Of course, because Kyo-kun is mine and only mine. And? What? You thought? This one shot is short. And? XD. Oops, I forgot to put this. Arrested for being horny. Follow. Share. If you think the song has anything to do with it, well, no. I just put it there because I did. I'm actually looking for more fanart since I fell short PTM. Well, a somewhat strange one shot, I think. Well, let's start, it was said. Horikita Kiyotaka. An existence too horny, the original owner Ayanokoji Kiyotaka could not contain it and its power was unleashed. It is said that on that day there was a girl in Horikoji's room. That girl was Karuizawa Kei. Because the walls were thick, the sound was lessened, but some people noticed it. It said there was another Sakayanagi the following day, but that's for another time. The day the person named Horikoji Kiyobaka will be judged, the author is currently out of ideas, and any nonsense comes to mind, don't ask. Horikoji is the direct counterpart of Ayanokoji Kiyotaka. He is the carnal desire that Ayanokoji held back for over 5 years, but one day the Fire Nation attacked. Let's get back to this. But one day the seal that held Horikoji back was destroyed, just like Naruto's. After being unable to unleash his full power for over 5 years, Horikoji used it on the only person he saw, and luckily, it was a girl. Karuizawa Kei, now known as Sakayanagi 2.0, but taller. She's the second disabled girl, but no one knows why. Obviously, only a few people know, but telling such a secret would lead to unimaginable dangers. Horikoji was sentenced to 10 years in prison and not being horny for more than 50 years. He himself said that they will never be able to stop him, since no one can stop Horikoji. The day he was taken to jail. I don't know what the hell I'm writing, but what does it matter? There were many sightings of Yu-Gi-Oh cards. Oh wait, that's not it, ahem. Junshinmaru. Hey idiot, isn't that Bakugan? Author. Yes, but I confused it with Yu-Gi-Oh, and I don't know why. Junshinmaru. You don't even know what you write anymore, right? Author. I don't even know why, because I have more than 30 drafts and I don't write anything. Junshinmaru. Have you already done the one with the reaction? Author. No way. Junshinmaru. What a lazy piece of shit. Author. Ah, yeah, ha. Let's continue. Horikoji's power can make any girl go crazy for him. This was realized when Shinohara Satsuki, a girl who hated Ayanokoji, was easily captured by Horikoji in just 2 hours. There were more glimpses of his exploits as a Pokemon trainer, but again, let's say he could even be compared to a Master Ball. Not even in the digital world could you be that much of a hacker. Now they'll say, author, what the hell do you write? And I'll say it's my one shot and I don't even know what the hell I write. I just want to make a somewhat decent chapter, since in case they don't know I already have another fanfic made, but I don't know if I should publish it. True, about the F, well in the end it wasn't F, but thanks to an idiot who made a mistake on an exam and I passed, thanks unknown. Stalking girl after girl, his emblem is a heart, his weapon is a P. Again we continue. Horikoji Pav. Around 9 PM is the time I can walk freely. After getting rid of Chiansei, I was able to enjoy a bit more freedom, but there's always something that even someone as strong as me can't stop. I can't stop being horny. My libido is something that would even make many isekai with broken abilities abnormal. I wonder who read the Jakuchara novel. I'm finishing it today, and I like the ship lol. Since I left Kei in a wheelchair and then stole Ike's girlfriend, I've managed to satisfy my libido to a certain extent, but even now I know my body is craving more. Now I see the reason why my other self wouldn't let me go. I want to stop being Horikoji. And? Meanwhile, a few words from Junshinmaru, an author. Junshinmaru. Hey, readers or strangers who see this. If you're wondering why the author is writing such nonsense, it's not because he's lazy, well, half that, and the other half is because he started playing Pokemon Black and White at 100%. Author. Oh shit, like 100%. The only one I did was the Pokemon Emerald one, and that's even though I became a tremendous idiot at the end of catching that bucking whale. Junshinmaru. Aha. Well, this is a pointless one shot, and it's not very horny or anything, just the author's nonsense. A fanfic that I wouldn't like, but I will do it. This idea came to me while I was thinking about other fics I can do. Yes. That's all, but let's get to the context, or rather, the synopsis. Ayanokoji Kiyotaka will be in class B or C, and you will tell me why. Easy. In this fanfic, I'll make it so that no ship exists, and well, that's it. How do I say this? Let's just say it's still cold and there won't be any heroines. Rather, the heroines will be like Ayanokoji's enemies. I'd better not give spoilers, but one victim is Shiina Hiyori. And Junshinmaru. Oh, idiot. Author. What do you want? Junshinmaru. Are you planning to publish that? Author. Well, of course. Junshinmaru. Yeah, but what about the Kyuke you made? Author. Are you talking about the reverse code or the other fic? Junshinmaru. From the other. Author. As too much for me. That's why I could only finish the prologue itself. Junshinmaru. Ah well Chado mate, it's been more than 2 weeks and just the prologue. Author. Sip. Junshinmaru. But it's more than 3k, right? Author. Puss. Only 1k. Junshinmaru. For that you are born. Author. But the good thing is that I already finished the one shot of COTE reacts, but it took me a long time. Junshinmaru. I understand, but from what I saw, that guy's reaction is like I said, weird. Author. I'm not weird, but what I write is a fleeting feeling. Forgetting the events that marked our lives is common, from fateful encounters to tragic events. I'm no exception. I often thought about overcoming everything that came with my friends. My class. But there are limits to what one can do. I, Ichika Hoshinomiya, have to forget. Yes, maybe I was naive and thought that maybe I could have a chance. Day after day I thought the same thing. No, it was just my imagination. I constantly thought about ways to repress and deny this feeling, but I know better than anyone. Even I can say I fell in love with someone. I thought maybe I could be with him, but that was just an illusion. He already had someone he could trust and love. I was just a nuisance in their relationship, I know. Yes, in my incompetence I interfered in something I wasn't invited to. Karuizawa Kei, I've heard that name a couple of times. Known as the leader of the D-class girls and Harada's ex. I never imagined she was dating Ayanokoji-kun. Ha ha. I'm useless. I can't do anything even though I thought I could overcome everything with unity. Once again, I realized how weak and idiotic I was. I can't do anything right. Kanzaki-kun was right. They don't need a leader like me. Naive, weak, fragile. I'm someone who can be easily broken. I thought maybe that confession could work. I love Ayanokoji-kun, but that love is only platonic. It can't be realized, even though he didn't reject me outright, I knew it. I know better than anyone that he doesn't have feelings for me. This time I couldn't hold it in any longer and the tears came out without thinking. I'm now in Class B. We've returned to where we started. A class full of friendly and supportive people, but I know something more than anyone. I know that out of the entire class, ours is the one that hasn't grown and has fallen behind. Horikita has been able to far exceed the expectations we had of her, once again taking Class D to Class E, a rival to be considered more than dangerous. Ryuin has been a problem for Class B since he took back the leadership of his class, but even though I don't like him, I must admit that his strategies are more effective than my naive thinking about unity. Tsukanagi is the leader of Class A and someone you should fear. Her schemes ensured that Class A would never be relegated and could remain in Class A. And then there is Class B, led by my Ichika Hoshinomiya, a cheerful girl who thinks that unity in class can help us overcome any challenge, but my lack of understanding was what decided my slow growth. From the first year, Class D, like other classes, knew how to improve and adapt better. So where's Class B? Despite my classmates' efforts, I know better than anyone that I'm the problem, making them take on the problems I should be facing. I have failed as a leader and lost my first love. I can only feel an emptiness in my heart, but with time it will pass. But I know better than anyone that that won't happen. So let's forget. Let us forget that love that once happened and return. Ayanokoji Kiyotaka was the first guy I confessed to, and it was also the first time I was rejected. I literally don't reject it. The love that could not be realized is told in my head. Thinking of thousands of opportunities when he won't be with Karuizawa-san. I still think it's not a good thing. Because even if he accepts my confession, he will never love me. A secret told. Understand? I nod slightly to what the person is going to tell me. Good. Would you mind listening to my story, Ayanokoji-kun? Your story, huh? It doesn't benefit me at all to know it, but I'll do it. All because of your determination and willpower, which made me endure so much. If that's okay with me, I wouldn't mind listening to you. The girl sighed. How should I put it? I didn't have a happy childhood, much less a pleasant one. How should I continue? I feel something that I shouldn't say, but I don't know. Sigh. Fine. From elementary school until today I was a victim of bullying. I already knew it. No. To be more precise, it was obvious at first glance that she was being bullied. By the time he started school, his condition was deplorable and his Jairu personality was no more. His friends, whom he once considered close, left and joined in the bullying. Even so, many boys did nothing. It wasn't his fear for the girls, but for the consequences that could come with it. Having an ally like Kishida, the men just continue to ignore Karuizawa's harassment. They're also unaware that she's also joining in the same harassment. Boys like Ike, Yamauchi, Miyamoto, Handu don't realize that their angel is also someone who likes to look down on people, but that same thing made Karuizawa's bullying not stop. As long as I can remember, I've never seen a day when I wasn't beaten or belittled. Day after day, the bullying didn't lessen. I'm weak. Yes, you know that now, but it doesn't matter. Having a history of bullying and coming to this school to forget it was the only option she saw as feasible, but Karuizawa ultimately couldn't fight back. Without a powerful host, she herself suffered the consequences of Harada's popularity. As time passed, Karuizawa Beijo's Jairu appearance and status diminished, becoming a hindrance to the class. Her academic ability as a physicist was poor, and it was only by luck that she managed to avoid failing the exams and being expelled. I must also say that she wouldn't tell anyone about this, and even Harada couldn't possibly know Karuizawa's past in depth. Ayanokouji-kun. And? What would you do if I wanted to commit suicide? Suicide A. Nothing. I see no. It's fine, I'd rather you didn't help me or save me. I don't want you to be the target of others after I commit suicide. Even now, she keeps her pain to herself. There's only one way to make her stronger, but that's none of my business. She herself has stopped trusting other people, and that includes me. She doesn't know who I am, much less what my true abilities are. Ayanokouji-kun, could you listen more? I nod slightly at his question. Fine, she bit her lower lip. It seems like it's a challenge to tell someone like me about her past. Since I was bullied, I've endured humiliation after humiliation. Beatings and verbal abuse. Confessing to boys I don't like. Putting dead animals in my lockers, stealing my underwear as a uniform, even outside of school the bullying didn't stop. You know I never asked for anything selfish or impossible to fulfill, but those times I only asked for one thing. Someone save me. Tears flowed, and the Karuizawa Kei, who was once the main girl of Class D, is now just a weak girl who cannot live without a host. There's something I have to admit. Being able to withstand that harassment and still remain standing is admirable. But she reached her limit. Then I must not interfere. Well, Ayanokouji-kun. She stood up and stood on the railing. The time has come. Karuizawa smiled, but that smile wasn't one of happiness. It was one of fear. Maybe he didn't ask to be popular, much less someone intelligent. She just wanted to be saved from her past, a dream that ultimately went unfulfilled. It's been a relaxing thing to tell someone about my past. If that's your decision, I can't do anything. Yes. It doesn't matter. She kept smiling. But. What? I must say you are strong. Strong? Going through a dark past and still being able to stand up, even now, is something a normal person would never do. Heh. I don't know if I should say I'm strong. I only had a small hope, but it vanished in the end. Okay. This is goodbye, but I enjoyed talking to you. Maybe I would have liked to be your friend. Kyo's Pav. Satsuki. 10 minutes, but. If you don't wake up, we won't have Hex. No Kiyotaka. After I had Hex with Satsuki that day, I can say our relationship continued normally. On the other hand, Ike was surprised to see my hawk and tell me I was the one with the biggest one, but sorry, Ike, I'm not gay. My relationship with Satu became public and many people shared their thoughts on why and how we dated. That very day, we had Hex in my room. Satu seems to have become corrupted in just 2 days. She herself asked me several times a day and told me not to use a condom. Although that worried me, she bought birth control pills herself. But that day. When classes ended, Satu and I would quickly head to my room and have Hex daily. It was a habit of ours, but doing it every day was impossible, so we had to do it one day or another. After more than a month of dating, Satu and I decided to take it to the next level and buck in public, but obviously without any cameras recording anything. There were places where there weren't any cameras, but that day marked a new relationship. Halfway there, and starting off on the right track, we saw the silhouette of someone in the distance. Although Satu didn't notice, I could clearly see him. I quickly walked over and grabbed the person to find out it was Satsuki. Don't say why Satsuki tells me I'm too lazy to write any more XD. Beito. Ko. Satu came quickly naked and not caring if her friend saw her. Oh Shinohara-san, what was it like? Satsuki could only nod slightly. Well, since you saw something you shouldn't have seen, how about you forget it and go back the way you came? Lemon skipped. This night will be long, I think to myself. Shinohara Pav. The day was tiring. Talking with my friends about my relationship with Kanji and seeing how things were going was hard to explain, and it was all about why I fell in love with someone like him. I don't know, but I like it. He previously asked me to have sex with another man, but I refused at first. But when he insisted, I didn't continue and agreed. Having sex with other men wasn't something I wanted to do, even though I'd already done it with Kanji. It's very different to do it with another man you don't love. Days passed, and only one remained. There were boys he couldn't do it with, one of them being Konji. Sudo, Akito, Yukumura. But the others it was a yes, but the one who disappointed me the most was Yamauchi-kun. His hawk was like a match. And I felt nothing but pity for him and his future girlfriend. Finally I had Ayanokoji-kun, Satu-sen's boyfriend. I don't want to do this with a friend, so I'll just ask her to show her hawk and take a picture of her and me giving her a blowjob. But little did I know that this was the start of something new. Kyo's Pav. From that day on, Satu and I almost never went out on Saturdays and Sundays just to continue spending time having sex day and night. The Ayanokoji group was disbanded because Irie couldn't stand seeing me with another girl and Kaisei because he thought I was hiding things from him. I really don't mind, and besides, I now have enough time to be with Satu and experience love. On one hand, I found it pleasurable to do it with her every day. It was like a form of training. Oh right, Kiyotaka-kun, Satu talks to me while she eats her food. Although this seems like a normal dating relationship. If you saw how we are now that would be different. Satu is currently naked and pushing her hussy up and down on my hawk. We were eating while having sex. I was thinking of something new. New? Yes, as a trio for example. Trio? What is that? I could invite Karuizawa-san, but she's with Harada. Or maybe Matsushita or Shinohara. Trio? Yup. You see, I thought one girl isn't enough and having another one would do the trick, so I thought of Karuizawa-san, but she's with Harada-kun, so we're going for Shinohara. But she's with Ike. You're right, but don't worry, I know how to handle it. At night. Today Maya said to have a threesome with someone. If this were a joke, I'd take it as a yes, but that would be if it were someone other than Maya. One day I asked her to bring a vibrator to school, and she did it exactly. Another day, without underwear, and she followed my instructions. It seems she cares a lot for me. That time we had sex until the next morning. I can say it was difficult to clean up all the spilled semen, but half of it went straight to Maya's stomach. If you ask why she isn't pregnant, let's say it's a plot convenience. Ding ding. The doorbell rang and I quickly went to see who it was. Seconds after opening the door handle I hear Maya talking to Shinohara. But this is wrong. HMPF. Do it for me, plus it'll turn you on seeing Kiyotaka-kun's hawk, she said while licking her lower lips. Shinohara on the other hand just gulped before being able to enter. Yahoo! Kiyotaka-kun. Yup, context. Shinohara just nodded and went straight to the shower. For what? Oh, I'm sorry, she's very shy, but the bad thing is that Ike-kun has a small one, since I don't think he can handle your hawk. Does that worry you? Well, what does it matter? Maya started undressing in front of my face and I followed her rhythm. I see it's still tough, but for now you have to wait, understood? She kisses my hawk, making it hard immediately. Cruel. She grabs my hawk instead of my hand and leads me to the bathtub. Shinohara is standing there naked, revealing her butt and breasts. If we talk about body, Satu is better, but a 2x1 is better. The trio doesn't even sound bad. Shinohara couldn't say anything before Satu grabbed me and we got into the tub together. Ah. How hot. Shinohara-san come, she encourages Shinohara to immerse herself in the hot water. Oh okay, she just says that before entering, but luckily Maya pushes Shinohara next to me and her has almost entered my hawk. Unfortunately I could only feel her has with my hawk. Horikita. Damn, why am I not there? The append to COTE reverse. We'll never know. The append of this story. I'm hornier than you. Let's continue. Shinohara-san, I don't care if you have sex, she smiles while Shinohara turns as red as a beet. Maya, I think it's before I can finish I feel Shinohara's has moving from left to right. This is too hot if you see it from above. Now I see my hawk moving to the rhythm of her has. She seems uncomfortable, but the bad thing is that because of her movements, my hawk was ready to have more than 10 hours of sex. But let's calm down, even if she moves her has, she doesn't do it intentionally. I'm a teenager, and saying I like this isn't a lie. If it were Horikita or Kushida, I probably wouldn't have held back, but that's if we talk about that happening. Since Shinohara is a special case, she knows our love relationship has reached a point where our bodies crave each other's warmth. I see you have a thing for Kiyotaka-kun. Maya tried to make fun of Shinohara, but she didn't respond. On the other hand, her movements were faster now and instead of adjusting herself, it seemed like she wanted to give me pleasure. The once calm T-Rex is rising as the hero of the what was that? Let's put that aside for now, I'm at a crucial moment. On one side I have Maya and on the other side I have Shinohara who moves her has intensely on my hawk. Now he does it in circumference. Maya seems to notice this, but it doesn't stop her, and she seems jealous. HMPF. I didn't allow you to move your house for Kiyotaka-kun's hawk, Maya says mockingly. It's just that millimeters. I let out a sigh. I also wanted to buck while we shower, but we always forget. What? You're still bucking after what you did? Shinohara looks incredulous. Oh, I forgot to tell you. We also bucked at school and during recess in the boys' restroom, although we had to sneak out for that. There's more, let me remember. Oh right, there was one time where we did it for almost 12 hours. Shinohara looks incredulous. I don't know what to think about you guys anymore, but 12 hours is humanly impossible. Yes, but we have breakfast and lunch bucking. Shinohara doesn't seem to understand this. I can understand her. Having hex with Maya for 12 hours is impossible, but keeping yourself eating while bucking is also weird, but thanks to that, our stamina increases a bit. Well, this doesn't surprise me anymore. Haha, but the amazing thing is the amount of heman he expels from those balls. Amount? You'll know soon enough. Shinohara didn't get it at first, but he must have remembered that moment when I made him deep-throat me. Well, stand up, Kiyotaka. I listened to Satu and slowly stood up. Good. Maya licks her lips and begins stretching her mouth with both hands, signaling me to insert my hawk. Following her advice, I slowly insert my hawk. Maid cafe? Oh. What do you think about this? I want to see Kei's, but in this image we can see a few important things. Satu mayonnaise far surpasses Horikita and Ichinus. I don't know why I think that, but for me she is a better waifu than Horikita or Ichinus lol. We see Stalker-chan. Why Mai-chan? But Kii is missing. XD. Angry, but not because of Urita-kun. Okay, now let's get to what really happened. I got into an argument with a kid, but I don't really know what team he was on. The important thing is that he really hated Kei, but without any arguments. I mean, he's saying that Kei is useless and only exists because Kiyotaka is with him. Bruh. To a certain extent, I understand this, but that's what the novel is about. It's all about giving Kei growth and becoming independent, but that jerk went too far and the fight over counter-arguments began. In the end it was a tie XD. But if I see it again I'll just ignore it. Also, I don't hate any girl except Kushida lol. And on the other hand, I had another argument with someone who said that Kyo was becoming less cold. I really don't understand those people. Let's start with my Kei Karuizawa gallery and you'll ask why. Easy, I don't feel like writing my COTE zombie one-shot or Shinohara NTR2 or Horikita being a bitch. Also, I'm too lazy to write Yandere Kiyotaka as Kushida, bitch angel. Oops. Remembering. Kyo's Pav. Ahaha, I still can't forget that day Kiyotaka. Heh. Well, I didn't understand much at the time either. I smiled as I spoke to my wife. Mau seriously Kiyotaka, you should forget about certain things sometimes. Like that time you got jealous because I talked to a girl, or that time you tried to make me jealous. Tawa. On record is he so. Yes, those are unforgettable moments for me. Haha. Well, it's not that I hate him, but I was very jealous back then. Well, you're too handsome and I didn't want you to leave my side. It's been many years since I finished my life as a student at Anne's, sitting in the back of our house. Remembering happy and sad moments. Each feeling blends together. My former poker face was replaced by a genuine smile from my wife, Kei. Even after we graduated, I was a little worried about what would happen to me after not being able to properly say goodbye to Kei. Mo Kiyotaka. I nod towards Kei. Do you love me? Love. I see, it's been a long time since we touched on that subject, but she's certain of this. She knows more than anyone my desire for her and my love for her. As someone born in the White Room, we were never taught to love anyone. Even Kei was no exception. But nothing lasts forever. My former expressionless face was gone and another Ayanokoji Kiyotaka was born. Warmth coursed through my body, making my heart race again. Kei is beautiful. Her way of speaking to me and understanding me is perfect. A girl who accepted me even after I told her about my feelings for her. Someone I can trust with my backhand, above all, the first person with whom I was able to love and experience more of life. Author. I don't know why I got sentimental. Thanks Kei. I love you. I love you. Kei didn't answer me. Haha. Of course I knew that, but like I told you, there are times when you have to forget certain things. I'm not going to deny that. Certain events can cause them to experience trauma toward a certain person, which can damage their mental stability. Kei knows my past and knows how difficult it is to survive in the White Room. She was furious as she sobbed into my chest. Seeing her in that state made me feel a stabbing pain in my chest. I couldn't remember why I felt that way, but I knew I didn't want to see her like that. My feelings for her were growing, and with that, she was also beginning to feel more love for me. It led to many moments where we were going to take the next step, but there was always someone who interfered. I sighed deeply as I remembered those moments in my life. Yes. Kiyotaka. You're right. There are things one should forget, but there are others that don't matter. I don't intend to forget. I see. I tried, but it seems your stubbornness is beyond me. Heh, it's time, Kiyotaka. And? I slowly get up and leave the house. My body isn't the same as it was when I was young. My muscles have shrunk, and my academic ability has also declined considerably. On the other hand, my memories remain intact. Good. I'm headed to a certain place. A place I always go to every year, no matter the circumstances. I'm back. Along with a bouquet of roses I head to a tombstone with a certain name. It's been a while, hasn't it? Yes. Forget, eh? On the one hand I don't want to forget her and on the other I want to do it, to think that all this is a lie. But I accept it. Until we meet again, I will continue to enjoy every moment you have given me. The love is there. I don't know if it was good or bad, you say. Horikita dog. Kyopov. Today I was invited by Horikita to her room. Well, here everything is going to be imagined by me since I don't remember very well what happened XD. I'm sorry if you think it's weird. Time skip. Horikita's room. He lightly knocked on Horikita's door, the time was not long, and Horikita opened the door for him to enter. Today I prepared something in case she plans to use the food as blackmail. Thanks to Kei, I was able to obtain this, although at first she was stunned by my order. She faithfully obeyed. And Horikita grabbed my hand. What's the matter? I quickly get to the point, not wanting to waste any more time with her than necessary. Nothing important. Just wait for me to finish making dinner. Don't get mad if it wasn't at the indicated time. I mean, it was in the afternoon or evening, I don't remember that part very well, sorry. Then I'd better go. She stopped me and looked at me seriously, saying, if you leave, you won't live to see tomorrow, or so I gathered from her intense gaze directed at me. I nod slightly at what I picked up from Horikita. So how long would it take? No more than 10 minutes, so sit and wait for now. I do what he says and sit on the rug next to the table. For now, I have to make my move if I want to avoid his blackmail, but doing so involves a step that will be problematic, but necessary to move forward. I take a drug from my pocket, given to me by a certain person. This drug contains a powerful aphrodisiac, but in addition, the person's mentality and sensitivity will be drastically altered. They'll be different people than the ones we normally see. I'm sorry, Horikita, but you made me do this. Even though I told you not to interfere with me, you still ignore me. For now, you will receive the punishment you should have paid a long time ago. Time skip. There Horikita arrived, along with 2 bowls. It was a soup that looked magnificent at first glance, but I knew she was up to something. Horikita. Horikita stared at me, but it was the right time. Biz. Horikita's cell phone started ringing and she didn't pay attention to it, but she only glanced for a second to see who the sender was, and her eyes widened. The person was Elder Horikita. She quickly grabs her cell phone and heads straight to the kitchen for a more private conversation. It's my time to act. I grab the packet containing the drugs and pour in the powder. I use her spoon and slowly stir the white drug into her soup. According to Kei, this should be used by minorities, but I didn't understand the minority. I'm sure it's about individuals. Thanks Kei. If it weren't for her, maybe I would use it with other people. Good. Why don't you start enjoying your soup? I just wanted to wait for you, I said, and began to slowly sip my soup. Along with this, I also had the green tea. Why green tea, you may ask? Well, one of the amino acids commonly found in tea, especially green tea, is theanine, which affects serotonin and other brain cells, responsible, among other things, for sexual attraction and the activation of the pleasure center during intercourse. In conclusion, it increases the person's libido in addition to the use of the drug, this will make Horikita horny. Junshinmaru. Oh, but where's the lemon anyway? Author? Well wait, it's not all about bucking. Junshinmaru. This guy. Some time has passed since we finished dinner, and now it was time for Horikita to blackmail me, but due to the drug and the green tea, she's currently flushed and aroused. Although she doesn't pretend to be, the slight rubbing of her thighs against her hussy makes it more than obvious. Plus, sometimes she starts looking at me and tries to tell me something. No matter how much time passes, Horikita's hex drive increases. My libido also starts to change because of the green tea. Horikita begins to move her thighs faster, and her hands begin to touch her hussy. She seems to be reaching her limit, but let's let her continue suffering for now. To make my plan work, I must wait. Time skip. I went to the bathroom for a moment to wash my hands, but when I came back, I saw a different Horikita. The blouse she'd been wearing was off and thrown to the floor. Her skirt was gone, and you could see her fat ass swing from left to right from afar. It was a wonderful sight. Surely if Sudo saw this, he would have turned into a rabbit about to buck Horikita and pound her like a drawer that won't close. Her hands, which had previously been trying to hide her arousal, were now directed at her visible hussy. It was a new sight, and I obviously had an erection right away. Lemon skipped. Time skip. It was Monday and a certain video was delivered to a certain read, and next to him were Yamauchi and Ike. What they saw was something abnormal. They saw Horikita's naked body. Ike couldn't help his erection, just like Yamauchi and Sudo, who was crazier than ever at the sight of his beloved's body. Ike, on the other hand, saw Horikita's bouncing ass. Yamauchi saw Horikita's perfect breasts like vagina. Sudo tried to engrave all of that in his mind. Ike saw something more than exciting, and it was seeing Horikita's ass moving faster, making his hawk reach excitement. Along with that, Ike brought him a message, but what he saw left him disgusted. Or, to be more precise, stupefied. Many emotions were trapped. Hate, fear, sadness, and lust. In the photo you could see a boy's hawk, and next to that Kishida's naked body covered in hymen, while she intensely sucked the aforementioned hawk. Yamauchi was no exception and saw the same thing as Ike, but instead of Kishida he saw Sakura. Someone's hawk was wrapped around Sakura's huge breasts, making her do a pizuri. It didn't take more than a second for a video to arrive. Ike, Kishida and a guy were bucking in the pool while the color turned white. Yamauchi watched as Sakura was penetrated by a hawk. And Sudo, who saw how Horikita was inserted by a hawk bigger than his. Kian Pav. Hello, I'm Kian Ayanokoji, a girl who loves her Ani-chan and doesn't want anyone to steal him from her. Today marks 2 years since we've been dating and I'm eager to find out what the future holds. Our butler Matsuo helped us enroll in a prestigious school called ANS. The name is very long and I don't like to remember important things, except for one, he. You know I'm dying of embarrassment writing this, so at least read it you bastard XD. The day with my Ani-chan holding hands Kaiaya. No Kianeki. We can't do it, I circa could get pregnant. Kaiaya. Just thinking about what will happen these 3 years at ANS drives me crazy. Time skip because he was too lazy to write. It's been over a week since we entered ANS and no one even knew we were secretly dating. Although there were issues due to a certain blonde girl with a ponytail who luckily didn't ask any more questions about it. At that moment, I was feeling really jealous of Kushibikt, but there's no need to be afraid. Her breasts may be above average, but mine are even bigger than her E-cup. My butt is also well formed and has a tight fleshy shape. My Ani-chan's hands are always perfect when I'm horny, but we still can't do it. Getting condoms was more of a hassle than I thought, but it's all for my Ani-chan. Hey Ani-chan. I already brought the condoms, the rope, lingerie, a micro bikini, oil, honey and a bunny outfit. Junshinmaru. Ah, so those are your fetishes. Author? Thighs, I mean cough. Well, they aren't, but what does it matter? Sealan. But what about the NTR? Author? No, you already did it with Kiyotaka bucking K in front of his entire harem. Sealan. Yes, but I wanted to make a second part where they buck publicly while everyone else watches, including the other girls in their harem XD. Junshinmaru. I'm not that sick either, but long live KXD. Let's continue. Good. I moaned internally. At naked. Hi. I quickly unbutton my shirt and reveal my F-cup breasts, almost reaching G. These breasts excited the boys on my first day of school and made many masturbate that night. I wanted to do something more daring, but Ani-chan wouldn't lend me his hawk for that surprise, but I think I can now. There's a group called Kian's Photos. I joined with a fake account and sent some photos of myself, but in an unobtrusive way. From the moment my skirt lifted up to the moment I revealed a nipple. It feels like I'm giving them something for free, but in the end, it's just virtual. If you don't have the physical material, it's useless. I'll send a picture of me sucking my beloved Ani-chan's hawk. Kaiaya how perverted I am. Time skip. It's not lemon XD. April 30th. Swimming lessons. Today I made the swimming teacher not come and we had free hours he. Since Ike gave me all his points, I granted his wish. On the other hand, Yamauchi didn't comply and I ended up sending her to Shinohara. Well, you have a tier F waifu. Bad Yamauchi, very bad. On the other hand, my Ani-chan and I are now alone with Satu. Because my Ani-chan demonstrated his physical abilities, Satu fell in love with him, but I feel angry because of how this bitch is getting between my brother and me. So I'll put her to the test. While my Ani-chan isn't around, I grab Satu from behind and rip off her bikini. Showing off her breasts, which aren't big, but aren't small either. What I can say about Satu is her beautiful face, and that ass that could tempt my Ani-chan well, in addition to having good thighs. Time skip. Epilogue I don't want to write anymore. It had been over 6 months since we signed up, I was able to buck a lot with my Ani-chan, but Satu kept clinging to my Ani-chan. In the end, I had to give in since it was too strange for us to be together almost all day, and there could be rumors that we were incestuous. On the other hand, Satu agreed to do it, but on the condition that she be my Ani-chan's girlfriend. I didn't accept it, but the benefits are good. At first I had to give him blowjobs while he rode my Ani-chan's T-Rex. Ow. I want to buck. HMPF. If you want to know how this one shot was created, watch that video XD. What I got was to buck Kushida, but in the end she didn't feel anything for Kushida XD. He says goodbye for more than 20 days. I won't be able to publish for a month I think, so don't think I'll discontinue my fanfics XD. The author is very bored, but what can he do? But good. Now that I'm out of ideas, it's time to do something. Not really, but even though I have more than 29 drafts, I haven't finished any of them XD. Let's leave that aside and start with possible fanfics that I was going to do, but I felt lazy. Classless. Have you seen those fanfics where Ayanokoji isn't in any class but is in a special class? So what do you think? Of course, Kyopin isn't in any class. Thanks to Sakapapa's intervention, Ayanokoji was able to enter ANS, but with some changes. Ayanokoji is an employer at ANS and works as a waiter at the pallet. Ayanopapa checked ANS to see if his son was there, but since he's not a student, there's no record of him. Sakapapa made a fake ID. Furthermore, because he's an employer, he can't leave ANS unless he's fired. June. The day was a Saturday like any other, but unfortunately for her, this day would change things for a certain girl. Shiina Hiyori Pav. Thank you for recommending these books to me, Ayanokoji-kun. She smiled at him. You're welcome. He is my friend, but even though he is my friend and I value him as someone else in that sense, I still don't know what the meaning of this is. Though for those reading this, I wonder if you want a one-shot with a girl's thoughts or waifus, but in a negative way. It's something that occurred to me while I was having a very nice dream about a Kyokai story, and the idea passed me by. As he slowly walked away from me, I began to reflect on what had happened these past few days. There's a certain group formed by Ayanokoji-kun. Within that group, there are two girls who get along very well with him. I'm happy that he has more friends, but a little sad that he can't have time for himself. For now, let's return to the dorm and continue with the novel Ayanokoji-kun lent me last month. I couldn't finish it because the special exam took up most of my time. La la la, I hum as I curl up like a caterpillar, enjoying every moment I can spend with him. My body heats up just thinking about him, my mind clouds over, and my heart races. What could this feeling be? It was around 7:23 p.m. when I woke up. It seems like I slept for about 2 hours after remembering the moments I spent with Ayanokoji-kun. The author forgot the plot that followed, so everything else is improvised, sorry. I stretched a little and started making some coffee to continue my reading. The sound of the kettle echoed in my ears. I quickly went to make the coffee and returned to where I left off reading. I slowly pick up the book while sipping the hot coffee. The novel I'm about to read is a mystery novel where a boy goes in search of his mother's murder, but as time goes by, it seems that there are many more complications to this murder. That's what Ayanokoji-kun told me, and to my surprise, it's very interesting. The way he recommends these novels is as if he'd planned it a long time ago. So I let out a chuckle when I read a part of the novel. It's already too late. I could go to sleep, but maybe I'll go for a walk. Time is something that's against me these days, but I don't see it as a bad thing at all. Spending time with Ayanokoji-kun, Ishizaki-kun, Albert-kun, and Ibuki is fun. I left my room, walking slowly toward the elevator. Time flies, huh? When the elevator stopped to pick up a certain girl, a girl who is liked by both boys and girls. Her strawberry pink hair moves from side to side. Her body is way better than mine. I feel a little angry, and I don't know why. I let my thoughts calm down and greeted Ichino-san. Oh. Take Shiina-san. Hello, Ichino-san. How strange to see you here. I'm wondering the same. Are you going to visit your boyfriend? She asked. My body quickly went numb. Boyfriend. I don't have anyone like that, but if I were to think of someone, it would most likely be Ayanokoji-kun. Eh? Of course not, Ichino-san. Okay, sorry. And you, Ichino-san, are you going to meet someone? I asked. Oh, you are? Your boyfriend? Yes. Huh? Really? Congratulations. I was surprised for a few seconds, but quickly congratulated the person who is dating Ichino-san. Haha. Thanks, Shiina, tomorrow we were going to reveal our relationship. Oh, so you kept it a secret? She turned a little red. I see. Tell me who's the lucky one. She didn't answer. Yes, no here. I'm sorry, Shiina-san, it's just that it's very difficult for me to say it openly, but the boy I like and am dating is Kiyotaka-kun. Kiyotaka. Kiyotaka. Yes. We've been dating for 2 months now, and I think it's time to go public. Hey, I see. I understand. So thank you very much for listening to me. She said as the elevator opened wide. She quickly walked away as I tried to understand what had happened. Are you dating my Ayanokoji-kun? I followed them silently as Ichika seemed to be searching for something. Her eyes fell on a certain boy with brown hair and emotionless eyes. He was my first book friend and for some reason I didn't like Ichika being by his side. My chest ached. It angered me to see them together. Every time I witnessed him approaching, my anger increased and my heart ached as if it were being pierced. I hate her. But that was not enough for my pain. Ichika unbuttoned her blouse, revealing her enormous cow-like breasts. TSK. Without realizing it, my face had changed from my previously calm expression to one of anger and disgust toward Ichika, but I couldn't help but stare. I hated, bitch. Ichika had my Ayanokoji-kun take off her bra so he could see her completely naked breasts. She grabbed one of his hands and pushed it onto her bare chest, making her moan slightly. On the other hand, Ichika kissed Ayanokoji-kun while his other hand held her waist tightly so as not to make her lose balance from the slight moans that made her back arch. A few seconds passed until they finally finished kissing, but it didn't end there. Ichika took off her miniskirt, revealing her panties and thighs to Ayanokoji-kun. TSK. If that bitch wants to play dirty, then I will too. I recorded a scene of Ichika naked with my cell phone. Her cow body was naked and I was going to show it to all those perverts who dream about her. Or easier, post it on the forum, hahaha. The double face. Ayanokoji expels Horikita and Kushida wants to thank Ayanokoji, but what she doesn't expect is that her gift will be in a different way. It begins in volume 4.5 when Yamauchi is rejected by Sakura and wants to go after Kushida, the massacre begins. I mean the lemon. Kushida's Pav XD. Ayanokoji-kun, can you meet me? I asked the boy in front of me. Ayanokoji Kiyotaka, a gloomy boy with no friends and an apathetic expression, helped me expel Horikita, that bitch who knew about my past. Thanks to him, there's nothing left for me to fear and my life has been protected once again. But the only bad thing is that I owe this guy a favor tch. I see. Call me this time. Okay Ayanokoji-kun, she smiled at him while inside she hated and detested him. Time skip. Kushida Pav. It was 7:30 p.m. when Ayanokoji-kun signaled me to go to his room. It might be dangerous for me to enter a boy's room, but when it comes to Ayanokoji-kun, it's almost impossible for him to make a move. Lightly knock on the door so that it is audible only to the person inside. Come in, Ayanokoji-kun said as he opened the door for me. He was in casual clothes wearing a white shirt with sweatpants. I walked slowly towards his room when a fragrance entered my nose, giving me a small tickle that I didn't take seriously. Author had a slight headache, so don't expect a good lemon. A few minutes passed when Ayanokoji-kun came with a green tea set as well as some snacks. So what was the topic to follow Ayanokoji-kun? You remember the deal you made with me, right? Of course. If you helped me expel Horikita-san, I would owe you a favor besides eliminating the evidence of the grape, Yes. Regarding the favor it's time for you to pay. Huh? Fence? What the buck? Ayanokoji-kun rushed over to me and knocked me down onto his bed. His left hand was rubbing my thighs while his right hand firmly grabbed my face. You? What the hell are you doing? I replied with an anger that wouldn't normally be seen in me, but this was deserved. Was he trying to grape me? No. It's probably a joke. Let me go, you virgin bastard. My patience was at stake and I didn't want to be touched by a gloomy, simple-minded guy like shit. Since you still have your uniform with my fingerprints on it, then the deal was never fulfilled. How? I didn't tell anyone except Karuizawa that I had a uniform. That bitch was conspiring with this guy tsk. Lemon skipped. It was almost 6 a.m. and his vigor was still as if he had never had sex. I was a virgin, but I don't care. As long as he keeps giving me this pleasure and destroying this bucking hussy, then I don't care about anything. Time skip. I didn't know you liked gloomy boys, Kushida-san, Karuizawa said. Tch, I hate her, but if it weren't for her then I wouldn't have met my master who is now my boyfriend. Although it seems like we are a newly created couple, we have been bucking for more than 1 month and I was just recognized as his personal human sack. Now that Horikita had been expelled, I was the only one in charge, along with Hirata. I followed my master's orders to the letter. Well, at first I thought the same, but if you know him really well you'll know how good he is, I say while licking my lips. It was no lie that if you knew him really well you would know a pleasure you would never have found. Shinohara was a bitch who thought she was playing with my master, but thanks to my master having mercy, he bucked her relentlessly for 2 days, so she shut up. She asked to have more sex with him, but because she couldn't keep up with my master, she was discarded and is now with a limp penis boy named Ike. Well, we want to see it more thoroughly, Sato said. She is not someone I care about, but since she fell in love with my master, she was positioned as my master's second personal human sac. Her breasts are not big, and because of that I am always the one giving her the pizuri while she plays with my master's mouth. Haha. I finished all the Arifureta, but I don't know if I should do a crossover between Kyuupin and them. As I said, this isn't something that matters, but it'll just be a brief announcement. I've seen some fan fiction that tries to combine certain mangas or novels with COTE, but I said, why don't I do it? Well, it will be a one-shot since I'm running out of ideas XD. Novels I read. Arifureta Shokiju Sekai web novel. Odom Sekai wa Mobnai no CK Madres Mas. Ifuku el Hero Sanator o Algo Asi. Learn more about web novel. Bishoku Tensei, although only up to volume 14. It has nothing to do with it, but I finished all of Kenichi XD. Page no Jitsuryakusa o Algo Asi. The Death Mage has a third time, or simply the Death Mage Tha. Instant death. Tensei Shitara Dragon starting to read. I stopped at volume 4 sniff. Arifureta after history just a little XD. Shinka no Mi. I became a sick person so I read the entire web novel. Uijin character only up to volume 6 XD. Isekai Mahu wa Kuriteru Hasta el volume 9 XD. And more, but meh, I don't know what to say. If you want a crossover, choose one of those, but it will only be a one-shot XD. Author. It will only be 15 days and a few more days if something goes wrong, but my health is improving more than I thought. Tenshinmaru. Well shit, you finished that Shiina great prologue. Author. Shit, leave the spoiler. Sealan. No Papu. Tenshinmaru. I don't refuse to continue adding spoilers. Inhale. China Mill. Kushida is my hex slave. A rare trio. My pet is Ichinus. Garuka is cheating on me. Sakura wants to grape me. Oppressing Kauji and more. Death. Hello, how are you? Good or bad, but that's not the point. I hope you enjoy this blowjob. I already did it, but I didn't want to publish it. Well, a torture fic, I'm in favor of being told if it's right or wrong. Would you believe me if I said no? I see. Ayanokouji-kun, if you say anything about what you saw, I'll tell them you raped me. That would be a false accusation, you know. Oh. It won't be. Kushida grabbed my hand and pushed it into her chest, causing my hand to touch her. The soft feeling ran through my body, reaching my lower part. I see. If that's what you want, I'm more than sure you'll get it. He squeezed harder on Kushida's chest, making her moan in pain. Why you? Bastard, what the hell are you trying to do? He says as my other hand begins to form into a fist. My left fist goes straight into Kushida's stomach. The blow was so strong that he can hardly breathe now. His once smug face is now just a face of confusion and horror. Also, I didn't know that the angel named Kushida Kikyu was a bitch who liked to seduce men, but you know Kikyu. That was the most idiotic way to silence me. I say as my hand squeezes Kikyu's right nipple hard. Ah. Damn, it hurts, it hurts. Now do you understand? Your position is nothing more than a bitch. Your master probably abandoned you because of the shitty, disgusting bitch you are. TCH. Bucking bastard. Virgin, loser. You probably masturbate to images of Horikita-san or Ichina-san. You bucking bitch, you don't know what I can do. Before he could finish his sentence, I kicked him square in the temple. The blow was so strong it knocked Kikyu unconscious. So weak, I muttered as I approached the unconscious Kikyu. Let's see. Time skip. Kushida started to move while I stared into the distance with an emotionless look. Free. And without remorse for what I am going to do. Huh? What the buck? Now Kikyu is naked, her panties as clothes are in my possession, so there is no need to worry about accusation. Ayanokouji, what are you doing? She asked while her voice broke. She herself thought of using her angelic side, but that won't work on me. Kikyu, you are a bitch who tried to disobey her master. You know Kikyu, there are many ways humans feel fear, one of them is the pain of being tortured. I take a certain hammer out of my pocket, its thickness and size are perfect. Now we'll see how much you can take. You damn it, why does this have to happen to me? And I use the hammer, attacking her in the right chest, making a malformation in her chest. She couldn't feel anything but pain, but let's continue. I take out a gag, this will be useful to shut her up. What? Do you have a gag? He asked as light tears came out of Kikyu. Who knows, the best answer I could have given. As I was gagging him, Kikyu tried to bite me, but I grabbed his mouth and immediately pulled him down to the ground, just inches away from crushing his head. Do you understand? I say as I put the gag back on her. Yes. Yes, sob. Good. You leave me. No. Silence. 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 Sob. I'll do whatever. I'll be your girlfriend, your pet, you can grape me, whatever, but stop this. You can even grope me in public, I don't care, just let me out. That would have been a good deal, but the deal has already been fulfilled with a certain person. What? I grabbed Kikyu's head and a barrage of blows were directed at Kikyu's once beautiful face, which was now only covered in bruises as blood spilled from her nose and mouth. First step completed. I stepped back and took some artifacts out of the bag. This will do, I said and slowly walked over to Kikyu as she tried to get up and run away. Don't think this is over. Ep. She said as tears came out and a kind of yellow water came out of her vagina. I'm wielding Ike's knife. This will help if they want to frame someone, and I also have something from Horikita. I grab the left arm and start cutting it. No, stop, please. Stop it, I'm begging you. Kikyu's once beautiful body was now just a disgusting sight. Cutting his bone was the hardest part, but nothing a blow can't fix. I'm Skio. I had more ideas, but I don't know if you'd like them XD. Now is the time. I grabbed Kikyu's once living body and threw it to the ground, her body now only had a few limbs, and the ones that remained I threw them together with her organs. Her right hand was mutilated and her breasts were torn off and designed into a ball shape by me. It's your end. I leave the crime scene and wait for the big commotion expected tomorrow. Tomorrow. The day was very hectic. Ike's fingerprints were found, as was Horikita's. I used a few tricks before killing Kikyu, in addition to using the artifacts they had before. Ike and Horikita were arrested and tried, while our class was plunged into depression. Who will be next? Sakayanagi? China? Ibuki? Or maybe? While I was immersed in my next one-shots and maybe the next fanfic I publish, I realized I hadn't eaten anything, so I immediately got up and decided to heat up what was left of my food XD. Now how will I continue? I asked myself as I slurped the noodles. If I continue with the story, there will be a gap where it won't be understood, but there will also be the case where it can reach a proper ending. I thought about many things, but I never arrived at a clear example. Let's cool off. I said, and I got ready my black pants and a black vest. I'm not a big fan of black, but it was the best way to avoid getting robbed. The drive was somewhat quiet, something very unusual in my neighborhood. Well, times like these are happier and more peaceful for people who don't go out, like me. If I could tell how I became a K-simp or how I'm not a simp of Ichinus or Horikita, it would be very stupid. Well, it's very rare that I'm so thoughtful, but I always think of stupid things that never led to a given result. Now it's strange to post a note when you're the author, but it's more or less true that I think a lot, but I never get to the truth. All they'll see is the personality I have, and it's not a lie, or is it? Following the same straight dark path, I came to a store. I could buy some drinks or just buy a snack. Good. I mentally prepare myself as my next step falls by the wayside. Time skip. I'm not going to do the god thing, let's just ignore it and go back to the end. So that's all any complaining. Wink wink. What the hell are you going to do to me? Ouch, calm down. How do you expect me to calm down if you first take away my great effort to get out and now tell me you're reincarnating me? Oh, isn't that what everyone wants? Damn, I don't want it, and if I did, it would have to be something modern, but I'm not complaining about that either. It's not that shit, but why do I have to be reincarnated as a woman and still have huge breasts? I'm not a fan of huge breasts, but that also contradicts my first waifu who competes with K-lol. Well, there are more factors involved. Teehee. Well, I also heard that boys like girls and that they have to have a good body, so I thought it would be the same with you, he said, well let's not think about that shit for God's sake, what a bucking god of shit touched me. Hey, I can hear you, don't buck with me. How could I not buck with you, you bucking motherfucker? Now what do I do with my almost daily posts? Oh. Don't worry, here. Cell phone obtained Terran. What was that sound? What sound? Or don't tell me sob. What are you crying about? You didn't take your pills. This shit. I won't tell you anything rubbish because I'd be wasting my saliva for nothing. Hey, but you insulted me. And? Understandable that you have a good day. Well, now is the time, right? Yes, but I'll see how you change the course of history. As if I wanted it, son of a bitch. Hey, what? I'll eat your sister. Ah, wait, what the buck? Nothing. Okay. Well, see you later and let them break your leg, I say to the god. If I had lol. Ah. Time skip. Yes, that god didn't lie to me, I became a woman with a plot that perverts like, well, I won't deny that I am one too, but not as much. Jan. Well, what worries me is the convenience of the plot of this shit. First, I am rich. And? Secondly, it seems I'll be a konji too, but nerfed. Up to this point, I want to leave Asia XD instead of Latin America. Second, my great powers, and I'm not talking about physical and academic strength, but about body. Well, they're not that great either. Looks in the mirror. They're huge, I say and get into my bed. My body is a woman's and I don't denigrate women, but this time I regret having gone out that night. What the buck? Well, one more problem in my somewhat strange life. Time skip. It was April 1st and I was starting my years at Anne's, and of course I'm somewhat happy. One of the positive things is that Goddess Kei will be there, and well, it will be easier to get close to her. Well, let's forget what I said, since it contradicts what I am. Sub-Zero. Another would be to see the plot through your eyes, and not through a book lol. And last but not least, is seeing Kyogod in action XD. Oh. Yes, I'll stop, I muttered and headed for the bus that would send me to my next 3 years. What a bucking god must be to bring someone like me. One of the things I did as well. As I say. I became a tomboy so to speak, or a tomboy XD. My breasts are large, but nothing that a girdle can't allow, in addition to wearing the male uniform. It also seems that they allow women to wear the male uniform, as long as they are known to be women and don't mistake them for a man. Great. Oh right, I forgot to mention my appearance. I would actually say I'm beautiful, but it comes out disgusting coming from me Lamau. Another aspect would be my eyes and hair, which haven't changed much, but my body has changed drastically. My breasts, butt, waist, and more have changed, from the smallest to the most complex. I hate this shit, I said, but it was only audible to one person. I turn around and see. Motherbicker. What the hell did I do? Hiyori Karuizawa K. Shit. Shall I continue? Well, that would be more or less like what it would be like if you were reincarnated as COTE XD. Well, before I go. The reference image of the protagonist in question would be me, but meh. The tomboy in classroom of the elite. Part 2. Oh shit. I'm sorry about that, I said as my voice returned to its feminine version. Oh, it's nothing, forget it. He said as he looked away from me. I screwed up, I thought to myself. Uff. Time skip. Whoa. It's too big. Don't think badly of it, but it is big, even though it's presented to you in the anime. You can't just look at it from a PC or phone. If you don't look at it from your perspective, it's something different. Reference image for the entrance of the protagonist whose name is still unknown Lamau. Okay, let's get started, I said, and even though it seems lonely to be alone. Oh shit. I don't know what happened, but something told me I had to turn around to witness something great. Wait. Said a girl with long black hair and gradient crimson eyes. She's beautiful, but my intuition always tells me she doesn't even make my top 5 waifus. Why is that? On the other hand, I could see a certain boy with brown hair and brown eyes leveled to golden ones. His expression didn't change, and the monotonous tone was somewhat professional. Motherbicker. Ups. I didn't want to bother you since this would change a lot of things in the main story, so I won't do anything, haha. Hav-chan. At you. What the buck? Said God. Author's Pav. Oh, for the readers, wait, why did I think of readers if this is a world? Oh wow, I have this cell phone that allows me to publish my stories. Well, my name is Izuka Kimura. Well, my name has something to do with my personality, but my last name doesn't, so I don't even know. Sorry, oh, it seems I bumped into someone without noticing. Oh, it's nothing, I said, but something is wrong. What is this shit? Why that face of disgust? I don't understand the meaning, but maybe that god changed the personalities of others. Wait, if that's true then it makes more sense that Karuizawa-sama isn't in her gyro mode, but what about Ayanokoji-sama? No shit. Shit. What a son of a bitch you are. No, he walked away with the same disgusted face. You're pathetic, he says to me. Okay. I checked my clothes to see if a button or my butt had come loose, but I didn't find anything out of place. Phew. How tired, and this isn't even the first day. Life is bucking worthless. Time skip. Oh no. What's up with my luck? I said as I looked from afar at a certain girl with beige hair that reached her shoulders and a little less. Her body was voluptuous, but not as much as mine. It sounds ugly to say that. Let's ignore that. Oh, I was surprised for the 3rd time. True, this is not Latin America, hahaha. Lamau. I looked near the desks for my name, and well, I found it. Izuka Kimura-chan said, well, he didn't say the chan, but you understand me, right? Okay. Next to me was. Well, Satomaya. So I shouldn't be far from Karuizawa-sama, or so I think, but it seems she also changed the desks where they normally sit, and my neighbor is. Well, how do I say this? Horikita. Oh wait, if she's here then who is Ayanokoji-sama with? I quickly move my body and look into the distance at Karuizawa. Why Ayanokoji? What is happening in this story? Oh shit. Time skip. Well, let's behave like real supporting characters. Next to me was Satomaya, my second best waifu from COTE, and on my other side we have Horikita. Yes. Just that. Hello. My name is Satomaya and yours? She is a quality waifu, not like certain cough cough. I tensed up. It was fear or maybe I feel nervous, but all because of my school life. Oh. Hello, Satu. I'm Hisoka Kimura. Oh Hisoka-kun wait. Yes. I said while shaking my head in confusion. No wait, don't be as stupid as you were in your previous life, let's say it's because of my name. My way of dressing. I don't know what it could be, damn it. Hisoka-san, yeah I thought you were a boy, but. When he said that Satu pointed at my chest. Huh? I knew it. I thought nothing bad was going to happen, but it seemed like my shirt button was going to explode shit. For now let's just fix this bug. I'm sorry. No. It's not that I didn't think you liked wearing the male uniform he says with a disappointed face. Hey. No, tell me. No. It's just that well it doesn't matter, I'm still happy to be friends with someone like you, she says while smiling. Oh my god if this only happens if I see Satu I can't imagine when Kei smiles maybe I'll die. I hope not. I'm Skip. Now your turn, Harada says. I'm the second to last student. By strange coincidence, it seems I'll be able to witness Ayanokoji-sama's self-introduction firsthand. My name is Hisoka Kimura. I'm good at sports as well as academics, and I hate perverted boys. Thank you. I said with a smile. Now that I have a girl's body, it would feel weird for a man to look at you. Now I understand a little how girls feel, although I would never do anything like that since in my other life, I didn't go out much and had no friends, well, a few. Thank you Kimura-san he says. Let's see the masterpiece haha. Oh not true. I'm Skip. Well, what happened was fun. I spent most of my time with Karuizawa-sama and Satu-sama. There were no problems with the conversation, but mostly the guys thought it was strange that I dressed as a boy when I was a girl, but don't mess with me. Is it something forbidden? Could it be? Oh Kimura-chan ouch. No Karuizawa-sama don't do it. And? I wanted to ask you about what you were saying on the bus. I couldn't hear you well. Said. I didn't answer right away and it looked like it was about to get a little dark. No shit. Think. Oh, that's it. Well, I don't really like talking to perverted guys and stuff like that. Well, something happened earlier and that's why I was a little angry, heh. Oh. Then there's nothing to worry about. I thought I did something wrong to someone he says while smiling. Shit, my heart won't hold out if I follow Karuizawa-sama. I need to get out of this. I'm sorry Karuizawa-san. I think I forgot something. I said as my hands formed in an apology. Oh no need to apologize. Kimura-chan he says as I slowly walk away from Karuizawa-sama, Satu-sama and Matsushita-sama. Well there were more people, but they are not necessarily something to talk to. I'm Skip. I wonder there's nothing fun about not wanting to change history, but what about someone who does? Well, I'm currently in that state. Of all the people I couldn't recognize that boy who is talking to Horikita and Ayanokoji-sama. He had blonde hair and crimson eyes and was of medium height. His way of speaking and engaging in conversation with the two was professional, as if he knew COTE's entire history and the personalities of the main characters. I understand Daiki-kun, but I don't care what this guy thinks, Ice Queen Horikita said. Huh? You're not serious, Horikita-san. Wow, what attitude, being able to talk to her. I really wouldn't do it even if I were paid. I'm a reader, and my duty as a reader is to make sure things don't change, but what about this turn of events? Are there more reincarnated people? Well, will there be a third chapter of this? Jan, well, I'd really like to ask you a question, or well, if you want to answer. If you were reincarnated as COTE, what would you do? For my part, I wouldn't do anything, and that's the truth. I don't like changing the story I started with, and that's why I don't really like making comparisons, but I came up with something like other characters coming in and trying to change the story, and that's where Hisoka's importance lies. Ayanokoji horror. Soon. The power of a goddess. Fukuku. So she told you to do that. I sighed as Ryuin mocked me. I'm currently running Kei's errands. Yes, but it's not a problem. Fukuku. For a monster like you to succumb to her must be very difficult to treat, monster. Ryuin said as he walked away with his kukuku. I can't deny that it's a bit strange coming from me to obey someone like Kei, but it's not like I don't like doing it either. Sigh. Several minutes had passed since I finished shopping, but even though the time was relatively short, I can't say that people were lining up against me more often. Giepin. Why did you buy all that? Haruka asked me as I tried to check the contents of the bag, but I obviously wasn't going to let him. It's just that I want to learn how to cook. If that I said while trying to get away from Haruka, but luckily for me she followed me. Then why don't you make something for me? He says as he corners me. I don't think it's a good idea. I don't think you'd be convinced, I said, quickening my pace. Oh. Well Irie called me anyway so I couldn't go, but next time invite me Giepin he said that and walked away. Sigh. What took you so long? Says a girl with blonde hair and purple eyes. She's my girlfriend Karuizawa Kei. The leader of the C-class girls and a strong-willed person. There was a long line, I said as I put the notes on the table. Yes. Yes. You're not fooling me, Kiyotaka, he says as he quickly approaches me and grabs my tie. His movement was faster than I thought and I couldn't react in time. By the time I realized it, I was already lying on the bed while Kei was on top of me. Junshinmaru. DOT. Author. Ooh. Let's continue. From POV. Today I felt a little different. My body radiates a strength that even gave me the confidence to beat Kiyotaka. I didn't understand why, but I felt it was a good opportunity to use it against him and get revenge for how he'd mocked me so much. Hahaha. I grab an eggplant and leave my bedroom. I quickly call my boyfriend and tell him to run some errands while I lie down on his bed. Kiyotaka's scent. It was too addictive for me. Someone would surely call me a pervert if they saw me sniffing his pillowcases. Even if I wanted to maybe try his underwear, no wait, that's so icky, Kebaka. Haha, but I wouldn't come, no. Continuing with my obscene thoughts, I heard a small noise audible to me. I quickly turned my head and saw Kiyotaka with the errands I asked for. I didn't want him to think I was a pervert, so let's do this. What took you so long? I said as my hands gripped my thighs. You go a long tail liar. Yes, you're not fooling me, Kiyotaka. Present. Kiyo's POV. What the heck? Kei's on top of me while sniffing my body, but why? I don't see the need to sniff someone else's body. Kei. I tried to reason with Kei, but a powerful hand prevented me from moving. Her hand was gripping my left leg while her thighs rubbed against my crotch. If she continued like this, my body wouldn't hesitate to attack her. To counteract this, I had to do everything possible. Hey no. Kei interrupted me with her soft lips. The kiss didn't last long as a white thread trailed out after our kiss. Kiyotaka. You know, it's time to get revenge for all your pranks, he says while tearing off my shirt. Huh? I couldn't fully process what Kei was doing, but now I'm in serious trouble. Kei's once protected chest was now in full view of my eyes, and the stimulation I'm receiving is too much. My groin is about to explode. Ifufusa Kayanagi? No. It was Kei who was laughing like crazy while unbuttoning my pants. I used my hand to move it, but my strength wasn't enough. How could he be stronger than me? I couldn't understand how Kei, a weak person, could put me in this situation. Neither Tsukashido nor Shiba-sensei could. Kiyotaka, it's time for you to pay. He said as he saw in his right hand. An eggplant. There is a more detailed Kei lemon, but you'll have to wait. In the meantime, I'll make one of Ichina's along with her torture. Ayanokoji Kiyotaka's monologue, the feeling heart. So this is love, huh? I can say with certainty that I've never experienced anything called love. Even though it's normal for a child to know and understand love, I'm an exception. I'm someone who's never been able to learn and practice human love. My knowledge in that area is nil, even though my knowledge is vast, and even with everything I know, there's something I'll never be able to know. That was love. A feeling whose function is the mutual love between two people. But what is love? I don't know, but even though I don't know, I've tried to understand that feeling that brings a lot of emotions. From happiness, sadness, hate, joy, shame, and human warmth. As I understand it, love is something that goes beyond the imagination, where you can experience emotions you've never felt before. I've tried to understand this feeling called love, but for me, as a person who's never felt love, I also need a special person. It can't be someone I've never even had a conversation with before. Someone I can trust and someone who accepts me as I am. But does anyone like that exist? I don't believe it, but I wonder what this feeling in my heart is. Am I getting emotional? It's been many months since I entered this elite school. I've been able to learn new things, make friends, and even enemies. I've also met a certain person who accepted me as I am, but I still can't fully understand what love is. There are many types of books that describe what it feels like to have someone they love. I still don't understand it, but I trust that Kei will make me feel new emotions I've never felt before. Hey Kiyotaka. Yes Kei? Do you want to go to the pool tomorrow? Oh. I never expected that from Kei, but it's something I was thinking of suggesting for our next date. We're currently on a mini vacation because the next exam got delayed. I don't see the problem, but your scar. Oh. That's nothing to be afraid of, besides, there's you and that's all that matters. He said the last thing, smiling at me. Kei may be a stubborn girl on the surface, but if you talk to her and see what she's really like, you'll realize that she's a wonderful fun girl, and teasing her is just too much fun. Okay Kiyotaka. Yeah? I love you saying that, she kissed me on the lips. Kei let out a moan, a few seconds passed after our lips separated. Kei laughed as he grabbed my hand. You know Kiyotaka, I really feel happy. There was a pause until Kei spoke again. You know, I thought the first time we met I was going to be bullied again, but instead you protected me and I ended up falling in love with you. Kei. Kei turned towards my direction as small tears came out. Haha. Kiyotaka, you'll never leave me, right? I promise. I told her without thinking, but even if I promise, that can't be kept. My life is tied up and the possibility of meeting her again is minimal. So sorry, Kei. Time skip. It was 4 p.m. when Kei and I headed to the pool. Our relationship went public over a month ago and it's no longer so surprising to see us together, but there are still people who don't believe this and think I blackmailed Kei. There are guys who want to take advantage of Kei, thinking she's easy. Kei had become stronger over time, but even so, I still feel a bit strange. I don't know, but there's something that irritates me every time someone says something bad about Kei. What is it? I do it more or nothing. Time skip. I felt weird. It wasn't something that normally happens to me, but this feels both sad and happy. Kiyotaka. Happiness to be able to feel these emotions. Happiness to be with someone who accepts me as I am, but happiness is short. There are times when a goodbye can be more cutting than simply saying goodbye without saying anything. I don't have the power or the strength to achieve my freedom, but I'll enjoy these remaining moments. Kiyotaka, are you okay? My girlfriend Kei asked me. Yeah. I was just thinking, I said. I'm not okay, but I lie. I lie to lessen the pain Kei will suffer. I can't change the future, but at least I'll reduce the amount of damage Kei will suffer. I was probably never the person who lived with Kei, but at least now I will enjoy these last moments with the person who taught me to love. I will love you and I will love you even more. Kei. How about it? I'll make more wholesome moments just because I saw a Kyokai fanfic and expect more wholesome moments with Ichika and others. My inspiration. Beautiful. And if you say otherwise, you're a faggot. Volume 5 of the second year cover. I simply bring the cover of the next volume that will have 2 girls who are in my top 5 best waifus of COTE. We'll see what this plot will bring. How will the class take Kiyotaka and Kei's relationship? Nagumo will try to persuade Ichinis. Tsukayanagi vs Amasawa. Yagami expels Kushida. We'll know in October. Return. Possible fic I'll do, or maybe someone will beat me to it. Kei is with Kiyotaka. This takes place after volume 4.5 and don't be stupid and think about the first year. I don't think you're as dumb as me. Let's get started. The White Room, a facility created for the breeding of geniuses. The data collected was used for future generations. The room provided a pleasant atmosphere until the age of 5 when training began. Year after year, generation after generation. Food and education were well balanced. The children were forced to push their limits. They were monitored 24/7, day and night. There was no rest. Only on Sundays did they get to enjoy something called freedom, but that freedom is only attached to the White Room and the few hours they are given. Their diet was strictly supervised, their sleep times and waking times were noted. His academic and physical performance were measured after a few years, but what's not known is his success. This may sound a bit strict, but is there more to it? Yes, that's why the White Room could only create one successful genie. Known as the masterpiece. Kiyotaka Ayanokoji is a student with nothing special, just someone who runs faster than average and is good at math. He is the masterpiece. His physical strength is superior to that of adults and his intelligence surpasses that of a genius, although that's not all. His psychological manipulation of people is at a superior level. His emotionless face helps him maintain his calm over others. That's Ayanokoji Kiyotaka. It's unknown what his limit is or if there is a limit to his growth. It is only known that life, Kiyotaka, would return. Kyopov. After finishing our vacation and enjoying a luxury cruise, people will have to return to school. Many felt sad because they couldn't enjoy the facilities. For better or worse, my relationship with Kei was going public. It would be best to tell this to the Ayanokoji group and see how things go. Kei has decided to tell his group of friends first and spread the word. Sigh. The reality of this school is very different from what you would normally think. Special exams are a term used for class competition. Although special exams aren't necessarily the only way the 4 classes compete. For today we're in Class C. We're back to our everyday school life and with that, our vacation is over. Or so we thought. Our group consisted of Iori, Haruka, Akito and Kaisei. This group was apparently formed by me and is named the Ayanokoji group. Our stay on the cruise was relaxing and entertaining. Now we must take the next step. My relationship with Kei was about to be announced and with that, problems were about to come. They weren't big problems. They were internal problems within our group of friends. How Ike and Shinohara had become a couple. Many people didn't believe this and thought it was impossible for them to be together. The same goes for me. My relationship with Kei is almost impossible. I'm sure none of you thought I'd be dating Kei. Relationships start in different ways. There's no absolute rule that just because there's a certain amount of chemistry between the two of you can make you a couple. Even in the best cases they are just friends and in the end each one ends up with someone else. A clear example of this would be Ike and Shinohara, who at the beginning of the first year hated each other, but as time progressed, they understood that their feelings were mutual, and in the end they ended up dating. My case is somewhat more peculiar. Kei was, at first glance, a tool that evolved into more than just a tool. A person who wouldn't easily betray me and who trusted me completely, and who was also the only person I ever truly showed my true self to. Kei became my girlfriend, and I was able to indirectly experience the feelings called love. I still don't know if it's love, but I think they are. The clean room has been a prison for me, but I don't dislike it. If it weren't for the clean room, I would never have been able to experience this kind of excitement and curiosity. There were only a few seconds left before the end of this vacation, but something happened. The smoke billowed onto the deck, and slowly, my consciousness faded. My resistance to poisons and drugs is high, but even if it's high, I'm not invincible. What will happen? Form lines. It's been 2 hours since I returned. No, to be more exact, I didn't return alone. My classmates, like other classes, were here. An instructor told us we were kidnapped and there was no way out. The only solution was to efficiently complete the clean room curriculum 100%. Good. Since everyone is ready, Ayanokoji Kiyotaka, please leave now. Don't speak. Just follow your orders. Before leaving, I saw their worried and disgruntled faces. I couldn't understand it, but for now, let's just keep watching what happens. Third person. Good. As a sample, we want you to see the top 3 students in the clean room. No one spoke and just nodded at what the instructor said. Gradually, each class gathered around. The instructor strictly indicated that they would not allow interruptions when the video was shown. Yamasawa Ichika. There was no one who wanted to talk, but they must have been thinking. Yamasawa Ichika. Who is she? What is she? Will she be pretty? You already know who she is. Introduction. Yamasawa Ichika, a student of the clean room. He is considered someone who was able to successfully complete what was implemented in the 5th generation, in addition to anyone else. As a student of the clean room, Yamasawa possesses a wealth of knowledge and learning. Her physical ability may be inferior to that of the boys, but her techniques and mastery of other martial arts make up for it, in addition to her high reaction and attack speed. The photo of Yamasawa is shown. Buo is pretty. Look at those thighs. Damn. Breasts, breasts. So, she is. Kukikuku. Yufufufu. Okay. First, I'll show you the physical ability level of the number 0 to 45, and yes, I put this number because she's student number 45. Everyone snapped to attention. The student's breathing was ragged. It wasn't because that girl had defeated that adult. Rather, it was because that same girl didn't even show any emotion upon knocking him out. Her movements were fluid and precise. You could say she was dancing, and her partner was trying to keep up. Don't think too hard, I don't even know what to say. What the buck? Whoa, how rude, I like it. Ass, breasts, asses, breasts. That physical ability is abnormal, thought Horikita. Incredible, most of them thought that, well, except for the perverts who were looking for any angle to capture something of her ass or breasts in motion. As you can see, the 0 to 45's physical capacity is beyond normal standards. Good. Now we'll demonstrate in different areas, both academic and physical. The others just nodded at what the instructor said. A few minutes passed since I left the place where my companions were. I returned. Professor Ayanokoji is waiting for you, said the instructor. I just nodded as he slowly walked away. Take a deep breath and. I opened it. A sound coming from behind the door was audible to me now. I didn't think you'd actually use this method. My voice was audible, and it had a colder tone than usual. Only one person in the entire school knows this side of me. Maybe not more than one, but she was the first person to see this side of me. You were the trigger for us to have to follow this plan, he said as a sharp look was directed at me. I see. So? I want you to resume your training in the clean room. And the others? They will be discarded if they do not meet clean room expectations. I see. It's not for nothing that they're called Elite Kiyotaka, you said it yourself. This school should have some gems. He said it in the mood of getting another toy for his collection. Tsukishiro, take him to his bedroom, he said. Yes, Professor Ayanokoji. What the buck? Hey, this isn't true. What they saw on the screen left them speechless. They witnessed Yamasawa Ichika's dazzling battle and saw things they couldn't have imagined in their wildest dreams. Fukuku. On the other hand, Ibuki and Horikita were not surprised, and cases like Konji or Sakayanagi did not affect them in any way either. Fufufu, then the next one is the. The next word that was named was. Bikuyugami. Luck or bad luck? My god, of all people you. I could say the same, but this is still too inconvenient. Right next to me was a certain girl with blue hair that reached her shoulders. Her figure was not comparable to Kishida or Sakura. Are you? Oh, my goodness. I accidentally let my hand drop and just touch Ibuki's non-existent chest. TCH, she just clicked her lips. In an attempt to get away from me, she moved her body as wildly as possible, but this would only bring fatigue to her body. Hey, do you know that if you keep doing this, you'll only make our current situation worse? I know, but staying in this position with you disgusts me. I curse you, Kei. I thought as I remembered what happened on a certain day in a certain month. So what is this? A necklace, how direct? So? You'll take it, huh? Because? You belong to me. What's wrong with him? Because I don't think this person is Kei. His way of speaking directly without worry or shame. Hey, I don't think so. Antello. I refuse. There's no way I'd put on a dog collar just so Kei could make fun of me. I'm the one who should be making fun of her, so she'd have to wear the collar, right? Hiyotaka, without giving me time to react, my body suddenly felt confused. My head was spinning. Good. I'm Skip. Ibuki Pav. See you later, Ibuki-san. Shiina said. Slowly walking away from her, I head towards the bedrooms. Another day of being in the same class as that squalid piece of shit. DCH. I accidentally let my hatred grow. If it weren't for that person, I'm sure I'd still be believing in that passive childish facade. Without considering what was next, I intentionally stopped in my tracks. In the distance I saw someone's body. He was a man, his build was much larger than a woman's, and his hair was brown. Wait. Ayanokouji. Without paying much attention to my surroundings, I saw up close the boy who could destroy Ryuin in addition to Albert and me. But. A necklace. I didn't realize until now, but there was a necklace around her throat. Make a wish. He said. What an idiot. I wouldn't believe that suddenly a boy was asleep and wearing a necklace that says, make a wish. This must be wrong. I'm probably hallucinating. But let's try it because Shiina talks a lot about mystery and fantasy novels. I may have gotten it in my head that there is a possibility that maybe. But the problem was that I couldn't think of anything like that. There are a lot of things a person thinks about when they see something like this, but I'm not that kind of person. Karuizawa, I honestly hate girls like her, but I still don't understand what Karuizawa saw in Ayanokouji. I can't help but think their relationship is a bit weird. No, weird is an understatement. It's almost impossible to pair Karuizawa with someone like Ayanokouji. But I would still like to do something to make them equal for what they did to me. Only seconds passed, but the wish I made wasn't so good. Not specifically for them. I decided to slowly walk away from Ayanokouji, but. Hey! I yelled involuntarily. My foot was grabbed by something. Without wasting any time, I quickly moved my body toward the person responsible. The aforementioned presence came from the gloomy boy Ayanokouji. It seems like he woke up, but this is weird. Waking up just as I was leaving. Had he been awake this whole time? Yes, that must be it, but why? Hey, let me go. I shouted angrily. You. He said, but something feels different. Hey. Without giving me a break, my body fell and. Tell me. Was it you? Huh? Me what? What thing about what? What are you saying? Bastard. I shouted even more furiously, not understanding what he was trying to tell me. You read what this necklace said? Yeah. Any problem? I don't know if Karuizawa feels bad about it, or maybe he's a little worried that I'll see him like that and that Karuizawa might show up. I don't think so. He said as he slowly closed his eyes. I couldn't get up until I fell asleep too. 10 minutes later. And now we're back to square one. You might be asking, why am I tied up with this bastard? Well, I don't even know. Ibuki. TCH. I didn't want to look at him at all. His hawk was bumping into my butt and I didn't want to think about what would happen if I moved carelessly. Ibuki insisting and following me in this disturbing place. What do you want? I said with a slight blush, but with the same angry attitude I carry with this guy. I just wanted to tell you that your skirt might fall. Wait, what? I immediately looked down at my bottom and realized what was happening. My skirt had slipped down, revealing my panties. Rosa, I murmur. Bastard. This seemed like a lover's quarrel, or maybe it's just my imagination, but I'm slowly starting to get used to being with him. TSK. I squealed involuntarily. The feeling I hoped wouldn't happen actually happened. I felt a bulge poking through my panties. Ira. Big, I muttered, trying to look away from that thing. XD. Hello, how are you? It's been a while, hasn't it? Yes, of course it took a while, but well, I'm not finished with my classes yet, so this is just a test of the finished one shot. Survival K. Hello, how are you? I'm tired. I'm taking extra classes in addition to working. Well, time is really slow right now. Now with the name of Survival K. They have thought about making a fanfic where the main story takes place differently. Not like Ayanokoji being in a different class or Horikita being Ryu and in a different one. What I'm talking about is a story where every character in COTE is changed so drastically that it seems like a grim story. Not everything is what it seems, but it's not what you think either. So what will happen in ANS? Well, as I said, the world will change, taking a 180 degrees turn. Now I wonder what's left. It will be from Kei's perspective and narrated by her. Or I just don't do it. Okay, in this you will have the following categories. Horror, survival, betrayal and more that I don't want to give spoilers will only be in this book, so maybe I'll do it in another fanfic if I want XD. Not every story can be the truth. What happens if all the main students of ANS suddenly change? A world where each character isn't what they seem, nor how you remember them. A slightly dark story, but with a touch of romance. Oh, and we're just a little bit away from reaching 10k views. Then POV. It was May 10th of my second year at advanced nutrition school. My body was thrashing around as my thoughts kept returning to that moment with Kiyotaka. It was already after 7 p.m. It was just another ordinary day, but even so, today I was able to be closer to Kiyotaka. My body and heart weren't prepared for that moment. The feeling of moving forward in this fairy tale where our bodies and hearts come together and the beginning where we cloud every part of our body and link that indescribable feeling. As I became more and more absorbed in my thoughts, I gradually fell into a deep sleep. A happy, normal sleep. One day is over, but one more day I can be with Kiyotaka. My mind began to fall into that deep sleep that held it for this short time. My hands, which had been cold before, began to warm inside the sheets. My heart began to beat less rapidly. But that said I fell into a deep sleep. 2. From POV. The day was Monday. It was the start of school again and another week full of studying and dates with my boyfriend, I'm leaving my thoughts about how I'll surprise Kiyotaka. I'm still a little hesitant about making our relationship public, but that also leads to more girls trying to get close to Kiyotaka. I can be sure, and I don't like them being so close to him. It makes me jealous. Although I can't tell him. Hey, stay away from my boyfriend as I say that I grab Kiyotaka's arm and pull Kiyotaka away from that girl. No. I find it impossible to do so, and I'd be embarrassed if that happened. Moo. I must stop living in my fantasy world and keep changing. I wake up as my blonde hair that was previously in a ponytail is now loose. Should I try a different hairstyle? I don't know Kiyotaka's preference for hair. Does he prefer it in ponytails or down? I don't know. For now, let's try to change things up a bit. Today I didn't wear my ponytail, which makes me look like the gyro I am. Instead, I'm highlighting my waist-length hair. Not bad. Good. Oh well, that sounded a little weird coming from Maisha. Oh, before that I'll send a message to Kiyotaka. I'll just say good morning to that crazy man and love he. Seriously, since when was it so difficult to do a simple change of clothes? Well, there's nothing else to do besides have breakfast. I don't feel like eating anything complicated, so I'll just have some toast and some coffee with milk. But I pat my cheeks and start to open the door slowly. As I do this, a strong breeze runs over my body. It was a little colder than usual, and that's not something it should be doing at this time of year. It doesn't matter, but it makes my thighs feel helpless for most of school time. The route was somewhat deserted. There weren't many students, but I don't see the problem. It's a Monday, who likes Mondays? I don't think anyone in their right mind would start a Monday happy. Not for someone who's a student. Phew. I tried to replicate the sound of the wind. I didn't understand why, but it felt peaceful. Kiyotaka still hadn't seen my message. How odd. While walking I came across a very popular silhouette in our year. Hello, Karuizawa-san. Said the girl named Ichika Hoshinomiya. She completely dominated the hearts of the second-year males, as well as the first-year males, at the beginning of our first year at ANS. She has outstanding grades, but she's not that good athletically. The opposite of me. In addition to having a good body, she also has an enviable face. If it were my previous self, I would surely feel jealous, but that doesn't affect me at all anymore. Hello, Ichika-san. I said, although my desire was not as good as hers. And how is your class going, Ichika-san? Good. Now we are preparing for the next special exam and to Karuizawa-san. I see. What about someone confessing to you? I tried to get off the topic of special exams as quickly as possible. Not that. Her face was red. It really was fun talking to her. Haha. Sorry, I said, trying not to make her blush more. And you, Karuizawa-san? Me? Who knows, I said as our conversation continued at a calm pace. Hahaha. Well, here we say goodbye, Karuizawa-san. Ichika said. I responded in the same way, if not before looking at her a second time. I don't know if I saw it correctly, but for a few seconds I could see Ichika's expression change. I didn't take it too seriously. After all, I never really talked to Ichika-san much. Maybe there's something bothering her. Ugh, I felt a little angry at the following of this wind. Achoo, sneeze. What personality does Ichika have? Who knows? Enter the classroom, but there was no one. Imagine it's daytime and a little foggy. Beautiful. Or something like that, I hope, but with a lonely atmosphere, this is getting a little sad and creepy. Plus, I can get scared quickly. Moo. Seriously, Kiyotaka. More than an hour had passed since I sent the message to Kiyotaka and he hadn't responded. Time passed and no one came. Neither teachers nor students. I was the only one left here. Ring ring. The sound of my cell phone echoed in my ears. I saw the person's name and it was Kiyotaka. Don't delay until you quickly answer the call. Kiyotaka. Shout euphorically. Kei? Kiyotaka seemed surprised by my tone or maybe a little nostalgic. I don't know. Alright, Kiyotaka, no one came to school today, do you know why? While I was waiting for the others, I decided to go investigate the other classrooms until I saw that no one was there except me. He didn't speak. Well, that's normal for him, I think. Kiyotaka, you know I'll come to your room and I won't take no for an answer. Yes, he just said that. Before going to my boyfriend's room, I decided to text Maya-chan as Chiaki-chan. Although I couldn't text them in the morning, it's better than nothing now. Whew. Time flies by so fast. Although what is happening right now would make me change what is really happening. I'm a little scared and anxious about not being able to see my friends, much less the students who were there before. Arata doesn't answer my calls either, and Kiyotaka hasn't called me back since then. In a matter of seconds he quickly decides to go to Kiyotaka's room. Although it would be a bad idea to break into someone's room like that. I'm his girlfriend, so it's normal that he's coming unprepared, even though I already called him he. Track track. The sound of the door was so loud that I even think someone from the floor below or the first floor would have heard it. The lights were off and the curtains were closed. Oh really? Everything was a mess. It was unusual for Kiyotaka, and I don't think this is something common for him. What happened in this short time? I asked myself. I walked in step by step. I began to pick up the discarded clothes. I opened the curtains. I turned on the television so I wouldn't feel alone, but my heart still kept beating fast. It wasn't from happiness, but from fear. I was getting tired of waiting. I walked toward my kitchen. Halfway there, I could smell an unpleasant aroma coming from there. Clack. 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 Upon arrival I was greeted by a strong blow. That left me with no chance of recovering. The last thing I saw was the silhouette of a black-haired girl. Where am I? As I walked along in my tattered clothes, I came across a certain door. I didn't know whether to enter or not. In the end, fate abandoned me and my happiness. So is there any point in continuing to doubt? Don't know. I open the door and a light runs through it, slowly drawing me towards it. Ham. 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 I opened my eyes. I didn't feel like doing anything and just started lying back down. In the end I lost everything. Hey, wake up. Hey? A familiar voice came to me. Without giving me time to think, I started to tear up and snot started to form. That voice. I haven't heard it in a long time. My heart was beating. The old grey world was gone. No. I only saw part of it now. Because my heart is still broken. There's no way he's still here. After all, it was my fault. I get up and glance at a boy with brown hair and dead eyes. His appearance was top-notch. On the other hand, I felt dirty. Hey. The voice said. My voice didn't want to come out. My body didn't want to be happy. My soul and heart will not bear to lose him again. I am weak. Then I'd better go. End of the first chapter. Spoiler for chapter 2. Horikita Suzune, a girl with great ambition who won't hesitate to use dirty tricks to get what she wants, that's not all. Ichika Hanami is a pure girl at first glance, but she loves stealing girls' boyfriends, in addition to creating her harem of boys, that's not all. Kiyotaka. Idol. I want to change. Ichika, NTR. Ichibus Pav. Lala, I hummed as I slowly walked towards my boyfriend's room. I warn you that I don't know how to do a Pav of Ichika in PTM. Yesterday was a somewhat surprising day in some ways. Kyo announced my relationship and broke up with Karuizawa-san, although I only know that with Karuizawa-san. I couldn't accept what Kiyotaka did, but I also wasn't going to pass up the opportunity to be with the person I love. I arrived at Kiyotaka's room, even though I didn't tell him beforehand. There's no need for a girlfriend to tell her boyfriend, is there? I was on Kiyotaka's floor and halfway there I could see the silhouette of a person coming out of Kiyotaka's room. Chihiro-chan. I didn't understand why she was in Kiyotaka-kun's room. Chihiro-chan. I wanted to ask so I went as quickly as possible with her. Oh. Hanami-chan. He was a little surprised. Chihiro-chan, what were you doing in Kiyotaka-kun's room? I asked her. I wasn't jealous, I just wanted to make sure what they had done. Oh yeah. I was talking to you about helping me with a guy I started liking. Like. Awawa. Does Chihiro-chan like someone? I felt happy in the end the first person she confessed to was me, but it wasn't how she planned. Oh, that took me by surprise, but who is Chihiro-chan? I say while gently nudging her. BDE. I can't say it now, she said, blushing. Beautiful. Well, see you later Chihiro-chan, I say goodbye to her after entering Kiyotaka-kun's room. Room? 2:30 p.m. I entered Kiyotaka-kun's room, even though it felt a little different. The room had a strange smell. Fish. Did they eat fish without telling me? Well, there's no point in thinking that now. Kyo-kun. I try to call him, but I don't see or hear anything from him. Hanami, I heard a voice coming from behind me. When I turned around, I saw my boyfriend Kiyotaka-kun with the same dead fish expression. What are you doing here, Hanami? I can't be with my boyfriend. HMPF. I tried to pout, but I wasn't the best at it. It's not that I see anything wrong, but I was a bit in conflict with someone just now. Chihiro-chan oh. And? Wow. Even so, I could never, not even in my wildest dreams, imagine that she would fall in love with someone else. It had been over 2 months since we dated and now we were in the middle of winter break and we could do whatever we wanted, like go on dates, spend all day watching movies, or pampering ourselves. NTR Sakayanagi? I think so. Still Kiyotaka-kun the smell of fish is a bit. Sorry I couldn't clean anything because of the problem with Chihiro I see. Well, I'll wait for you outside for our date. I left without first checking my boyfriend's room one last time, but before leaving, I felt something like liquid on the doorknob. It was sticky. Since I had a handkerchief, I used it to clean myself up and go straight to my appointment with Kiyotaka. Meanwhile. Chihiro's point of view. Phew. It had been over 30 minutes since I left Kiyotaka-kun's room. Truly how frustrated he is. Even after talking to Karuizawa-san, he still hasn't finished with Ichinus. According to him, it seems that staying with her will make him fall in love with her. I knew it myself when I saw those eyes on Ichinus. They weren't love, they were lust, but since Hanami is an amateur in that field, she'd never think Kiyotaka-kun only wanted her for her body. Besides Karuizawa and I, we know the reason why he's with Ichinus. Karuizawa is someone good at acting, even I couldn't tell if it was her or a facade to make Ichinus fall. On the other hand I just wanted to get revenge on Hanami. He rejected me and I accepted him, but falling in love with someone like Kiyotaka was beyond my expectations. Yesterday, Karuizawa wanted to have a threesome with me, but I refused. I didn't fall in love with Kiyotaka. It seems that Karuizawa and Kiyotaka's relationship has grown stronger and even their lust far surpasses mine. The day we had foreplay from bondage to putting on erotic outfits and going out into the hallway to buck. I didn't refuse because in time Hanami will realize and everything will end for her. Telling her you don't love her isn't enough. I have to hit her so hard that she won't be able to get out of that hole again. While I'm thinking about that, I forgot my panties in his room, I don't care. Ichinus Pav. It takes a long time. It's been more than 30 minutes, but it still hasn't arrived. According to him, there was something wrong with the blonde color. I don't know what the blonde color has to do with it. While I was waiting I caught a glimpse of Nagumo-senpai. Oh Hanami Nagumo-senpai mi saludo. Hola Nagumo-senpai. How are you with Ayanokoji-kun? The best. And what happened to Asahina? Blah blah. We continued chatting until Nagumo-senpai had to leave. Nagumo-chan. Nagumo is female. Hanami. Kyo-kun stop scaring me like that. Moo. I just realized what I said. I don't usually say moo, but Karuizawa-san always does when she's angry or infatuated. Honestly, she looks cute, but I can't compare cuteness with Hexy either. If we talk about Karuizawa-san, she's as Hexy as she is cute. Although if I had to choose one, it would be Linda. Also since he started dating me and trying to see some reaction to what I say. Hanami. There were some setbacks, so it took longer than agreed. No problem Kiyotaka. After that, I grabbed my right arm and held it close to my chest. This is the first time I've done something so daring in front of an audience. Honestly, if someone saw this, they'd think I was a very daring girl, but I want to do this with Kiyotaka. The day was a Sunday. Kiyotaka told me we couldn't go on a date because he was having some issues. I decided to stay and talk with some friends and go out to buy accessories among other things. Hey look, isn't that Karuizawa-san? Mako-chan said that as her finger pointed at a certain girl with blonde hair and a slender body. She was Kiyotaka's ex. I rarely see her, and the times I do, she's with her friends. I've wanted to talk to her and tell her how I feel about Kiyotaka, and even though he did all that for me. No. Words are minimal, actions aren't necessary either. In the end, restoring a maiden's heart isn't easy. Although normally you would see her somewhat melancholic or so you think, it seems that today she is happy. I didn't want to be distracted anymore and started focusing on my group of friends. Revelation. I want to rush it v. The day Chihiro-chan called me to go to her room. It was around 8 p.m. and someone visiting someone's room is very unusual, although among girls that is not the case. Chihiro-chan. I started knocking on the door, but there was no answer. Even for me, it felt strange that Chihiro was calling me and not there. I thought about sending her a message, but a minute later I received one from Chihiro-chan. Sorry Hanami-chan, I'll be late while you watch the movie. That's what he said. There was no need to go in or follow what I should, but I would also feel bad if I ended up breaking my promise to a friend. Upon entering, the nauseating smell of fish continued. Although it was less faint, the smell intensified until reaching the bathroom. I didn't want to continue and just saw the sticky creamy liquid again. I tried to suck it, but the taste was bitter and very bad. I shook my head and started watching the movie Chihiro Deho. The sound of the remote control falling like a broken girl's voice was heard. Although she wanted to say something, her voice wouldn't come out. Every now and then she tried to get something out. Although the result was the same sob after sob, he didn't let the scene replay in his mind. From promising angles to situations too tempting for a pervert. Ichika Hanami herself was in a knot. On one hand, she couldn't believe what she was seeing, and on the other, she was feeling the hatred and all the negativity she'd once harbored. In front of the screen was shown her best friend Chihiro-chan bucking her boyfriend. The place was nothing more than Ichika's first date. It wasn't a very crowded place, and it was the perfect spot to slip away unnoticed. Ichika continued to stare at some moans, but even though she wished not to, there was something Ichika was losing. Every time she saw her boyfriend bucking someone, something inside her broke more and more. Leaving a void filled with pain and regret. In the end only a few letters were heard. If you want to see the ending, go to this place. Although she herself did not want to go, there was still the slightest possibility that everything she saw was a bad dream, a nightmare that she denied against him. Maybe in the least she thought that Kiyotaka was not that kind of person, after all she herself wished that someone as trustworthy as him would do that to her. Although that is only superficial, no one can know how he thinks. There is no way that Ichika Hanami, the leader of Class B, knew that the person she loves is someone who does not see her as someone of the opposite sex, but rather someone through whom she can obtain love. Even with the odds stacked against her, she continued to dream that what happened was just a sick joke. She might scold them, but she still wouldn't hate them. Her heart is pure, even though she knows the cruelty of some people, but she still believes that her way of doing things will lead to the triumph of her class. Naive. Ichika Hanami was naive. She wasn't someone as resourceful as Ryuin, or someone as brilliant as Sakayanagi, or a leader like Horikita who knew how to overcome herself. She was nothing. The tears continued to flow and as time passed the amount of snot-like tears increased. Because. The screams. The screams of a girl. And. Ichika Hanami was never anything to Kiyotaka, and even with their relationship there was nothing. Rather, Kiyotaka enjoyed the company of two girls, Chihiro and Karuizawa. Standing in front of the door and with trembling hands she opened the door and. He saw nothing. Well, let's get back to the main story. Vio Karuizawa. Karuizawa was near her boyfriend, licking Kiyotaka's hawk. Quickly and without caring in the least that Ichika was there. Hate. Negative emotions were unleashed on Ichika Hanami. From feelings of betrayal and deception to hatred and frustration. Hello Hanami-chan. Ichika turned her head to look at Chihiro, a friend of Ichika and the person who confessed her feelings to her. Chihiro. Ichika couldn't contain her anger. On the contrary, she was still devastated inside, knowing that her boyfriend was cheating on her with his ex and her friend. In the end, she was Ichika Hanami for Kiyotaka. A mere girl who is useless to pass the time. Even in these moments, Ichika wanted to hold on. To suppress her sadness and forget this bitter end. Whoa. Calm down. With a somewhat worried expression, Chihiro told him to calm down. She probably did this to further anger Ichika. Calm me down. The same thing happened to both of them. On the one hand, Chihiro wants to destroy everything she holds dear. Her reputation was optional. She wants to break it from within. On the other hand, Ichika couldn't bear her anger anymore. Every time she looked in her boyfriend's direction, all she saw was Kiyotaka and Karuizawa bucking. It was as if what Ichika and Chihiro were doing was optional. Hanami-chan. I honestly don't give a shit about your disgusting popularity, Chihiro says as she slowly approaches Ichinus. But I still hate chicks like you. I thought you'd be someone great, but I never thought you'd be so easy. You just make me sick and disgusted to think that I fell in love with a simple bitch like you. He said, his face twisting into one of anger and seriousness. You. Hanami wanted to say something, but Karuizawa's moan was heard. But they didn't care. You know Hanami-chan, I don't care if you were dating Kiyotaka-kun, but seeing the way you fell in love with him makes me think how simple and weak you are. Weak, yes, Ichinus couldn't say anything, since in the end it was all true. She fell into Kiyotaka's trap. He began creating false hopes for her, leading her to accept him, but in the end it was all just a lie. You know, I'm naive. I hate this, she said. So Hanami-chan. The hero started walking towards Ichinus. Take a parting gift. Ah. I started screaming as my face turned pale. Ugh. What was that dream? I don't remember. I decided to get up and go to Kiyotaka's room. I won't tell him this time. When I was in his room I found Chihiro-chan. Hello Chihiro-chan, how are you? I greeted her. This will have no end. Next. I've been too busy and haven't been able to post anything. Well, here are the chapters that I've already finished, but they need some finishing touches. Ayanokouji Kiyotaka, a jealous boyfriend. Kamuro Masumi, a full-time girlfriend. Lemon Sakura YK. Dementia after Ans. Well, that's all I say, goodbye Mao. Conversation. It was early morning when the sun's rays entered through the window that had previously been closed by the owner of the room. The tingling sensation spread through her body, making her uncomfortable and squirming. Each movement caused her blanket to slowly move away from her body, revealing her body, which was only clad in a pair of panties. The blue-haired girl's body was censored by the sun's rays, making the view look like a cliché of ecchi anime. Little by little, her previously closed eyes began to open. The first thing she saw was the terrible position she was in. The blanket that was supposed to cover her semi-naked body was now lying on the floor. Reluctantly, the girl got up and began preparing for another day at the advanced nutrition school in Tokyo. Is it okay? Or back to normal? Finishing her morning routine, the girl begins the rest of the tasks, from bathing to breakfast to cursing a certain boy named Ayanokoji and Horikita. It disgusts me even to think about it, Ibuki let her emotions get out of control. Still, it's not out of the ordinary coming from someone like her. His hatred towards them is not small, in addition to having a rivalry with Horikita, the leader of Class C. Ibuki-san. Ibuki didn't want to listen to the voice shouting her name, but doing so would only bring more people, and that would be an unnecessary problem that she doesn't want to face. And? Ah, Ibuki-san, you should really pay attention if they're calling you. Ishizaki began to touch his chest, as if in a sign of tiredness. Even for me, this is too much. It's not that I don't want to have friends. It's that they would just be an obstacle, although I could have a few that I consider friends. You know, Karuizawa-san started dating Ayanokoji-san, Ishizaki said. This is something that started to circulate in the locker room. Many were reluctant to believe such an absurd claim. There were even some students who tried to fight her because they thought she was dating Kei just because she was threatening her. It is unknown how they started dating or how their relationship began. The only people who know are Ayanokoji and Karuizawa. Man, Ichinus looked like he was hurt. Also, when I went to Class B, it looked like a corral of angry animals. What a rare demonstration of seeing a class. Well, there's nothing you can do. I didn't want to give my opinion. After all, this is just a relationship like any other. Little by little, people will forget about this and it will be water under the bridge. Look, I didn't tell anyone about this, but this morning I saw some girls yelling at Ayanokoji-san. That sounded a bit strange coming from our class or another, but obviously the girls who were from Class C, formerly Class B, and who lost against Horikita's class. It looked like they were about to explode, but you won't believe what happened. Is that idiot Ishizaki always talking? Karuizawa-san arrived and took Ayanokoji-san's shoulder and took him away, and before leaving she seemed very angry with what they said to Ayanokoji-san. No MD matters. The conversation continued as my attention shifted to a certain silver-haired girl and the girl next to her. It looks like it's Ichina-san and Hiyori from our class. I don't want to interrupt, but I'm a little curious. Why do you like Ayanokoji? What led her to that? What were the reasons for those feelings to arise? Ibuki-san. I tapped Hiyori on the shoulder. She obviously didn't think I'd be at school at this hour, much less talk to her. I was just passing by, but Ichinus and Hiyori. Ishizaki stood far away watching. Even if he is an idiot, he at least knows how to feel a little the atmosphere surrounding Ichinus. So it's about Ayanokoji. I just wanted to confirm that what you're talking about involves that guy. Ichina said nothing and the one who intervened was Hiyori on her part. Yes. I've been listening to your story and the way it is now isn't a very easy matter. Besides, there was another reason, and that was Ichina's current class. Her class wasn't the most united currently. What the buck? Even if I stay here it's no use, I'm not good at helping people, and my way of helping is always the worst. Ah Buki, if you're feeling sick, there's no need to stay, Hiyori said, wanting to know my concern. I decided to do almost and stay away from that conversation. Although curiosity was killing me, I couldn't do anything. Kiyotaka Pav. A week had passed since the unanimous vote exam ended. Class B was now at a critical point where it was unclear how they would pass. I wanted to get further away from this disastrous place and change classes, but there are many things that keep me from doing so. The main one would be Kei, my girlfriend. If I make a false move, the relationship I built with her would fall apart and she still can't accept what Kishida said about me being in love with her at the beginning of our school year. Kiyotaka stopped doing that. Kei moved my hand away from his head. You don't have to force yourself if you don't want to. I decided not to think anymore and enjoyed this moment. Kei has been bombarded with questions and a few classes even wanted to make rumors, but obviously this can't be done due to the rule imposed by the school. The most I ever got was physical contact. Kei has a gyro girl facade, which she pulls off perfectly. The day was just another day. Wake up, get changed, go to school. It's over, I come back, talk to Kei, go on dates, and the day is over. When I look back on all this, haven't I already achieved my goal? For those who know, Ayanokoji wants to have a normal life. Although over time this deteriorates, don't you think? Closing the book I was reading and settling into bed, I thought about what I'd done during these years at Anne's. Since my life at Anne's began, everything has been a new grey world. Then I began to change. A small but profound change for me. I get up and start checking my inbox. The first thing I see is a message from Kei. Kiyotaka. How about we go to the pool tomorrow? Said. This is problematic. It had been 2 weeks since Ayanokoji and Karuizawa's relationship became public. While Ishizaki and Albert were thinking this, they were in a minefield. They were, so to speak, watching the other girls from Class C fight with Class B, which is Ayanokoji's class. The group looked like a trio of gyros without counting Karuizawa-san. It wasn't something interesting or anything new to me. Class C started hating Class B just because of a lost love, but for Ichina's class, who are wrapped in Ichina's protective mantle, seeing her crumble for the second time obviously won't allow it. I didn't want to continue and I slowly left. Something unusual happened on my way. I ran into Karuizawa-san. How uncomfortable. To be continued. How about the new style? I wanted to try something. If you like harem I'll kill you no XD. Hello, how have you been here, Xantark-sama? The author has written over 40 chapters of this one shot and it's about to reach 10,000, which is truly epic. Now, for those who didn't understand the previous chapters, I think I should leave a synopsis. At least I think I'll leave the synopsis for the chapter's conversation and not all history can be true. We begin with conversation. There's no magic in explaining it, just conversations that focus on Ibuki from her perspective, discussing how classes are going after she finds out Kei and Ayanokoji are dating. The second is that not all of the story can be true. Well, this one is about how Kei is transported to another parallel world, just like his universe, but with significant changes to the characters' personalities. Therefore, we'll see what happens to the Kei from that world and the Kei who was transported. I've been doing some research and I think a lot of people love harems. So why don't I make one? Since I don't like harems, they'll obviously be Shinohara's, Inagashira's, Chihiro's, Mai-chan's, and Onodera's, and Meiko's best waifus, lol. If I want to, well, many people like Nagumo-chan and I will do it. Is. F for Senpai and Ichina's. Images of COTE's best girl anyway Kei. It's been less than a day, but I started writing from scratch. My quote reacts. And well, I didn't delete anything. For now, I'm trying to improve my writing so it's more understandable and doesn't look like crap. Well, here I will give the images that for me are of the best girl in COTE. To be honest, writing a jealous Kiyotaka isn't easy. Imagining the boys' deaths isn't as easy as it is with certain waifus. Kamuro Masumi is a full-time girlfriend. Today was a normal day at the Advanced Nutrition School for Lovers. I, Ayanokoji Kiyotaka, was going to be assigned my girlfriend and wife for life. As usual, it is almost at 12 p.m. when the couples are assigned. There were some uncertainties and some felt happy and others sad. Ike's partner was Shinohara. Satu's was Hirata. Sudo was with Horikita. In my case, I got Kamuro Masumi. I've never had a conversation with her, so I don't know what she's like. Furthermore, my lack of social experience makes it impossible for me to have a normal conversation with guys, let alone the opposite sex. For each event, we must be in a room provided by the school. Each student must live with their partner until graduation. Illicit relationships, such as hex and other activities, are not permitted unless you find them making them clear. In front of the door with the name Mick. Any puns? I open the door and a bittersweet smell runs through my body. If it was just my imagination. It was still too early and I couldn't believe my girlfriend was actually in the room. There are rules that have to be followed. Points are earned when students' affection levels increase. In which case, if their affection level decreases and does not reach at least 40, they will be expelled. In addition, there are privileges such as partner swapping and point increases. High-ranking members also receive exclusive vacations, as well as certain VIP spots for themselves. Although there is also a downside, as reaching the top 20 is an almost impossible challenge for people with poor chemistry. On the other hand, if you have chemistry with your partner, you will get more points, and with that, you will reach the top again. Although the case of changing partners is somewhat tempting for those who feel very unhappy being with that partner. As for Komuro, I don't know what she's like. I'm not sure if she's easy to talk to. Knock. Knock. The sound of knocking on the door brought me out of my trance of thoughts. Hello. The voice was a girl's, most likely my girlfriend. Ugh, saying girlfriend still feels weird. Leaving that behind, I went to the door, grabbed the handle, and opened it. In front of me I found a girl with light purple hair. If not. Her eyes are a gradient purple color. Truly a beauty. She coughed intentionally. Sorry. Come in, I said, motioning for her to come in. She didn't say anything and walked in. So Komuro no. And? Ayanokoji Kiyotaka, nice to meet you, I said, trying to be a little friendly. I thought I would get a yes or at least a nod. She just looked at me in disbelief. Odd, I don't understand this girl. Discomfort. Hello Ayanokoji-kun, he said as he raised his hand. Oh. Nice to meet you Komuro, I said as I shook his hand. It took a long time for us to start a conversation, but I think the lost courage was necessary. So, Komuro, you want to change partners? I asked. This is normal for people who aren't happy with their choice of partner. Although this was chosen by analyzing the probabilities of the best partner for both individuals. Hey isn't here because if she was this would be NTR. No. That's absurd. Even if I wanted to change partners, doing so and reaching the highest positions is almost impossible for those who don't agree. He's right. On the one hand, Ike and Shinohara have nothing in common. They're as like water and oil as each other. The same goes for Konji and Wangmei. On the other hand, Komuro and I make me see something common between us. And it's the terrible way to socialize with others. Even though we're in an uncomfortable state, it doesn't feel that way. It's something common for me, and it feels so reassuring. Ayanokoji-kun, do you want something in particular? He said as I left my thoughts again. Nothing in particular. Miso soup is enough for me. She just nodded and headed into the kitchen. I wanted to help, but she seemed reluctant to let me into the kitchen. It's as if she were saying it's her battlefield and that outsiders shouldn't enter. I left her and started playing with my cell phone. I wanted to call Ike or Sudo to see how they were doing. Or Yamauchi, who's paired with Kishida. Let's go with Sudo. What do you want, Ayanokoji? Nothing, wait, what's that sound? Well, now I'm on the balcony only in my underwear since I tried to spy on Horikita. And so? Man, I didn't think he'd catch me. You know he's an idiot. No, I didn't expect that. Even for me, going to that extreme isn't something Ike or Yamauchi would do. I know, but you know Horikita's cooking is the best. I see. Deja vu. Although the price was not getting into the room. I think that was the punishment itself. No. You are. Exchanging words, time passed as normally and quickly as possible. And with that the call ended. Ayanokoji-kun. Komuro's voice was heard in the distance. The smell of miso went straight to my nostrils and I could tell it was time for dinner. I did akimasu, we said in unison. Delicious. That was my honest opinion. There was no double meaning in my words, or so I thought. Komuro started blushing. I accidentally grabbed Komuro's head and started patting him. She didn't resist and just remained docile. It feels like a dog and its master. It took a few minutes until she stopped doing it since it seemed too long for her to continue in that state. She left me alone. Well, I have nothing to do for now. I'll check the category. Look at my position next to Komuro and we were in position 110, the one that surpasses us is Ike and Shinohara, together with Ijuin and Onodera. Behind us was the couple of Sudo and Horikita, as well as Sakayanagi and Akane. What the buck? How can Akane be your partner? I stopped thinking about how crazy this school can be. Even so, there's still something even more tedious to do. And that's the daily chores. Today we did 2 of 3. The first was dinner. The second was complimenting her cooking and the third was sleeping together. Each chore varies depending on the level of difficulty. The easier it is, the more hexable it becomes. In my case, it's the standard. Komuro isn't reserved, but she's not as energetic as Ichinus or Kushida. I decided to go to the bedroom and change into my pajamas. The lights were already off and it was time to sleep next to her. I go to bed without first telling him. Good night and my dream began. Next morning. I woke up around 7 a.m. to the sound of birds chirping outside my window. It was really refreshing. I get up and see that Komuro is not there. I grab my phone from the dining room table. I open the app and look at the following. Both Ichinus and Nagumo scored 250 points in one day. This is a huge difference. Next up was Kushida and Yamauchi. I don't understand how they got 100 points, though. Our score was 20. I think my robotic voice made it impossible to show any resections. I sighed depressedly. Well, not really. I started my daily routine. I struggled to eat and go to class. Komuro left long before then. I still make breakfast. Honestly, I look like a parasite now. Deja vu. Let's leave that aside. I'll review the daily content. Oh, right, I forgot to mention there are also monthly tasks. They're more difficult. Well, since this is our first month together, monthly tasks are out of the question. See you next week. The day's daily tasks. Holding hands. Do feed the assigned partner. Try to kiss him. Well, this task is generally very tedious. Obviously, I didn't know what the other people's tasks were, and this is supervised by the government. How tired. I began my tour accompanied by Ike and Yamauchi. Angie, look at this, Yamauchi smiled as he showed a picture of Kushida in a bikini. Wait, is that a task? Damn you, Haruki. Ike started grabbing Yamauchi's shirt collar. Haha, and that's not all. Look at this, Yamauchi showed his daily homework. Bathe with your assigned partner, that's what they said. Haruki the hater. Ha ha ha. Damn, I have to see Shinohara in lingerie, that piece of shit Ugo. Seriously? Because mine look like typical princess protagonists. Oh well. I glanced at the other people. Luckily, no one was there. And so began another school day at this school. Synopsis. Kiyotaka Ayanokoji has experienced countless things since he was raised in the White Room, and one of those things was falling in love, but unfortunately for him, she died because of him. 2 years after her death, Kiyotaka escaped the White Room for 3 years. Everything seemed normal until he met a certain girl. She looked just like him. Kiyotaka couldn't contain all the emotions he'd once held in his heart. Happiness, anguish, joy, but of all of them, the one that held onto him the most was hatred. Seeing the girl in front of him, a hatred for her rose, like a longing. Kiyotaka made a resolution. It was going to be that the girl in front of him would fall to him. No matter what method he used, as long as he could obtain her, it was enough for him. I by XD. Horikita Suzune's dialogue. I can say with certainty that my life has always been about wanting to be recognized by my brother. Even now that I've overcome all those obstacles and finally reconciled with him, I see the need to continue and reach Class A. It wasn't easy to take the lead in the class. I never thought I'd one day lead this class, which I once called defective. I blinded myself with my ego, and that led to many more flaws than strengths. I may have above average academic ability and above average physical ability, but that's about it. I never worry about others and their problems. This school doesn't just measure you based on your academic performance. It also takes different points of view to determine your position. I understand that my flaw is the ego I had at the beginning of my first year, but little by little I came to understand how badly I felt about myself. I was able to reflect and improve the problems I had at times. I'm still developing, but compared to the previous Horikita, my performance in class and the contribution I make are much better. Class D is known for its status as a defective class, a class where different students with a defect that makes them deserve this class are gathered. For my part, I couldn't understand why they put me in the same class as those people. I was blinded and couldn't see what I was really missing. Day after day, thinking and analyzing the possibilities that the school might have made a mistake. All of this just to be acknowledged by my brother, a person I admire and want to be like, but that very thing led to my deviation. To follow the same example and take it the same way he did. It was foolish to copy his methods and continue to think like him. Normally, I wouldn't mind being friends with someone. I always believed that individuality was everything and that if you had the power to achieve that, others weren't necessary. But when I arrived at this school I found myself involved in several problems and circumstances that made me doubt my belief. Ayanokoji Kiyotaka is a student in the same year as me. He has an above-average face, but his expressionless expression makes him difficult to talk to openly. You could say he's the person with the least contribution in the school, but that's if you know him superficially. He has academic and physical abilities beyond my understanding. Even I don't know anything beyond his contributions and his abilities. I don't know what he really thinks of me. Even after 1 year of being his seatmate I couldn't find out anything about him. But if it weren't for him, Class D wouldn't be at this point where we can have the dream of reaching Class A. It is not unreal to say that thanks to him helping me, I was able to see the defect that was causing my lack of growth as a person. Suzune. I heard a voice in the distance. I knew who it was. What do you want, Sudu-kun? Well, I wanted to know if. Him. I continued and started walking. I wanted to reflect on my decisions regarding Sakura-san's expulsion. More realistically, expelling Kushida-san is both right and wrong at the same time. On the one hand, if we do or rather have at the mercy of Kushida-san, as we now can squeeze out every drop that she can contribute. But there's also a downside. If for some reason he allies with a class to expel someone, it might not be so well received. Ayanokoji-kun didn't tell everything about Kushida-san, but he took what was necessary. In the end, if we keep Sakura-san, she would just be another burden. Hasub-san fought with all his might, but the fight was lost from the start. Ayanokoji-kun had already planned it. Well, the side that was going to be expelled wouldn't know what to say. No. There's no way he made me play the role of intermediary in order to expel Sakura-san. Even if that were the case, would it be better to expel Sakura? From what I understand, it seems she wanted to change, and I saw that in her farewell, where I saw a person who didn't look like Sakura-san. There are many things I'm not familiar with. There's no way I can be of much help yet, with my limited experience as a leader. Just 1 more year and this will be over. Regarding this, I can say that I saw Karuizawa and Ayanokoji's revelation coming. But. Did he love Ayanokoji-kun or Ayanokoji-kun Karuizawa-san? I shook my head. His love affairs have nothing to do with class, and it's even less important to me. Horikita-san. Another person approached me and it was Ichina-san from Class B. Ichina-san. How are you? The new exam was a little difficult, but we were able to overcome it. And your class, Horikita-san. I didn't know if her intentions were good or bad, but knowing that she's Ichina-san I don't think she has a double meaning. Almost like yours, but you should already know what happened. Yes. They expelled one of your classmates, but who was it? I didn't want to drag out the conversation. But something told me this would help. It was Sakura-san. What? Sakura-san? Yes. The decision was unanimous, although some were opposed. Ah. Yes, it must have been Ayanokoji-kun, his friends. He said with confidence. Ayanokoji-kun. I'm sorry, Ichina, but Ayanokoji-kun was the one who cast the vote to expel Sakura-san. But that I walked away without paying attention to him. Near the store, I started buying basic necessities. The point usage we're spending now is higher than it was at the beginning, or rather, this is because we can earn more points next month. Horikita-san. I was already a little irritated by how many people had talked to me and interrupted my monologue. Sir. Hasub-san. I want to talk to you about something. I nodded. After finishing shopping I went with Hasub-san to a less crowded place. So what do you think Horikita-san about what Kiyotaka-kun did? Hasub-san didn't use the typical nickname she gave her friends. Objectively speaking, the best option would be to expel Sakura-san, but. I see. You know, I still don't know what to do with Kiyotaka-kun. The group we formed started to fall apart and I don't think there's any time left for us. He said as he adjusted his steps to mine. I can say that now I see him more with Karuizawa-san and with a group of friends like with Harada. And? Don't you think he feels better? I can't give an opinion on anything. There was no reason to be since with his poker face, it was impossible to differentiate his expressions. Yes, but I was surprised by what Karuizawa-san did next. What he did next? Oh. Was it when she almost choked him with her thighs? Forget that. Well, sorry for taking your time, Horikita-san. I just nodded at what he said. I let out a heavy sigh. I continued on my way until I could see a bench near a little crowded park. I sat down as I slowly closed my eyes. There are still many things I need to improve, but for now. I'm happy with this. The smell of cherry blossoms. Happy belated New Year, Bro. Several weeks had passed since the final exam of our first year at ANS ended. I've spent most of my time going out and shopping for clothes with my friends, although I always save a little for emergencies. Thus, minimizing the loss of money I normally spend. At first, we knew nothing about this school, and it even seemed like paradise. Well, a paradise if we had had a little rationality. Hey, I heard a voice in the distance. The person was a brown-haired boy. What do you want? I was angry. Not because of him. But because I wasn't honest with my feelings. It had been months since I started seeing him differently. Even though he's not popular and sometimes a bit stupid, there was something about him that made my heart race. I wanted to know if you wanted to go to Palette. What? Palette? Are you an idiot? If we were going to pallet they would surely think we were a couple, and that was more than denied. I know it's wrong. It was just a joke after all. He said it naturally. It seemed like he'd practiced for this moment. Fine. I'll go with you, but not for you. I just want to clear my mind. It wasn't sincere. I love him, but I have to remain tough. It was something I copied from someone I admire. Okay, let's go. He grimaced. Although it seems more emotionless. Well, I can't say he's funny. Yes. Yes, I said. Three-person POV. The boy and girl walked slowly. Silence was inevitable, with the girl being the only one able to engage in conversation. The guy, on the other hand, just responded it was obviously his first time with a girl. Plus, he's bad at picking topics that girls like. So you read books? The boy asked. If you would call reading mangas mystery books or novels. Well, yes. I said, puffing out my chest. Well, it's not that big, but it's decent. I see. The boy continued walking until he reached the indicated place. And this? The girl wondered. I just want to spend time with you, he said, pointing to the other half of the bench as assigned to use it. I really don't understand you. The girl didn't understand why he needed her now. I just want to say something I forgot his dia. Good. I'm all ears, the girl said. She was a little nervous about what would happen. Well, the boy sighed before saying anything. A lot of things have happened since the school year started, haven't they? Well, yes. I still remember how Sudu-kun was almost expelled or how Horikita-san brought him in at the last minute at the sports festival. Yes. But I still think that between all those things, I think you and I have gotten closer, don't you think? I didn't respond. It was obvious that this was a dirty trick on his part. Telling me that someone who's a pure maiden fell in love with someone like him. Weird and stupid. So? I want to know your answer. Answer? Answer what? I knew what he was saying. I just wanted to run away. It was too much for me. I told you once, and I don't think doing it again will change anything. He was right, but I wanted to hear it. I wanted to hear his voice saying I like you. If I say what I think, will you say it? Depending on the answer. My God, this guy. How could he be so insensitive to this girl's heart? You're an idiot, but I'll tell you right. Me, you damn idiot. I like you. I've liked you for a long time. I screamed at the top of my lungs. I like you too. Shinohara. You're an idiot, Ike, I said. It was obvious I wasn't being honest with myself. And that was because of Kurosawa-san. Her gyro attitude gave me admiration like never before, but I also couldn't deny my feelings for Ike. Phew. I had to look a bit serious. I knew it was fake, but I prefer the real Ike. Yes, Satsuki. Hey, I didn't give you permission to use my name. You can also use mine, Satsuki. We're dating, so there's no problem. You're right, but I'm embarrassed, I said, trying not to blush. It was obvious he couldn't hide it. But well, that embarrassed me, you know. He scratched his head while laughing dryly. I actually kind of liked his serious demeanor. But damn, I fell in love with this idiot. I screamed. Well, let's go, he said as he extended his hand. Fine. But you have to take care of your girlfriend. Of course, Satsuki. Well, this isn't bad either. I followed Kanji, not knowing where we were going, but as long as we're both together, it's fine. We both began the path of lovers. End. First time. Context. Yugami Takuya along with Ayanokoji Kiyotaka will be in a boys' conversation. Yugami Pav. Senpai, I think that. Shut up Takuya you bastard, this is of the utmost importance, Housen said. I didn't want to continue this. I knew Ayanokoji senpai didn't want to say who his first time was. Ueno Kurosawa senpai Saguro Matara Ayanokoji senpai. I think that's too much, Ike senpai said. He already replied that he did it with Shinohara senpai. The illicit act of hex, bucking, intercourse, making love. Or whatever you call it. Idiot Kanji, don't protect Ayanokoji because she's dating Kurosawa. Well, it's not like I want Ayanokoji to be scolded in public by her. Fukuku. How annoying. Seeing you, bastard, being taught by a girl, and even your girlfriend, haha Ryu and senpai spoke. Well, I won't deny that I was surprised to see Ayanokoji senpai being tamed by Kurosawa senpai. I told her how she did it and she replied Fumu. A girlfriend has authority over her boyfriend, you must understand that. I thought he was taking advantage of him. And well, it was true. He doesn't even seem to care. Ayanokoji senpai, I think. Fuku, if you're protecting Ayanokoji with sword and shield, then tell me who you bucked. Okay. I'm a virgin. Well. I didn't know what to do. I could say I'm a virgin, but saying so might get some disgusted looks from some of them. What do you mean, with that popularity you didn't have hex or at least a girlfriend? Well, it was with, Amasawa wanted to say. She could have played along, but it was bucking disgusting to think about him bucking her. I have nothing to lose, right? It was Ichika, I said. Tsubaki is interested in Yagami. Ayanokouji senpai seemed surprised, but he got the idea and it seems he sent a message to a certain person. Or now that I think about it I remembered seeing you and Karuizawa in a dark place, Sudo said. Seriously now Vito Akito senpai. This seems like a conversation about who isn't a virgin. Akito is a virgin, although he's dating Hasub-san. Well, I don't understand relationships either, so I'm not up on that. Don't tell me that Sudo senpai looked disappointed and sad. Damn, I'm the only one who didn't do it well. That's not even an achievement. Sudo, that's not what I would call an achievement, Ayanokouji senpai said. Senpai, you dug your own grave. That means you did it with her. Sudo senpai said, grabbing Ayanokouji senpai. Well. Phew. So how was it now? Ayanokouji senpai can't escape unless he knocks out everyone here and runs away. So you did it, bastard senpai Dujohausen, who still has a grudge against Ayanokouji senpai. Cuckoo. The only virgins are your circus gorilla, that brat with cow tits, and Suzune's dog. DCK. Hey, nobody gave you permission to use their name. Yes, but she's not here either. Ryuen senpai said. I think it's better for me to go. Thanks for inviting me senpai, I need to go, I said. Ayanokouji seems to be telling me something. I took the little piece of paper he gave me. I walked out of the classroom. In the distance, I saw some unfamiliar faces, but ones I remembered well. Karuizawa senpai. Oh Yagami-kun, you're Karuizawa senpai, la novia de Ayanokouji senpai. Do you know where Kiyotaka is? I was about to say, but I glanced at what was in his bag. I'd better not follow anything. I didn't see it until now, but I think Sudo senpai Ryuen senpai knows, I said while smiling. Well. He'll still get punished when he sees him. He laughed while showing a murderous aura. The reason I didn't tell him anything was that he had a box full of condoms in his bag. According to Ayanokouji senpai, since it was his first time, he didn't know anything about it. Karuizawa senpai took that as an opportunity and did whatever she wanted with it. Well, it seems Karuizawa senpai has a high libido. It's only been a few weeks and she wants to continue. This worries me about senpai's health. Well, there's nothing I can do about it. I lost to him. So I'm just enjoying what's left of my time here. It's fun. Idiot Takuya. I knew who she was. She was the hated Ichika. Yes, Ichika. I smiled at her while pretending not to mind her presence. You're an idiot. Why do you say that you and I buck? If you don't even have a girlfriend yet and you imagine that Tsubaki would reject you or that you would do NTR with me or that she would buck with me, that wouldn't please you. Or maybe you want me to have a threesome with Ayanokouji senpai. He said that. What an imagination this chick has. Neither, but what about Tsubaki? You don't know. You're in love with her. No. No. Well, maybe how long can we keep pretending to buck, or do you want to do it now? Don't even think about that. Teehee. Of course, you're saving it for that girl. Oh right, where's Kei senpai? Now you're using his first name? Well yes. She was able to tame Ayanokouji senpai. I want to know how. I wanted to tell him what he told me, but I didn't know if it was the whole truth. Luck, I think. She left before I could wish him luck. Well. I haven't read the letter that said it yet. Don't even think about talking to Kei or I'll be dead. Wait, sorry senpai, I hope to see you in the other world. Pray, even though I don't believe in gods, pray that he's not in a coma. Karuizawa senpai has too much libido according to senpai. I hope you recover soon. If it's better, it's better. Papaso vi Hasub senpai Junto a Shinohara senpai y Horikita senpai. Bigami-kun. The one who said that was Shinohara-san. See Shinohara senpai. Do you know where Kanji is? Well, I just came out where they were. I pointed to the school. They should still be talking. Good. Thanks Yagami-kun, I'll talk to Miyaki. I'll look for Sudo. Why are these three here? Well, I'll go. The oldest I received a message from Ayanokouji senpai. I hope to see you in hell. Whatever you say senpai, but I will live a full life being a virgin, so see you. Let that go. Now that I think about it, wasn't Kei's mother an idol? Well, no wonder his body has grown a lot compared to the others. I decided to look at the photo of Kei's mother. It wasn't interesting. I preferred to see Tsubaki. Compared to this, they look a bit similar, don't they? I decided to push those thoughts away and went to my room. What will happen next? There's no way of knowing. Well, having a relationship isn't bad. Well, each one chose who to be with. Ayanokouji chose Karuizawa senpai. Maybe because she's a Jairu who hides her feelings. Or is it because she's a tsundere? Who knows? For now, I'll keep thinking about a new path for myself. The girl who listened to the silent heart of a lonely man. You remain steadfast and diligent while I continue to feign happiness. I only know how to listen when you're alone. It's getting harder and harder to talk to you. You seem like a better person than before. Who was it that made you change? I want to meet her. To know if she'd be okay. The video of the boy I once saw is shown. The expressions that never changed. The lonely life you had is still there, but something's different. If you ever move on, you'll know. I know better than anyone that you'll change. While the tape plays, I'm still trapped in my nest. Well, you slowly disappear. It sounds sad, but to be honest, it's not so bad. You just haven't gotten over me yet. Maybe even after talking to her you still regret it. Your feelings need to change. In the end you're still relying on the same trick. Don't you think it's sad to hear these senseless thoughts? Hey, do you think they're thoughts? Sorry I got off topic. Through Ayanokouji you're still trying to lose, aren't you? How did it go for you? I don't know if you'll still remember me after this. It's been several years since our connection ended. It was a bit early, but I don't regret it either. I did everything I could and managed to remember it for the rest of my life. You seem happy, don't you? Having a family now and changing for the better. You beat your father? That's great, isn't it? Seriously, how did you do it? Haha, that's too many questions, right? I'm sorry if I caused you trouble even after I'm not with you, but do you still hold on to those feelings for me? Why do you keep thinking about me and not her? Do you think it's okay to have a romance and only have a memory of the past make you back down? It's not right. My God, how much I've taught you, and yet you still can't overcome this. That's enough, it's not something you can answer me, in the end it's just a letter. So, where are we? Oh, so how's the pregnancy going? Or isn't there a pregnancy? I don't know if I'm guessing, but I hope you're happy even if I wasn't the chosen one. I just hope you forget about me. Wow, that was long. Hey, it's time to go. Oh, sorry. I left the letter in my bag. In the end, I couldn't give it to you. If only I could still live, I'd surely be able to see your wife. Kiyotaka. Kiyotaka, it's already late. And Kei. What's wrong, Kiyotaka? Nothing, just a memory from my childhood. I'm back from hell, boo. They thought Mori. Fuck you, damn it. No kidding. The truth is, I was without a cell phone for over a month. That's when my phone literally exploded. What did make me sad was that I lost all my gallery and songs I had saved. Son his mother. Now I have a better cell phone, not like the previous one with 8 GB of storage XD. Now that the new volume is out I can understand certain things. This is my opinion about this volume. Between K. It started when Ichika's illustration about the possible Ntra case started coming out. And after Sakayanagi's, it got more intense. Now, what did I think at that moment? Of course I wouldn't fall for that bait. It was obvious I wasn't going to watch Our Lady of Guadalupe, and even after that spoiler about Kyo and Kei having to make babies, I still don't know what to think. If that happened, I'll just say F for the other simps. Although there is still more speculation, but don't screw up if with everything said everything covers that if it happened. Well, now to the second thing. It seems Haruka wants revenge on Horikita and Ayanokouji. If this happens, and it seems to be true, we'll have Kushida v2. Literally another person who wants to take down Horikita or Ayanokouji other than Yagami God. I think she'll either be expelled or Horikita will evangelize her for her harem. She already has Ibuyuki and Kushida. Is our Horikita coming? It seems like Sudo has switched to Onodera. I honestly don't know shit XD. Satu betrays Kei. If this happens then I'll just say that FK will be the only best girl in COTE, so if Satu betrays her, we'll know that Kei is the best well for me. Sequel to COTE. The sequel was confirmed, I think we all know this. What do you expect me to animate? Second season the remake. I want a second one to see Kei and Kei's thighs XD a gemxt. A gem? Well see you. Girls challenge. Context. Before starting this, I had 2 revisions. The first was to make Ayanokouji simp, but I was too lazy, and the other was to make Sakayanagi Andir, but I just ran out of ideas. So he kept the title. XD. Third Pav. What is the most important thing when you are cornered? For someone like Horikita or Ibuki this feeling was disgusting. Clearly the challenge they had to meet was not to their liking. Fumu the laughter coming from Karuizawa Kei was heard in the room. Another evil laugh came out. It corresponded to Sakayanagi Arisu. Although the challenge was not out of this world, it was not well seen by the two. So who is it? Horikita and Ibuki looked at each other and just nodded as if accepting their fate. 3-2-1 already. Horikita's Ibuki-like hands moved at a considerable speed. Instantly the outcome was decided. Horikita wins, Karuizawa said as she looked at Ibuki with a pitying look. Then Kushida-san gives the honors, Horikita said. Let's see how about Ike. Huh? Ibuki seemed puzzled by what he said. Although the same idea came from almost all the girls. Wouldn't Sudo-kun be better? Tsukanagi's opinion took the girls by surprise. You're right, Haruka Hasub said, somewhat shocked to say it. Fumu. Kurosawa just nodded. Well, the topic of winning 19 consecutive rounds is nothing to be underestimated. If it's about putting her pride on the line, then Kurosawa will try her best and not lose. Fine. Let's take a vote. Do you know who Ibuki should choose? Ike tell Kanzaki. Huh? Kurosawa's response was even stranger. Hey, that's a bit much, isn't it? Ichina seemed somewhat reluctant to see Ibuki being manipulated into confessing to a boy without even having feelings for him. What's wrong, Ichina? It's just a confession. It's nothing special, Tsukanagi said. For Ichina, playing with other people's feelings was not a game. Well Ichina, if you want to take his place so badly, remember that you've already gone 4 games without completing any challenges and I don't think your points will last another 5 rounds. Tsukanagi said while laughing at Ichina. Ichina couldn't say anything. 20k, Ichina muttered. Well damn it. The candidate is Hirayama-senpai. Oh my god. Ibuki thought. Next chapter. Ibuki's plight in the face of the sudden challenge. I had no ideas left. Ibuki Mio's problem. Previously in the chapter. Well not so much. Third person Pav. Ibuki Mio, a girl from Class E. Someone whose reason for feelings for the opposite sex has not been born, but she still has to confess to someone. Although Ibuki wanted to retort by spending points to avoid doing so, but she wasn't good at saving, but she didn't waste money either. Since we're at it, let's continue, shall we? We already know what will happen with Ibuki, so we better start with the others, shall we? Kurosawa Kei said excitedly. Ichina and Hasub were not so happy. This? Kurosawa-san. How about playing something else? Said Hasub. Like which Hasub-san? Maybe heads or tails. Ichina said. Good luck, huh? Well, it's not bad, right? Kurosawa said. Perhaps filled with pride, she didn't see that she was falling into a trap. Well it's fun, isn't it? Tsukanagi said smiling, but it seems a little different to the other girls. Kurosawa on the other hand just remained silent. Took care of her too. The result was 5 defeats for both Kei and Arisu. Ichina's and Haruka's consecutive use of luck in their favor provided them with consecutive victories. Although if this were a game that required thinking, then Tsukanagi would be the winner. The reason Kei kept winning was because she was playing the one game she was good at. The letters. Luck is mostly involved, but there may also be other factors, such as cheating or even rigging things, so that certain people win. Kei used this to her advantage, but now she was cornered and couldn't do anything. His points were few, and although he didn't spend as much as before, that doesn't mean he saved much. Well, it's better to accept it, right? Tsukanagi said. So what are the challenges? Ichina thought of something and as if a bright light appeared in her head she thought of something. Cosplay, Ichina said. What? Haruka couldn't contain her stunned expression. Cosplay, since you're small, the lowly role suits you well, plus you don't have breasts. It may have sounded honest, but what Ichina said hurt Tsukanagi's pride as a woman a little. Getting mad at her for being small was one thing, but making fun of her for being flat was something else. You. Okay, calm down. Haruka put her hand between the two. Okay, now let's go with Kurosawa. What do you want? Kurosawa said somewhat worried. We want. Haruka thought of something. What if you saw Kiyotaka in your clothes, said Haruka. Cross-dress him? Said Kei. Kei Karuizawa is Ayanokoji Kiyotaka's current girlfriend. Although their relationship seems like that of a lovey-dovey couple, the truth is that they hate each other. Clearly just seeing Ayanokoji's name disgusted him. It was not well received in his mind, and Ayanokoji was the same. The reason they had to pretend to be boyfriend and girlfriend was for the convenience of both of them. For one, Kei would gain power as Kiyotaka was showing off more of his abilities. And Ayanokoji would get a glimpse of what a couple is like. Even though they hate each other's guts. It's okay, Kei said. She wasn't happy, but at the same time she was. The fact is that filming Kiyotaka dressing as a woman gave him a sense of victory. While it wasn't important to show their relationship to the public, they should at least show some of that overflowing feeling of love so they wouldn't suspect. Okay. Kei said hesitantly. Though reality was out of place for the current Kei. The lead time will be 3 days, said Ichina. These ridiculous challenges were given by his own whim. The way to overcome these challenges is by paying a huge amount of points. Plus, each person must complete the challenge, otherwise something bad will happen to them. The bustling place where Ibuki Mio was located was a place where she arranged to attend to Kiriyama, the vice president of the current student council led by Nagumo Miyabi. A deep sigh came from her. Ibuki wasn't happy with her challenge, especially knowing that she had to do this nonsense given to her by the others. Although the feeling of objecting and pain was running through him, he didn't want to go further into debt. Even after that, she decided on this path of war called confession. Although she wasn't really good at this, as she never felt that feeling due to how she behaves. For that reason, he decided to act out his way of speaking to the boys. His gaze spontaneously fixed on a certain black-haired boy. He was the vice president of the student council. But the snap, he headed for his prey. "Well, Kiriyama, you lost," Nagumo said as he looked at the others. Now at this very moment there was a boys' duel. Or rather a challenger truth. Something really strange. All inverted. Fuck your ma theory. Before I start this chapter, I have to say something. I found a novel superior to COTE, but well, to my taste, although it is more seinen XD. Finally, let's begin. "Hey Sudu, what the buck are you just standing there, idiot?" said Harada while looking angrily at Sudu Ken, a student from Class D or well currently Class E. What do you mean? If wasting time studying to get better grades and improve the class is being an idiot, then I'll be an idiot," Sudu said dryly. This was typical. For me it was something normal, but first of all, I want to ask you something. Who am I? If I ask, you'll know who I am. "Hey, are you coming?" someone said. "Okay," I answered as always, nothing new for me. "So you brought that crazy guy from Yukimura's workout?" "Huh? No, and no, that's weird coming from you, but if you're talking about it, you'd have to see Satu." Satu was not a fan of athletics, but he was a person who exaggerates many things. I'm not someone who talks to her a lot, but it's not bad to ask her for advice on talking to special girls from time to time, so to speak. "Okay," I said to Sakura Airi. Airi said, smiling. "At this school called the Advanced Nutrition School created for the elites. She's a normal girl like me, but I think she'd be better off keeping quiet, but sometimes your mind can play tricks on you." Sakura Airi is a very popular girl, and not only because of her kindness and her approachable way of starting a conversation contrary to certain characters. "How's Ichinus doing?" He got into a fight with another guy. This time he's hospitalized," she said a little glumly. Well, it wasn't really something new. Ichinus Hanami, how to give her a nickname. The violent girl with big breasts would look good. A beautiful girl on the outside, but bad on the inside. She's someone you'd think at first glance would be approachable and extremely kind, but things are deceptive. She's a black belt and also hates boys, but she's not very good at women either. I wouldn't like to talk to her. She dislocated my shoulder last time. Well, although it's not that it's interesting to think about that. It is irrelevant to me. And? It has nothing to do with me, so that's fine. "Oh right, and Horikita?" I asked. Even though my mind is bad at remembering names, I can always remember people who made a strong impression on me. She's with Kishida and Ibuki talking to the senpais and having a good time, I think. Horikita the Ice Queen, or rather a cold person on the outside and happy on the inside. I'd better not talk to her. And Ayanokouji. Ayanokouji Kiyotaka was an intelligent but very distant student. Maybe he has a problem speaking for that very reason, he is like a dog with his tail between his legs. I'm sorry, but that's my opinion. Well, it's not interesting just to think about that, but I wonder if they know who I am. I wonder. All reversed PT2. Zing. 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 It was difficult to put a sound that is not coherent into words. It wasn't the same for me. No. This is wrong. I feel like I'm sick. Well, it's always like that. The past, like before I came here, has always been behind me. I considered myself a good person. Maybe a smart person, so to speak, but none of that is relevant now. If you put in some effort you will succeed, some say. It's shit. But it doesn't matter. It's not my problem. It's just not my problem. So that's it. Sakae Arisu said. Talking to her was something that would never occur to me. A silver-haired loli. Yes. I don't know if I should say albino, but it sounds better that way. It's bad to ignore a lady, he said, laughing. Sakae was a short girl, but with an aura around her that was difficult to understand. It could be considered a space not allowed for commoners like me. Well, I'm poor, but not extremely poor. I hope so. Nothing, I said. Sakae characteristic was that, unlike Harada or Ichinus with their somewhat orthodox methods, she was a friendly leader. She cared about her group. You could say that he kept away people who tried to harm his pack. Like a king, but that way of seeing it was also wrong. I'm not one to describe Sakae. I'm not, and I don't think I am. How pathetic. I was angry, but not. Well, understanding other people's feelings wasn't my strong suit. Maybe it was worse. He didn't even understand mine. I was irrational in the end. One gives up. Yes, like me. You don't change. I won't do it. A broken doll. I think I am that. Closer. Or destroyed. To the point of no concern. Follow. And break. There's no way I can continue. Are you okay? Said Sakayanagi. UPS. Nothing, just a little tired I think, I said, moving away from her. I didn't want to continue. It was a bad example for me to keep thinking about those things. In the end I gave up on changing. There's no way I can go back, and even if there was I wouldn't have done anything. It's just shit. I'll call Ryuan, I think. Right now, someone to talk to calmly was better. I'm contradicting myself. Thank you. Hello. He seemed a little different from the Ryuan I know. Ryuan Kakaru, or rather the nickname. The friendly dragon. He is a kind person, but with a serious character against people who use dirty tricks. Nothing cut. It's better to go to sleep was not someone who sleeps a lot, but it is not that it is not good to do so from time to time. In the end, I'm not a muscle training freak. Honji has been very lonely today. Maybe he's the 40th to reject her. Well, it's not important. Previous question. Who am I? All inverted PT3 final. The special exam is something implemented in this school. Well. It's not important. Now that I see it, I have to buy the hair dye again. Track. My voice is still as normal. Oh okay. Hey Akito, I called Akito a problem boy. Akito Miyaki or Miyake? I don't remember. Hey, what do you want? He seems a little angry. Nothing, I just wanted to know if it's okay to have your hair down, I asked. I didn't hate loose hair, but sometimes it felt unpleasant. He went away. I got hungry. What can I ask for? I once thought about adding some lemon to the curry, like certain ingredients, but the taste was disgusting. Obviously, you'll never lose your sense of taste unless you intentionally cause it. Horikita, huh, I muttered. Seeing Horikita with boys and girls. She's popular. Instead, I would be the lowest in the social hierarchy. It's not bad, but it feels really good that way. I'm not really interested. Let's go on a cruise. Ike said with Yamauchi. Among the class, Yamauchi and Ike have excelled at something. Whether good or bad, Yamauchi is a rather dull person, but somehow always gets satisfactory grades. Ike, on the other hand, is a student of muscles. I mean, an idiot. Why are you coming here? I asked. We wanted a girl's opinion, so we went for the easy way. Said. Accessible. No. I rarely talk, and the only time we talk is with Sakura. Well, I'm not going to get mad about that thing. I won't do it. And? So you know. We'll pay you if you take pictures of the girls. I wanted to say yes, but I don't have financial problems. I've rather been eating this horrible food while watching your faces. How much we talked. I wanted to continue. 50k. Eli said. Selling girls' bikini bodies for 50k from each student in need is good. Even if it's just Ike or Yamauchi, it would still be 100k. And I will never try this Korean food again. It really just leaves a bitter taste. I would have chosen not to take away the rice. It's too late for regrets. The bittersweet taste passed through my throat along with the spicy mixtures. After that tragic moment, I decided to go shopping. Except for the fact that my goal will be something else. Unfortunately, I had to order another plate. I didn't have time to explain that I didn't want him to take away the rice. Well. Because of that, my stomach is in a somewhat dangerous conflict. Kishida-san, what are you doing? I asked Kishida Kikyu, a student who won the hearts of many people. Including friendships from higher classes. I was thinking of calling Horikita-san, he said while showing a displeased face. One thing Kishida had in common was that she was very easy to read and her expressions were almost always visible. So much so that it was impossible to say that he had two faces. Nothing. I went with him. The question. What happens if you put a fish directly into a pond of warm water? The result would easily be known, but what happens if before that you slowly heat the pond? You know, the funniest thing is that the fish will not realize that the pond was boiling. Since his body had adapted slowly. And what do you get out of this? Well, I'll leave it to your mind. Smokes XD. But such a thing. I have always described myself as a fool. Or simply a person who never makes an effort for anything. You can tell me someone without a shred of ambition. It's not wrong, but it's not true either. I always try to give vague and meaningless answers. Oh right, I think it's time to say my name. But it's not that necessary. Yes. Who needs the name of someone extra, someone who isn't interesting? It's not my problem, and that's better. I'm not important. And it is not irremediable. Up, 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 up and up. It's deceptive and painful. Sad and shameful. There's no way to explain it, but it's that simple. Have I improved? No. Have I grown as a person? Don't know. Change my mind. I don't really care. I want to change. I laughed at that a while ago. That's wrong. That's right. It's not a lie to say I'm fine. I don't understand my feelings or those of others. It's an unavoidable thing to say, but I envy that person. Maybe that's why it's hard for me to get close to other people. I never open up to people and lock myself away in my own dark world. I want to die. Maybe. Is it better to continue living? No. I don't know. It's disgusting and very repulsive to see someone like me. I don't think so. I'm not someone who really stands out, either academically or physically. Popularity isn't my strong suit. But it's okay. I've known for a while. I'm just still waiting for my fateful day. If someone were to end this life, I wouldn't blame them. It felt right. Maybe I'm a coward running away from myself, but that's wrong. People who are outside the predetermined system are always destined to fail. There is no exception. We are the representation of what should never exist. Damaged goods. Weak and poorly made. A failed product of humanity. Diverted down a path we shouldn't have traveled. Alright. That's why I felt bad. I envy her and hate her. On this sad day and this normal life I envy you, Ichika Hoshinomiya. Monologue of a broken person. They won't know who he is, I hope they don't. If there was a school called the best in your country, would you be happy to have gotten in? Well, it's obvious that yes. It's rather normal that you are. For me, someone who isn't aware of these things makes me feel insecure. Do you consider yourself a genius? I don't know. I'm a bit smart, but if you know the gap between a genius and someone like me, you'll know the difference isn't 3 steps or 4. It's so wide that you'll never be able to close that gap. Effort makes up for everything, but even so, so-called genius is something you should never plan to achieve. Maybe that day when I realized that the difference between someone normal like me could never reach the so-called geniuses made me think about how useless I was. Jealousy, hatred, and more went through my head. I hated him, but I still felt happy. No. It was happiness in his misfortune. Well, I still can't get over it. Seeing his misfortune makes me feel happy. Even if I never get over it, I feel happy. I know it's impossible to surpass a genius, but as long as I can see his unhappiness, it's fine. It satisfies me. Kei Karuizawa, more like from the previous chapter of Everything Inverted XD. Hey, Haruki I Kanji called his friend Haruki Yamauchi, a boy of average height and with an average face, like an average face among the average. What happened, Kanji? Haruki said, somewhat worried. It's about Ken, Ike said, somewhat upset. Huh? What happened to Sudu? She's with Ichika Hoshinomiya. What does that have to do with it? Don't buck with me. How are you going to let your friend confess to Ichika just by telling him that if he did, we'd do something to make Horikita pay more attention to him? Oh right, Haruki said that as he slowly walked back. His steps were slow and soft. So much so that not even Kanji had noticed until he saw Haruki slowly walk away. Hey, bastard. Ike's voice echoed in the lonely hallway. And that's how Haruki Yamauchi escaped. Ike's thought process was either to leave his friend to fate or to ask for help. Someone else. But he only had Satsuki among his candidates, and asking her for help with Ken was impossible for her. Even if they had a romantic relationship, the boundary drawn was just as large. Damn, he afflicted and desperately ran in search of Ken. Ah. Shit, I wonder what the hell to write. I have no ideas, but anyway, I want to see if anyone has read this gem of a light novel. Zerigoto. Here's a part that I liked. Body swap. Third person. I think I get better one-shots this way, tell me what. Do you believe in the supernatural? Think about it. And in the end, it's most likely going to be a no. Why? Although many times people say or believe they have seen supernatural beings, this is not 100% proven. If there was something that humans don't understand, what would they do? Fear. The best thing is to feel fear. Fear of not knowing what it is. Fear that it's a danger to our species. And finally, collect information. Humans are curious. Their curiosity may be another form of sin. And that's why you think about this. The fear generated by something new, something never seen before. The creature or event you never saw. Well, your mind organizes and your body trembles. Only fear takes over. But it's still okay. Since the supernatural doesn't exist. Don't you think so? The XXXXXXXX. The morning of the advanced nutrition school went normally. All the students went to their respective classrooms. There were just a few hiccups. Student Ayanokoji Kiyotaka and student Ninmori were not present. The announcement was made as usual, and the class began. Tabashira-sensei, why isn't Ayanokoji here? Ike said. At this, Tabashira just let out an exhausted sigh. It's hard to say, but there was something problematic between the two of them. Tabashira said as she placed her hand on her head. As if it were a headache. And he said. It's better to see it in person, he said. Class D went, but without first seeing Class C led by Ryuan along with other people. Hey, that's strange, isn't it? Sudu-kan said, looking sideways at Ryuan. Sudu didn't have a good impression of Ryuan. Rather, his impression of him was negative. Even if you could see Sudu with Ryuan and another stranger, it's likely that Sudu would prefer to interact with a stranger. It's just speculation, but it's likely. What kanji is this? Daiho Satsuki Shinohara la Novia de Ike kanji. Yes. Ike said just that. Hey Suzune, what do you think happened to Ayanokouji? Sudu said, asking Horikita Suzune. From what I see, it's not a good thing, Horikita said. Hey, do you think Kyo and Nin? A random student said. She was also thinking about the worst case scenario created for her class. No. Kiyotaka wouldn't do that, said Karuizawa Kei, Ayanokouji Kiyotaka's girlfriend. It's better to calm down and see it firsthand, said Harada Yasuke. Yes, they said. A few. But perhaps because of the comfortable moment they were feeling, Haruka Hasab felt somewhat disgusted. If you took into account what was happening to her now, you'd know she was unstable. The pain marked by leaving behind her friend who went through good and bad times. It was a stabbing pain that ran through his body. It only took minutes before entering the infirmary. To their surprise they saw something illogical. As I would say, impossible and crazy. On one side you could see an expressionless Nin Mori and on the other side a smiling Ayanokouji. Huh? It was the answer given by Class B. That's why he seemed like a pain in the ass, Chabashira said. Genius and non-genius. A line drawn long before. So much so that you wouldn't even know how to deny it. A genius who is not a genius. What would you think? Someone who can do it all. But at the same time, he's unhappy. A genius who can do a variety of things and still isn't a genius. What would you call it? Well, that has nothing to do with what's happening to student Ayanokouji Kiyotaka. Oh shit, maybe because the timing was inopportune, Kiyotaka said that. He felt fatigued and tired. Think about why this happened. It didn't make sense. Since Kiyotaka doesn't believe in Christ the King, we can say that all he seeks is logic before the supernatural. It was the same for him. Hey, Kiyotaka looks weird, said Nin Mori. No. You look weird, he said disgusted. Hey, could you put some emotion into that? Hey? Kiyotaka didn't understand. Even if he thought of everything, would he put emotion into it? It wasn't something that crossed his mind. If I could, I would have done it already. Said. Well, expressionless, hypocritical sir. Do you know the definition of hypocrite to call me that? I'm not interested, Mr. Hypocrite, Buet. One thing crossed Ayanokouji's mind at this moment. What the hell are you doing with my body, damn it? Jealousy arose. And Pav. Just stay here. Kiyotaka's hand was blocking my way. I was trying to somehow break free from his grasp. Kiyotaka started to push harder. No. Instead, he pulled me into his chest. Normally, this would make me blush, but a lot of weird things have happened since we started going public with our relationship. Yesterday, when I spoke with Yasuke, he intervened and called me to the convenience store. I didn't refuse and went along. During the conversation, Kiyotaka didn't speak to me, so the atmosphere felt very tense. When we arrived, I saw Ike with Shinohara and wanted to say hello, but Kiyotaka led me to the back of the store. This place isn't very busy, so. Kiss me? It wasn't 1 or 2. It was 3. He didn't stop, he kept kissing me. Not just my mouth, but also my neck. Little by little I was losing consciousness, but I wasn't upset, but someone could. I decided to move away from Kiyotaka and tell him. Kiyotaka. This is the right place. I meant we could kiss somewhere else, but this was a public place, and the chances of someone watching us weren't zero. Kiyotaka nodded. Although he mumbled something that I couldn't hear. Kyo's Pav. It's been 2 weeks since Kei and I went public with our relationship. Like any normal relationship, there are always ups and downs, but in my case, I've started to feel a certain pang and hatred when I see someone near Kei. Especially if it's a guy. Today I was close to breaking Ike's wrist. For a moment, I thought he was going to touch Kei, but that didn't happen. Luckily, Ike didn't go that far, but I still have this pang of feeling seeing him so close to Kei. If it weren't for the fact that I was able to calm my instincts, I would have quickly gone and hit him in front of the entire school. Ayanokouji-kun. For a moment I heard Horikita's faint voice. When I turned around, she looked at me with a confused face. What? No. It's nothing, just for a moment I thought you were angry, he said as he slowly closed his eyes and headed out of the classroom. Angry? There's no way that's possible. Even though I wanted to deny it, every time I see Kei with someone else, it makes me feel something I can't express. Oh Kiyotaka. Kei's voice interrupted my thoughts. I quickly stood up and started approaching her. Hi. Let's go back together, she said with a pink tint on her cheeks. Beautiful. And now we're walking alongside my girlfriend Kei. It's so comforting to be living your normal school life. Next to the person you love. Kiyotaka, are you happy? Yes, I said without hesitation. There's no way I can deny it. Kei gave me a smile that if it weren't for the white room would have killed me. We continued on our normal path without any worries. And when it was time to finish, Kei told me he had something for me on Sunday. Sunday. By chance. It was 2 a.m. and I couldn't sleep. After I left Kei, I caught a glimpse of Nagumo. I didn't think anything of it since I was his target, but if he puts Kei in the middle of this, he'll have to pay for everything he tries to do. Although this was mild, my heart slowly began to shrink. It wasn't that I lost my feelings, but that I wouldn't allow anyone to take Kei besides me. I got up. I called Ike at the special annex. I was going to tell him that Kei had told me something for Shinohara's birthday and that I shouldn't fail that day. Hey Ayanokouji, thank you, you saved me, he said while sweating profusely. It's no problem, Kei told me to tell you this. No man, even though it's night. Tomorrow would be nice too, Karuizawa-chan. Chan. I unconsciously clenched my fist so hard it felt like it was about to bleed. I let go, but the anger didn't go away. The fact that I could call Kei-chan made me feel disgusted just thinking about it. I wanted to end it, but. Although I must wait. So what should I know, Ayanokouji? He said. Yes. It's time. Before he could react he was hit from behind. Wow. So you have a jealous boyfriend? Jealous? Meyer confused Ryuan. Cuckoo. You'll know what I mean later anyway. I sighed as I still remembered that bitter conversation. Chan. That wouldn't leave my mind. I decided to talk to Kei. Kei? Just as I started to call her, Kei's call came in and I answered. Kiyotaka, his voice was not the same voice as this morning. What happened, Kei? Well, after I said goodbye to you, Nagumo-senpai wanted to talk to me. Even though I refused, Kei kept talking, but that wasn't important. No. What was important was what he did to Kei. Nagumo had the nerve to talk to Kei even after we said goodbye. MMM. Kiyotaka, Nagumo-senpai almost kissed me, that was the straw that broke the camel's back. Hey, I wasn't very conscious, a strong anger and thirst for blood engulfed me. And? Come to my room. The only way I won't commit a crime right now is if Kei calms me down. Even now I couldn't relax, but I wasn't that angry anymore, no. That's a lie. I was about to explode and kill Nagumo if possible. It's one thing to talk to Kei, but it's another to try to take her away. I won't let anyone take Kei away from me, much less Nagumo. Kei seemed to realize something. Kiyotaka has been acting weird these days. He said. Hey, what do you mean? As I said, you became very dominant and it's as if you wanted to monopolize me. You're wrong, Kei. You're mine now. Not that I care, but you should know this, Kiyotaka, you're mine too, so I don't like that you're with other girls, he said while his ears were reddened. It's too cute. My heart started to warm. The love. I said. Kei on the other hand just smiled at me. I love you too, Kiyotaka. The day she and Kei were holding hands. I didn't want to see her with someone like Ike, much less Nagumo. Kiyotaka, your birthday is only 2 days away, he said as he leaned closer to my face. The scent of shampoo in his hair tickled me. Yes. I look forward to your gift. Kei gave me light elbows. Yes. Wait for it too. I want you to go with me on a date on Saturday. I just nodded. Damn, I just realized I had this in my stories XD. As we continued walking I saw Nagumo walk right by where we were headed. This was obviously not a coincidence. Kei just frowned. It was obvious he didn't like talking to Nagumo. Oh hi Kei. How have you been? He says while smiling at her. Nagumo-senpai, I didn't give you permission to call me by my first name. There's no need to get defensive, Kei. Besides, I think if we want to have a friendly relationship like good friends, we should start calling each other by our first names, don't you think, Kei? Nagumo was very persistent. I, on the other hand, was about to kill him. But Kei's grip prevented me from doing so. Nagumo approached me. What a beautiful girlfriend you have. Besides, her smell isn't bad at all, he whispered to me so Kei wouldn't hear. Besides, I couldn't do anything against him since the cameras would make me look like the one who instigated the fight. Just grab Kei and. Nagumo-senpai, there are some things you should know and one of them is that Kei is mine and no one else's. He said that while bringing Kei close to my chest. And if you do anything with what's mine, I won't consider the consequences it might cause. Kei, on the other hand, was blank. It wasn't the best idea, but she started to laugh. Nagumo just showed a smile. I don't know, maybe she wants me. Besides, you're just a simple person with a little skill. After that Kei stepped away. Kiyotaka, you were angry, right? Angry? I already knew. Ever since our relationship became public, you've done strange things. Yesterday, your expression was angry. I thought for a moment you didn't like being with me, but this time I knew. She waited a moment. You're jealous that I'm talking to other people. You know I like you like this, but you should know that I get jealous too. I nodded. So wait until Sunday, I'll show you why you're mine and I'm yours. Said. I just nodded. Whoa, I didn't even know I wrote this. I kind of liked it lol. Body swap problem too. Did you reach the top? Even if you did, there will always be someone above you. Someone who exceeds all your expectations. Someone better than you. Even then, you feel nothing. Damaged and shattered. No. You simply can't understand your emotions. You can't understand your own and others' emotions. Evasive words without any ulterior motive. Hollow words and nothing more. In the end, you'll only stay up high and soon you'll come down. Eh? Huh? For the second time the silent situation enveloped the sight. Almost everyone's faces were distorted. Or rather, split open. Even Horikita found that odd. Hey Ayanokouji, said Sudo-ken before several people also saw Ayanokouji Kiyotaka. With a facial expression never seen before. Wait, what the buck? The hey Vichabashira said. Hey, said one of the students. Kiyotaka. Daiho Harada Yasuke. Even Horikita was puzzled by these strange occurrences. The body swapping events didn't just happen in Class B. Feeling proud even without feeling it. Being perfect but not yet. Being a genius but not at the same time. Genius or no genius, what line do those words draw? They're not just words you say. No real reason. No real objective. Just to make a simple point. Bridging the gap between normal and abnormal. I'm too lazy to write something good, eh? 1, 2, and 3, said a tough-looking girl. Ibuki. No Ryuin, said Hiyori Shiina, who has been confused with everything that happened now. Previously, Ibuki left Ryuin-san and Ibuki alone together, but when she came back, she found this. Although their peculiarity isn't that different, it's especially strange when you see Ryuin smacking his lips while Ibuki laughs. It's strange, said Ishizaki Daichi. There were currently 4 people in Ryuin Kakeru's room. Shiina Hiyori, Ishizaki Daichi, Ryuin Kakeru and Ibuki Mio. But how am I in this body? Ibuki said while holding her head. The laughter coming from Ibuki Mio made the atmosphere even more tense than it already was. It sounds disgusting, Ibuki said. Ishizaki couldn't deny it. Then it would be better to say cuckoo. That shit sounds worse like that. Imagining Ibuki saying cuckoo or saying monster gives hope that the end of time is salvation. Who knows? So how did we go unnoticed, said Ibuki in Ryuin's body. That would be impossible, Ishizaki and Shiina said. Cuckoo, do you think you could look at me, said Ryuin in Ibuki's body. Well, at least now you won't have authority, said Ibuki. Huh? Haha, said Ibuki. Hey Ishizaki, stop her, said Ryuin in Ibuki's body. Sorry Ibuki-san, but I'm only loyal to Ryuin-san, said Ishizaki. Stop the shit if it's me, thought Ryuin. And all this Shiina who thought. And nothing, yes. Walk, said a student. But it's still not entertaining if it's in Hanami's body, don't you think, Nagumo? Said Hanami Ichinas. It was Sakayanagi in Hanami Ichinas's body. And what about Nagumo-san, said Hashimoto while looking at the two with disdain. I don't know, he laughed, but the laugh was very different from a boy's laugh. Well, I don't know what to say about you, Kiryuin, I mean Nagumo. The end. I don't know how to continue anymore XD. Well, maybe there is a third part. Lies. I like that you love yourself. Context. Wow. We have a chapter on deaths. I'm too lazy to explain things. Irremediably, things. I always tried not to be the focus of all those problems. But you know. No matter what, there will always be a way for me to be there, good or bad. It's like a detective movie, a case where there are loose ends and they don't make sense. But I'm still not interested. I really don't think this issue is important to me, much less on my agenda. There are 7 days in the week, 365 days in the year. A decade is 10 years. 1 minute is 60 seconds. It doesn't make sense and that's why it's not interesting. Foolishness. I walked towards Kushida Kikyu's room. A popular student, unlike me, who is very lonely. I stared at the door and grabbed the handle. I held it lightly and turned. Opening the door, seeing the room colorless and with only a lonely air. Walk and look at the rest. It certainly doesn't make sense. I looked at the other things. I walked and walked. My steps slowed and only near the bathroom in his room did I see the open door. Push and look. What for? What for? And look. The body. Kushida. Lifeless. The broken neck, the broken legs, the gouged out eyes, the destroyed jaw and the severed torso. I looked closer. I looked at the body. There was nothing that impressed me. It was just another murder. Well, the first one. In this school. Huh? Sakura, what are you doing? I turned my head and looked at another person. It was Baruka Hasib. I just looked at her and said. Kushida is dead. Time later. After the murder happened, the school was in chaos. Many did not understand that Kushida the idol had died. In any case, Ayanokoji Kiyotaka was another oddball. His expression was blank and nothing. Like me, but it doesn't matter. The Sakura. The person's voice came. This. Satu. And. You don't feel bad. I would like to tell you. I don't even care. Oh no. I'm shocked too, I said. I tried to hide a smile, but in the end I resigned myself. I couldn't. I didn't understand. I didn't know and I didn't want to know. By the way, my grades are 39 in almost all of them. My physical ability is low. The only good thing is my face. Of poker. And. Although it has been around 40 minutes and 20 seconds exactly, although there may be a margin of error of 10 minutes. Well, it's a lot, isn't it? I stared at my hands. Sakura-san. Yes, Horikita-san. I asked what the class leader of D wanted. Horikita Suzune. I want you to join us. They indicated while behind them they looked at two people. Harada Yaosuke and Ayanokoji Kiyotaka. A strange group if you count me. I think I'll pass. I said my true thoughts. It's about Kushida. Horikita blurted out the sensitive topic. Even though several minutes had passed, she didn't seem to care. No. Maybe they're just pretending, but me? Them? I don't know. I nodded and headed near Horikita. Then let's begin. After walking for a few minutes we found ourselves in Ayanokoji's room. In my room? Ayanokoji asked. Yes. Any problem? Horikita said. Ayanokoji just denied it and we agreed. The place was very sad. What did you want to know? I asked. I don't want to suspect, but Sakura. Wasn't it you? Horikita said. Eh? What are you saying? I denied flatly while my eyes looked into Horikita's eyes. Horikita. But Horikita, isn't it better to leave this matter to the police? I said. I acted like myself. I acted like a liar. I acted like an idiot. I acted like a wise man. And I acted like. Note. I can't anymore. It took me ages to try not to make sense of it, but I couldn't. It's really hard to put a protagonist's ideology into Sakura. And the protagonist isn't Kyolol. I just want to vent. Yes. I'm a terrible latecomer and I don't post anything, but you don't take this seriously, do you? But you still look at it. You look at this story. A story that anyone can write and therefore it's normal and common. And then. Simple. Simple. I'm experiencing many mixed emotions. Hate, sadness, anxiety, happiness, anger. Just by reading a novel. Incredibly. Buck-ai-kun, you are the best protagonist I have ever read in my bucking life. But anyway. Let's start with the chapter. I have to write something before I reread the novel again to make myself sad. Lol. Title. I want to kill you and yet you're normal. Tenshinmaru. You bucking shit. Author. Yes and I'm not interested. Tenshinmaru. Are you already in your emo mode just from reading volume 6? Author. Screw you, you won't understand that masterpiece. Well, let's start with the COTE chapter. At least here I understand the main character a little. Tenshinmaru. And the other one? Author. I don't understand anything and therefore I wouldn't do anything like a crossover XD. Shiina Hiyori Pav. So you lost your ID? Ryuin-kun. Ryuin-kun, the leader of Class C and was currently in a mess that would sound very strange. He lost his ID and therefore no money. Do you want me to pay for this? I asked. No. Wait, Shiina-san. What's wrong, Ishizaki.kun? I'll do it. I don't think it's a good idea for someone like you to spend your points, he said. I didn't understand why he wouldn't let me. In the end, I don't spend much and I have plenty left over. I don't think his pride can handle it. Pride? What pride? Nothing. Just boy stuff. I stared at Ryuin. He didn't say anything. It was really strange that someone like Ryuin would lose his ID. Ibuki-san. Huh? What's up? Ibuki didn't think I'd call her. Well, she was trying to stop herself from laughing about Ryuin, but it wasn't a laughing matter for me. Come on. We have to go to the place you went to first. Ishizaki shouted. I raised my hand and said. Yes. Although it didn't turn out so well. That's the mood. Yosh, let's go. Ishizaki shouted again. We followed him. Well, no. Ryuin just stood there staring into space, as if he were dead. Maybe I should give him something to calm him down. Ryuin-kun, do you like animals? He didn't say anything. I have a T-Rex in my room so when we find your ID you can keep it, I smiled. Go away, he said. Yes sir, I said and left. Kiyotaka Pav. Do you know what's better? Well, I don't know what's better. You stupid bitch. It's okay, what is that? Eh? Well, don't you see a student card? Yes, I see it. What I mean is, whose is it? She smiled. The Sakayanagi. Eh? What? How is that possible? Fumu. Fumu. You see, when it comes to prolonging the conversation, I'm good, but this time it wasn't me. So? Don't tell me there's someone else. Yes. Although it was really strange that he helped me. Who is he? Eh? Well, Yugami. That. This is too strange. Why? I don't see any reason for Yugami to help you. No, wait, did you give him something in return? Well, I gave him Ryuen's ID. It was of no use to me, so I wanted to throw it away, but I just happened to find Yugami-kun. What good will it do you? After all, someone will have to give it back. Or the school will give him another one. Well yes. But Ryuen, how did you get that? Sakayanagi. Eh? This is weird. Sakayanagi to Ryuen and Yugami to Sakayanagi. Oh, I have this one too. Kei took something out of his bag. That's from. Yes, from Amasawa. This chick. You look like a thief. I don't think so. I'm just someone who lives a crazy life. You just want to give a false explanation for your way of grabbing objects without permission. By the way, Kei. Do you know where my ID is? Kei Hedgehog. This girl. Well, Kiyotaka. You know that 1,000,000 points buys you right. Don't tell me. To whom did you give it? But to Ryuen. What? What the buck? Self. Author. Sololine. Kiyo's Pav. The day I had free time because the professors weren't in attendance and with nothing else to do, time flowed steadily. I didn't have much to do or want to do. It had only been a few weeks since I started my advanced nutrition program and I still had to grasp the basics of how to behave around people. It's not that I'm very good at those things, but I do what I can, especially when I couldn't even start a friendship with someone. If we leave aside those issues, we should also start thinking about how not to stand out. Consequently, if for some reason X I stand out, it would be very bad for me, although there are normally people who like to stand out by being popular, that is not my case. I think sticking with a small group of friends is better, and maybe I'm just overthinking the situation. It's not that big of a deal, or maybe I think I'm going crazy. What idiocy. And even now I didn't know how important friendship was, and yet it was interesting and novel. For someone as lonely as me and other people like that, they will surely think that friendship is something far removed from their environment. It is more than clear that my classmates are in their own environment. From the girl I first saw on the bus to Horikita next to me. Each of them may seem like beauties, but when you look at their personalities, their roles change a lot. I'd like to laugh at what I'm thinking. Because I would think about how a person could be influenced or feel when experiencing their friendship and even loneliness. I'm probably very nervous and my thoughts are being altered. So there's no point in thinking this any further. I am not someone good or remarkable. Nothing in particular. Who I am or what I am is not a problem now. It's more because I'm still the same stupid person I always was. Ayanokouji. I turned my head towards the direction. The person who called me was Ibuki Mio. A student from class D. Reason why you are calling me? Well, maybe it's because of yesterday. It was unfortunate and very unfortunate. Yes. I asked, even though I already knew what she was going to say. Does it still hurt? I want to deny it, but the pain in my ribs is still there. Yesterday, due to a mere mistake on my part, I got kicked by Ibuki. So what happened was I fell down exhausted. I didn't think you were so weak. That's amazing in a way. It's not unbelievable to tell someone they are weak. It's really too painful to say it like that. Well, thank you. But don't worry, I don't think it's a problem for you, you're a boy after all. That sarcastic comment made me want to hit her, but I stopped myself. Main reason? He was no match for her. So that's why you called me? Oh? Of course not. Look, there's nothing, what if we leave? Skipping classes? Well, it wouldn't be exactly like that, but I don't think it's good. Wouldn't it be dangerous? What a party pooper, you should just keep up with things, he said. I refused everything and just followed her. So what do you want to do? Nothing in particular. I just wanted to get some fresh air. Is she stupid or what? Well, if she is, her strength makes up for it. Hey Ayanokouji, are you someone cool? Or do you want to be cool? What's the point of the question? No. Nothing, just that it made me think of a certain person. A certain person. Well, to put it mildly is to call him short. He's more like a stranger, but at the same time I know him. How confusing. So why do you think that person might look like me? I never said he looked like Ayanokouji. What I'm saying is, you're 1,000 times better than that guy. Better? Yes. In simple terms, it wasn't appropriate to call that guy nice. I don't understand. Ibuki Mio, a somewhat strange but aggressive girl, never spoke much, but due to the problem that happened yesterday, we had a few hours to get to know each other. We're not friends yet or anything like that. Just acquaintances. She doesn't want to draw a line of friendship with me or anyone else. Well, I don't know either. The first time I saw it, it was really strange. Strange? It's too weird to tell a stranger about this, but I think it's better to tell it to someone like you. How strange. Even then I can't help you. I don't want your help. I'm fine this way. I just want to tell an old story. I'm not someone good at giving advice. I don't need them. I lost it a long time ago. I couldn't hear the last part. Well, in simpler terms, that kid was the worst of the worst. So he's a pervert? No. Quite the contrary, I wasn't perverted, or rather, I didn't understand that feeling. I had the same expression as you. The poker face. But in return for you he was very, very common. Huh? Say it was the worst and then call it common. Your poker face looks like a pro's, but that kid's face looked like he lacks self-understanding. Does that guy you mentioned despise himself? Yes. Maybe more than anyone in another world. He doesn't show it, but I know. How is that possible? There was a silence. I didn't understand what she had to gain by telling me this, much less telling someone she only met yesterday. This is too weird, isn't it? What is the question? Was that person special to you? This time I was the one who asked. Ibuki said nothing. Time passed. No. Not mine, but it was someone's. How close were they? Close? I don't think that's accurate. They weren't close or anything. Maybe for her it was really a joy to be with him. Happy? Eh. Well, let's continue. That girl liked that boy who is common, so what happened? The silence began again. Well, that relationship was never going to work, and even though I tried to help her, everything went down the drain. Was she someone special to you? Yes. More than anything, but that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Saying that about someone who was important to you. It's like saying that person. She died. It was hard, but the truth is coming out. Telling me something like that in front of me. Then he killed her. No. It was suicide. Suicide. It's something strange. She was happy, but there was a breakdown that day. When I looked into her eyes, I couldn't say anything. I was afraid she'd push me away like she did the others. Saying that guy was weird. At the end of that day, the tragic moment happened that same day I saw him, and what had to happen, happened. Ibuki walked while continuing to tell the story. I don't know what happened to me, but I just think it was adrenaline that caused that, but even so he didn't do anything. Didn't he defend himself? No. It's like he's opening his arms for me to kill him. His expression doesn't change. But I kept going. I thought she would stop me, that she would say something to me, but nothing. And even when I complained, I asked her if she knew how she felt. And you know he just said he knew. So it was unrequited love. If it were only that, that wouldn't have happened. Ibuki Mio. This girl who didn't understand what gave her the courage to tell me that passed. So. He is here. To some extent I deduced that something like this happened. But that's not all. When I told him just one emotionless word about her, he responded as if everything else was unnecessary. That guy forgot about her, he had forgotten about her existence and didn't remember anything about her. It's as if she were just another death for someone like him. And with this I end the story. Notes. I actually went back to using my Wattpad account and boom, more than 100 notifications. I never thought there were people who still watched my stories, and I realized I reached 150 followers. Whoa. XD. Reference image about Shiogi. When I thought about the story I thought about putting Shiogi, the strategist, but it wasn't possible, so I made up anything. What if we just forget everything? When and how did it all go wrong? I don't know, and even if I could know, I don't want to hear it. I'd feel good just to forget about it. Many times it is the same thing and the same thing. Maybe I'm just exaggerating by making a dramatic scene. And even this girl. This girl named Ichika Hoshinomiya who is lying around right now. What will he say? What would you tell me? Someone who did this because of him. I felt no remorse since I had done nothing to him. I just gave a push to his unstable life. She who was saved by Ayanokoji and then rejected, she who remained standing. What nonsense. Said. I was really fed up and disgusted. It's not that I feel bad about his sorry state, and if I had chosen someone else. Maybe I wouldn't get to this state. I am not a good man. I want help. I can't do it. I am someone who hates choosing. I hate competitions. I don't hate winning, what bothers me is doing it. Maybe it's weird to talk about it now. And well, it's reasonable. It was slow. I looked behind me. There was no one. The scene of the crime she committed herself that ultimately had a tragic ending and that could not be saved by that boy. I stood there with nothing in particular to do. That day I saw her. I wondered why he had such a happy expression. So just push further on the little ribbon that was tracing your life. But blows that made no sense and only further afflicted his dead cause and I who was watching and following the attack without stopping. Was she happy? She accepted all that. Were you really happy after receiving those harsh words? But Ichika was a simple girl. He wasn't someone you call vile or someone evil. He was a good person, but not to the point of forgiving everything. If it were so. If she were to be like that I would be more than lost. It's late and I know it. How will other people react tomorrow? How will they feel when their leader is no longer with them? It will be a shock. And nothing justifies the action committed. I hate and detest myself. So how does it end? Without a pleasant outcome. The story continues, and this abrupt ending will also be forgotten. And even if it was a hernia, sooner or later it will be forgotten. A lie. I will remain the same. No change and no progress. Always in a state where I remain useless. Being someone who lets himself be manipulated and doesn't care. Treat me like a toy or whatever you think. Maybe he's a masochist. Maybe. So this is how it ends. Bye. There is nothing good. Only the corpse of the girl named Ichika Hanami. A pool of blood. Surprised and terrified. Excited and thrilled. Disgusted and euphoric. Desperate and alive. Dead, but alive. Alive, but dead. When will the point be? My notes. Well, this is something like a crossover that I thought about and well it's not that long because thinking about what Ai-chan would be like is too difficult. So I left it as something half finished. Well, it was abrupt and bad so it's not interesting. Hahaha. Well, goodbye. Ideas and an excerpt of something I thought. So that's how it is. Today I had no idea how to continue with the stories and especially with this book of strange things. Although it's not mandatory to follow this thing, but the feeling of leaving this even though it doesn't even reach 100 chapters makes me feel bad. So what did I do? I easily took excerpts from a few novels, but I didn't know how to use them. As for my other books. Well, Kishida's is easy for me, but Ichika's is bucking difficult, even knowing that my writing isn't amazing or anything like that. So here I leave the nonsense I thought about doing as a chapter here, but in the end it didn't come to anything. Context. Conversation between the blue sage and the user of nonsense. That's why it doesn't really bother Boku-sama-chan. It doesn't matter who you like, who you love. Who you're attracted to, who you hug, who you kiss, who you have sex with. I don't care about any of that. In fact, I'd even support you. If Ai-chan is having fun, then it's all good. There's no need to distort it. It's fine if Ai-chan remains Ai-chan. If you were to become an honest person, then I would be very happy for you. After all, I'm interested in what kind of person Ai-chan becomes. Ai-chan's happiness is my happiness. That's why Ai-chan is free to do and think whatever he wants. But, just one thing. Kunagisa's pupils changed from blue to a blue. Clearer. Purer. If Ai-chan is no longer mine, I will destroy the earth. Just like old times, the next time Ai-chan disappears from my side, at that moment there will be no next time. If I don't have Ai-chan, then I don't want anyone else. I will destroy everything without a trace. I will erase everything until not even ashes remain. Well, it seems a bit strange without knowing the context and more than anything, but I wanted to remove some dialogues and put some character in the quote and put Kiyotaka. Yes, it is something strange, but let's continue. Yuna. What's up, Ai-chan? She blinked at me with those large pure pupils. That blue hair. Exactly the same as 5 years ago. And now it was 5 years later. Sooner or later, the time would come when I collapsed under my own weight. Then the urge to destroy her would arise. Even then, she would be sure to forgive me. Even if she was killed or destroyed, she would forgive me. Just like she had done 5 years ago, with that innocent radiant smile, as if nothing had happened. There's a difference between being forgiven and being saved. A pointless one. Before these things happened. Not to serve your passions. But simply to serve yourself, to do something that must be done. Please. Quickly. I'm taking it. Yes. I love you. I just said it. They were hollow, completely empty words. Random words, words anyone could say. Just empty vocabulary. And I love you too. Kunagisa laughed. And that was all there was to it. Ultimately, that was all. That's the Ikan I love. You already know who this conversation will be about. Okay. I was going to put Kei and Kiyotaka, but meh, that's nonsense XD. And if anyone has any ideas, well, Tell your story, and if it goes wrong I don't know, I'm not going to console people like that. Drink water. How long, eh? Well, I've been gone for I don't know how many months, and it's not that big of a deal, right? But with all this, I wonder what happened with Classroom, since I stopped reading the novel a long time ago, and I ate spoilers after spoilers, how disgusting it was, but anyway, I'll try to pick up the novel again, because if not, how will I make new one-shots? Well, by the way, is it true that Kushida fell in love with Kyo? If so, I'll just say it's a great script, or since it's harem, I won't say anything, lol. And according to what I saw, Sudu was going to declare his love, and well, I hope his declaration goes well, because now I look like Internet Explorer with all the unknowns. And that volume 0 that would explain Kiyotaka's past and all that stuff, and also those theories about that girl having Kiyotaka's level or whatnot, well I'll just say no. And or that she's dead, knowing what the clean room is like, or if it were ER3 system that mother, even when you're dead, they use your body for research XD. And more things, for God's sake, if I haven't seen the last volumes, although I will say the only thing that matters to me is volume 0, the rest I see as weak or average, knowing that year 2 is generally weak or acceptable for me, well I don't know how it will be for you. And why wasn't I here? Well, I was simply reading other novels like Zero Maria or Ninja series. Well, Persona 5 too, lol. Finally I wonder what will happen even though he doesn't read anything, but oh well, the end. Let me know in the comments below if you guys want the next part. Also check out my other video that has been shown and left. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video please like and share this video. And have a fantastic day. Bye.